Suyu crossed over into a demon-infested abyss that had descended upon an otherworldly metropolis where strange beasts roamed rampant. His innate talent failed to awaken at the very start, and after being dumped, he unexpectedly encountered a vampire campus belle on the verge of falling into a deathly slumber. From that moment on, he set foot upon a road of no return on which he would contract only goddesses. A vampire campus belle, an ethereal witch, an elven empress. Master, I'm hungry. I need your blood. How could I possibly harm my master? Suyu was pinned in place by a woman wearing a gothic ultra-short skirt, black wings unfurled behind her. Her blood-red lips parted slightly, and in her deep violet pupils flickered an intoxicating gaze that was both chilling and as tender as flowing water. Before Suyu stood a foreign exchange student hailed as the campus belle of Modu Royal Spirit University. Her name was Ilia Kaipisi. The situation had come to this because Suyu had crossed into a modern world of beast tamers where demon abysses proliferated and threatened humanity. Everyone longed to awaken a beast-taming talent during the awakening ceremony and become a beast tamer. Regrettably, Suyu failed to awaken any talent at his awakening ceremony, doomed to live as an ordinary person. There was nothing inherently wrong with being ordinary except that. Outside the awakening hall, Suyu's girlfriend Jiang Ying excitedly waved her talent report in his face. I awakened. And it's an grade talent, demonic flora affinity. Jiang Ying chattered excitedly with Suyu about their future. Yet the very next day she said, Suyu, this is as far as we go. I'm working hard to study beast-taming knowledge. What about you? I will become a beast tamer in the future. I can't possibly marry an ordinary man like you, can I? Young Master Wang has been pursuing me lately too. You can't stop me from going towards someone better, right? Suyu felt the world had taken an absurd turn. How could he get cut down by the first sort of landing ashore, even after crossing into this one? Had he really transmigrated? Jiang Ying had originally thought Suyu would break down and curse, or at least say something. Yet his instinctive kindness merely led him to gently remind her to remember to get a certain surgery done, something men care about very much. In return, Jiang Ying unleashed a torrent of abuse. As Suyu walked away, words that sounded like the names of various dishes still faintly echoed in his ears. On the way home, Suyu gazed up at the night sky. A trace of melancholy stirred within him, though he did not take it too much to heart. Still, there was one thing Jiang Ying had been right about. This was a society of beast tamers. Within Great Xia, there were 9 great demon abysses, among which the Modu Abyss was notorious for its calamities. Since the appearance of the Demon Abysses, society had been upheaved, everyone lived in constant fear. The closer one lived to an abyss, the cheaper the housing became due to safety concerns, and the regions near the abysses needed large numbers of commoners to build defensive works. Suyu's family had been resettled in Binhai district, very close to an abyss, though that very close still meant 30 kilometers. Returning from the city center to Binhai district, Suyu turned into a dark, narrow alley. From the shadows in the corner, having seemingly heard Suyu's footsteps, a stunning figure flashed out and entered his field of vision. She wore a gothic ultra-short skirt, over-knee stockings on her long legs, a split cloak over her upper body, paired with black arm sleeves. Winered hair cascaded down to her waist, her features exquisitely beautiful. Eyes slightly upturned at the corners, nose straight, lips crimson and enticing. Yet her face was deathly pale. Her clothes were torn, her body covered in wounds, some so deep that glimmers of white bone could be seen. She was like a jasmine drenched in blood, drifting along the dark river of the underworld on the brink of withering at any moment. Help me. Miss, what's wrong with you? Suyu instinctively hurried forward to support her. Their gazes met. Those violet pupils were as intoxicating as an abyssal dream, and this peerless face could captivate any man. Ilia's beautiful eyes drooped slightly, as if she had made up her mind. Forgive me. This queen will compensate you. I won't let you suffer a loss. Huh. While Suyu was still puzzled, Ilia wrapped her arms around his head and bit down on the side of his neck. Why are you biting people at random? Is this some kind of cosplay? Her sharp fangs pierced Suyu's skin, and as his blood flowed, his vision darkened. He nearly fainted. Could she be a strange beast from the abyss? How could a beast have invaded this place? Had the front lines fallen? Was he about to die? With those doubts, a faint crackle of electricity sounded in Suyu's mind. Ding. Detected that you are being drained by the vampire queen. The first male human whose blood the queen has drunk in her life shall become her master. You have concluded a beast contract and become a beast tamer. Due to the uniqueness of the target, the divine beast system is now activated. Host Suyu. Realm first rank awakening stage. Pet beast vampire queen. Spiritual power, Lingyuan realm. Acquired grade talent. Lethal allure. Your blood holds a deadly allure for all strange beasts. The higher the sequence level of the existence, the more irresistibly they will be drawn to the unique fragrance emanating from you. Acquired grade talent. Blood crown beasts who obtain your blood shall become your pet beasts and sign a contract with you. Pet beasts who receive large quantities of your blood will trigger an atavistic phenomenon, while beings who obtain a small amount of your blood will temporarily become your blood servants. Please increase the number of beasts you have contracted to gain more abilities. A system. At the critical moment, Suyu had activated a system. The woman before him was actually a vampire queen. It seemed she was not actually trying to kill him. A sacred sheepskin scroll soaked in blood and radiance drifted through his mind's eye. Name Ilea Kaipisi. Race Vampire Queen. Sequence No. 007. True ancestor of the Blood Clan. Realm First Rank Awakening Stage. Talent Undying SSS. Abilities Queen of Blood SS. Hymn of the Dead Apostles S. Affection Life and Death Bond. Ilea Kaipisi. In Suyu's memory, wasn't this the very cold and aloof campus belle of Modu Royal Spirit University, the second-year genius who appeared in online reports almost daily? Because the contrast was too great, he had completely failed to recognize her. After just 1 year at the university, she had already become a 4-star beast tamer active on the front lines of the Abyss and slaying countless enemies. Combined with her peerless figure and taciturn, icy demeanor, she had become the media's favorite subject of reports. So her true form was actually that of a vampire queen. What on earth had happened? How had her realm fallen all the way to the first rank? How had she been so grievously wounded? However, due to excessive blood loss, Suyu's vision went completely dark and he collapsed into unconsciousness. When he next awoke, it was to find that this legendary cold campus belle possessed such a passionate side beneath the surface. What Suyu did not know was that his talent-lethal allure had taken effect. After tasting his blood, Ilea seemed to scent a soul-stirring fragrance that sent her heart racing wildly. Moreover, she had just lost everything, and in that abyss of despair, the first man she met who used his own blood to heal her wounds was enough to make her frozen heart utterly intoxicated. The blood contract unique to the Vampire Queen was supremely sacred to the Blood Clan. Once concluded, it signified a bond of life and death. She leaned close to Suyu's ear. Master, I'm hungry. I need blood. What's wrong? Is it not allowed? This queen can become your woman. Ilea lifted Suyu's chin with a finger, her voice soft and enticing. Suyu had never imagined that this flower on an unreachable high peak adored by countless people would now be gazing straight into his eyes, especially when he had just been dumped. How could anyone refuse this? A queen. I am gravely wounded. Only blood can heal me. Will you give it? So this is all it amounts to. No. Why does this feel different? Ilea, retract those vampiric. It really hurts. The wounds on Ilea's body were healing at a speed visible to the naked eye. That wild, disheveled allure paired with the deep, tender gaze she fixed on Suyu quietly soothed the faint sorrow in his heart from being dumped earlier that day. What vexed him was that Suyu had been completely passive the whole time. Was she really that campus belle from Modu Royal Spirit University? The contrast was simply overwhelming. In the video, her black hair tied high into a ponytail made her resemble a cold, untouchable alpine flower, a temperament almost impossible to reconcile with the fiery passion she exuded before him now. Ilea's eyes sharpened slightly as she rose, crossed her legs, and resumed her former haughty bearing. Little one, what are you thinking about? Suyu was inwardly speechless. Just now she had been calling him master with every breath, and afterward she went back to calling him little one. Who exactly was the master here? Wait. Suyu suddenly noticed that Ilea seemed to have grown significantly. Seeing the confusion in Suyu's eyes, Ilea immediately understood. Do not be startled. In a state of extreme blood loss, this king's body undergoes a change in form. A glimmer of light flashed through Suyu's eyes. Did this not mean that this woman could be both regal and lowly-like? When he first met her, she had been under 1.60 m, yet now she was already approaching 1.75 m. Are you really that Ilea Kaipesi from Royal Spirit University? How did you end up? Like a faint shadow seemed to veil Ilea's face. This king was attacked. Little one, consider yourself fortunate. This king is undying and immortal. However, once I fall into extreme deprivation of life force, I will enter a death sleep. Unlike ordinary vampires who slumber for a month, this king is a descendant of the third true progenitor of the blood race. Once I enter death sleep, it will last for 70 years. This king cannot afford to wait that long. After that, Ilea fell silent, unwilling to say more. Suyu did not press her. He simply sat down beside her and took her hand in his. Feeling the warmth of his palm, Ilea smiled like ice and snow melting under early spring sunlight. But the one who attacked me has already been slaughtered by this king. It is only a pity about my 4 blood attendants, Mei Lan, Zhu, and Zhu. Otherwise, I could have had them serve as your little concubines. Suyu coughed lightly. Ahem. No, having you, Ilea, is already more than enough for me. The corner of Ilea's lips curved. Master, a king's contract can be made only once. From this day forth, this king shall follow you through life and death. However, master must also take responsibility for me. Take responsibility for what? The next day, with 2 dark circles under his eyes, Suyu headed with Ilea to the registration office of Modu Royal Spirit University. Originally, he had not even been qualified to apply. But yesterday, he had successfully awakened his beast-taming talent and formed a contract with Ilea, thus gaining the right to register as a beast master. Today was enrollment day, and the registration area for new students was crowded with people. Classmate, let me take a look at your talent report. I am sorry, but we do not recruit students whose beast-taming talent is below grade C. This student merely having talent at grade A is still not sufficient. You also need to form a contract with a pet beast. The nearby Pet Beast Association sells pet beast eggs. 1 egg costs 1 million. Wang Hongxi, here is your admission voucher. Tomorrow, Royal Spirit University will hold an entrance test. If you pass, you will be officially admitted. Suyu narrowed his eyes slightly. So being a beast master was truly a pay-to-win profession. Just a single pet beast egg, dependent on luck, cost 1 million. An ordinary family would have to sell everything just to support one child on this path. Just as Suyu was about to sign up, a familiar voice sounded behind him. Suyu, what are you doing here? Suyu looked up and saw Jiang Ying, who today wore a light gray, faux 2-piece midriff dress, standing beside a man and gazing at Suyu in surprise. Jiang Ying glanced at Suyu's dark eye circles and felt a surge of smug satisfaction. So his calm, indifferent demeanor yesterday had indeed been an act. He must not have slept a wink all night. And yet he still turned up today. If not for her, then for whom? Before Suyu could speak, the man beside Jiang Ying, Wang Hongxi, stepped forward. What else could it be for? Suyu, you have no beast-taming talent. This is not a place you should be. Xiao Ying isn't a grade beast master in terms of talent. You are utterly unworthy of her. Staying with a pauper like you would only hold her back. Suyu frowned. This seemed to be the very young master Wang Jiangying had mentioned yesterday. Rumor had it that his family was wealthy and influential, and that his uncle was the dean of one of the colleges at Modu Royal Spirit University. Suyu could not be bothered to argue. He shook his head. No, I am here to register as a student. It has nothing to do with you. Jiang Ying sighed. Suyu, stop playing dumb, will you? Without beast-taming talent, how are you going to enroll? I know you came here to prove yourself to me, but this will only make me look down on you even more. A proper ex-boyfriend should disappear on the spot. We are already over. Suyu, these two. Their self-importance seemed a bit excessive. Wang Hongxi stepped in front of Jiang Ying. Suyu, please leave this place. You know perfectly well what your family's situation is, don't you? Can you afford talent reagents? Can you afford pet beast eggs? Their quarrel drew more and more onlookers. Even the teachers at the admissions desk could not help but glance over. Situations like this occurred every year. But as this was a time of war against the demon abyss, the students of Royal Spirit University were essentially reserved soldiers, not obedient children seeking comfort. Thus the teachers had no interest in interfering. Wang Hongxi raised his right hand. Get lost. Suyu, if you keep pestering Xiao Ying, don't blame me for being ruthless. As he lifted his hand, he directly summoned his pet beast. A male lion over 2 meters long appeared, its claws wreathed in blazing flames as it glared ferociously at Suyu. The surrounding students recoiled one after another. Damn, is that a blazing flame golden lion sequence now? 392. It's actually a creature ranked within the top 500 on the sequence. A pet beast this rare would fetch no less than 10 million at auction in the Pet Beast Association. The Wang family truly is wealthy and powerful. Wang Hongxi looked down his nose at Suyu. Well, shall I make the first move, or will you crawl away on your own? Humph. I have heard more than enough. A cold snort sounded from behind Suyu. The crowd suddenly realized that the woman behind Suyu seemed to bring a cutting chill with every step she took. In an instant, she unfurled a pair of pitch-black wings. Her deep violet pupils sent a shiver down everyone's spine, yet her breathtaking beauty compelled every gaze to linger. Silence, mongrel cultivator. Ilea gently raised her hand and then brought it down. Scarlet Blood Queen. Wang Hongxi suddenly felt his knees give way as blood gushed from his calves. Bang! Wang Hongxi's knees smashed hard against the ground, his entire body dropping as he ended up kneeling before Suyu. The golden blazing flame lion tried to protect its master, but with a casual flick of her fingers, Ilea drew out half of its blood. The blood rose into the air, coalescing into a throne of scarlet, which then crashed down heavily onto the lion's back. Boom! A whoa! The entire lion was pinned to the ground, able only to let out pained howls. Ilea sat upon that throne of blood, looking down on all beings. She ground the blazing flame lion's skull under her heel and said arrogantly, "Your blood is truly filthy half-breed." At the same time, the corner of her lips curved as she pointed at Wang Hongxi. "And you, reckless fool, daring to shout at this king's master. Have you grown tired of living?" Clutching his legs, Wang Hongxi screamed in agony. "Arg! You, who are you? Do you have any idea that my uncle is?" Ilea took Suyu's hand. "Me? I am of course my master's pet beast, and also his lover." "What?" Every onlooker's eyes widened, and an uproar broke out at once. Transfiguration of a pet beast. Isn't this a privilege only the top 100 in the ranking sequences possess? My goodness, what incredible luck. The upper sequence starts at a valuation of $1 billion in the Pet Beast Association. No wonder the Fire Golden Lion couldn't even struggle. It turns out it encountered a tough opponent. Still mocking others for lacking beast mastery talent. How self-deceived. This is a pet beast from the upper sequence. The one without talent is you. The key is it looks incredibly beautiful. Compared to my pet beast. Damn it, I could crush my back teeth. Why isn't the lucky one me? Alia's transformation was so drastic that even the teachers at the registration desk didn't recognize her, only finding her vaguely familiar. Although, it probably won't be long until the truth comes out. Jiang Ying was completely stunned. She had just dumped Suyu yesterday and specifically changed into a sexy cool outfit today, wanting to get closer to young Master Wang for better pet resources. However, just a day later Suyu appeared before her with a pet beast from the upper sequence. Just now she truly felt like a clown, self-deceived in front of Suyu. Wang Hongxi appraised Alia's stunning face and terrifying power, suppressing his pain as he said, "Miss, I don't blame you. Leave Suyu and follow me. That poor boy Suyu definitely can't afford you. My Wang family has plenty of pet resources. Following me you want." Even though my legs are in excruciating pain and I harbor deep resentment towards Alia and Suyu, if I can obtain such a powerful pet beast and vent my frustrations, snatching her back from Suyu would be worth it. Alia frowned slightly. Such words are unbearable. My love will always be singular. Your filthy blood is truly nauseating. Alia clasped her hands, and Wang Hongxi felt as if some part of him had its blood drawn, followed by a wave of intense pain. "Oh, you dare." The onlookers were startled, their legs trembling. Wow, how brutal. Will this still work in the future? I estimate it when it's all necrotic, it definitely needs to be amputated. With all this blood loss, it's surely ruined. Teacher Ding Li from the registration desk finally stood up and approached. Minor scuffles are acceptable, but if someone does get seriously hurt, that Director Wang is not to be trifled with. This student, please stop. This is the university entrance, not a battle arena. Suyu glanced at Alia, who waved her hand, turning the blood thrown into a pool of blood, and Wang Hongxi was freed from his blood bond. He collapsed in agony, and his two bodyguards quickly came over to assist him. "Suyu, and you just wait." Before he could finish his sentence, he fainted. After the bodyguards dragged him away, Ding Li kindly said, "Alas, you've gotten into trouble." Suyu shook his head. "I was merely acting in self-defense." "Excuse me, can I register for admission?" Ding Li nodded quickly. "Yes, you can. Although your talent report is empty, your ability to attract the upper sequence's favor is enough to allow for special admission. Here is your credential. There will be an entrance test tomorrow to determine which college you will enter and the distribution of resources. You can refer to this knowledge manual for related pet beast knowledge." All right. After Suyu received the manual and prepared to leave, he turned around and saw Alia examining Jiang Ying closely. "You don't look that great either. Aside from having a slightly larger face, I can't fathom why the master would have taken a liking to you before." "You?" Jiang Ying's face turned crimson. She was actually quite pretty, scoring an 8 out of 10, but compared to Alia, she instantly paled in comparison. She was half a head shorter and had significant disparities in figure, appearance, and temperament. "Suyu, is this your revenge?" "Huh, your thought process is really..." Suyu scratched his head. "I never even considered I would run into you all. We've long since ended things, haven't we? Just don't cling anymore, all right?" Jiang Ying was momentarily speechless. Her previous words felt like a boomerang hitting her squarely. This time she was truly furious. "You acted so calm yesterday, it turns out you were already involved with... You scumbag. So you don't be smug. With your pathetic family who would even look at you. Can you support her? She will leave you eventually." Suyu frowned just as he was about to say something. Alia interrupted. "Isn't it just money? I have plenty of that, sister. Of course I can support my master." Alia lightly shook a golden ring engraved with the Pet Beast Associations. Jiang Ying was completely dumbfounded, frozen in place. Nearby onlookers immediately recognized it. Wow. Isn't this a proof provided to members who have accumulated over $1 billion in spending at the Pet Beast Association? Turns out she's a rich lady. My goodness. They say pet beasts are gold-devouring beasts. Oh, look at her raising herself, and even her master. What kind of luck is this? This must not be a pet egg that hatched, as she was originally a humanoid beast thriving in society. Sister, I want to be spoiled too. Alia glanced disdainfully at the crowd and coldly snorted, "Scram miscellaneous cultivators. Your blood smells rotten." Alia pulled Suyu away from the crowd, yet the boys behind were not offended by the insult. Sister's scolding voice is so pleasant to hear. Those annoying freshmen. Suyu, right. I'm so jealous, I really am. TSK Tisk, the Wang family is notoriously petty. They will definitely retaliate. To be honest, Su, yes, entrance test tomorrow may be. At that time the whole school will be watching, but shouldn't get too out of hand, right? Yes, who knows, we might even see the gem of Magic City Spirit Beast University, the senior Alia Kaipizi. Hey, don't you think that upper sequence just now looks a bit like that, senior? On the way home after pushing through the crowd, Suyu smiled and said thank you. Alia's winered long hair swayed slightly. Thank you for what? For standing up for me. Alia tilted her head. Humans are indeed hard to understand. Suyu was somewhat surprised. Could it be that she didn't comprehend human emotions? Huh, then why do you? Stand up for me. Alia put on a thoughtful expression. Hearing them speak ill of you made me feel uncomfortable, so I instinctively did that. I thought you would be very happy if I... Suyu felt warmth in his heart. Perhaps this is the love belonging to a vampire queen. Without human concealment and embellishment, it shines with sincerity. Speaking of which, she is always harsh towards others, but surprisingly kind to herself. Then Alia chuckled. The book I read says humans usually express gratitude by giving gifts, right? All right, Alia, what kind of gift do you want? I will definitely do my best. I'm hungry. This? Suyu adjusted his waist. Indeed, last night was the most enjoyable moment of his life. But can he? Suyu stated firmly. Miss Alia, I must correct your erroneous values. As a girl, you should be a bit... Alia looked at Suyu in confusion. I don't understand. Don't you want to enjoy it with me? Suyu stood resolute as a man with sound values would never waver easily. I do. Arya rose satisfied and changed into another dress. Suyu's legs trembled slightly. Ever since meeting Arya yesterday, he had not paused for a moment. Still, her complexion was far healthier than when he first saw her. Her wounds had fully healed. Even her internal injuries were likely nearly recovered. Suyu glanced around. The room exuded classical elegance, rosewood paneling, ivory carvings, and a warmly glowing hearth. How many centuries had she lived? That impertinent question remained unasked. Arya smiled faintly. Little one, what are you pondering? Arya, come home with me. I haven't told my family about my enrollment yet. He hadn't returned home since last night. But from today onward you'll live with me. No problem. His own apartment, 3 bedrooms, 1 living room, had terrible soundproofing. If Arya moved in, neighbors would surely file complaints. At Suyu's home, Su Qifan and Ning Shooting stood in the kitchen conversing. Our son and Jiang Ying have been out together for over a day and night. Do you think we'll soon be grandparents? No, Su Qifan shook his head. I always thought Jiang Ying was promising, capable of becoming a beast tamer, but our son simply lacked that fortune. Still, might things change in the future? What if we sell the house and buy him several beast eggs? Ning Shooting frowned. If he can form contracts, he could still become a beast tamer. Su Qifan pulled a cigarette from his pocket, his hand trembling slightly. This decision weighed heavily. Their entire life savings rested on a single gamble, and their daughter was still in school. Well, are we doing it or not? We mustn't hold our son back. Listen to me. Sell the house, add our 100-odd thousand in savings, so long as our son and Jiang Ying. Ning Shooting hadn't finished speaking when Suyu opened the front door and overheard the conversation about selling the house. Wait, had he only been gone 1 day and already his home was vanishing? Hold on. Mom, Dad, why sell the house? Prices are plummeting. Do you really expect anyone to buy it? And, since when did we have this much money saved up? The spatula slipped from Ning Shooting's hand and clattered onto the table. Oh, you startled me. Su Qifan stepped forward and clapped Suyu on the shoulder. Son, your mother and I decided it's best to sell the house and get you some beast eggs. We can't let this delay your future with Jiang Ying. Suyu raised an eyebrow. Then after a pause, realization dawned. Yesterday he'd told them he was going out with Jiang Ying. Suyu sighed wryly. All right, Mom, Dad, no need to worry. Jiang Ying and I have broken up. Su Qifan and Ning Shooting recoiled in shock, then exchanged glances, each seeing quiet sorrow reflected in the other's eyes. Had their family truly held him back? Ning Shooting longed to comfort Suyu, but no words came to mind. The air grew thick and silent. Suyu cleared his throat. Ahem. After parting ways with Jiang Ying yesterday, something unexpected happened. In short, I'm now a beast tamer. Arya, come here. What? Su Qifan and Ning Shooting stared at Suyu stunned. How had he suddenly become a beast tamer? Wasn't he deemed utterly talentless in beast taming? Then they saw her, a woman of striking beauty standing 175 centimeters tall with elegant proportions. She'd styled her hair into a sleek black long ponytail, easily accepted by ordinary society, and wore a cool-toned dress paired with black stockings. Even under the most exacting scrutiny, not a single flaw could be found. Hello, I am Arya Sepisi, Suyu's contracted beast, and also his beloved. They stood frozen speechless. Not a moment passed mourning the breakup with Jiang Ying before the perfect daughter-in-law arrived at their doorstep. Su Qifan nodded vigorously. I always knew Jiang Ying wasn't right for you. You young rascal, bringing your girlfriend home without warning. Ning Shooting shot Su Qifan a sidelong glance. Men truly were fickle. Hello, I'm Suyu's mother. And you are? A contracted beast. Suyu explained, Mom, haven't you read the official beast taming portal? Beasts of the upper sequence can assume human form. Arya is even more exceptional. She has lived among humans all her life. Don't you remember the viral video you watched 2 days ago? You even said then, how wonderful it would be if I could find a daughter-in-law like Arya. Now she's here, and you don't. Ning shooting suddenly recalled the headline she'd scrolled past days earlier, and gaped flustered. Welcome, welcome. Husband, stop gawking. Bring out your finest Dahongpo tea quickly. You reckless boy, you should have told us sooner. I haven't prepared anything at all. Meanwhile, at Shanghai's first hospital, far removed from the warmth and laughter of Su Yu's home, the chief surgeon turned to Wang Feng. My recommendation is amputation. This section has been completely drained of blood and necrotized. If left, it may endanger his life. Indeed, lying on the operating table was Wang Hongxi. Upon receiving word, his father Wang Feng rushed to the hospital, accompanied by Jiang Ying. Jiang Ying covered her mouth in shock. She had just agreed to date Wang Hongxi. Yet today, not only had she been humiliated before Su Yu by Arya, but her new boyfriend now faced castration. How could she not collapse under such despair? Wang Feng's jaw clenched violently. Yes. Proceed with the amputation. After the attending physician departed, Wang Feng and several other Wang family members fixed their cold gazes upon Jiang Ying. Your Hongxi's girlfriend, correct? Explain, what exactly happened? Terrified, Jiang Ying confessed everything, adding embellishments and subtle slander against Su Yu. Wang Feng sneered. So, his contracted beast crippled my son. Good. Very good. Su Yu. From the ward came Wang Hongxi's anguished cries. Ah, what are you doing? Dad, don't cut it off. Please, Dad, let me keep it. Wang Feng entered, voice heavy with sorrow. Son, you must endure it. Otherwise your life itself may be forfeit. Don't lose hope. Once you ascend to 6th tier beast tamer and master limb regeneration, it will grow back. Wang Hongxi sobbed uncontrollably. Really? Of course, Wang Feng affirmed. Rest easy, son. I'll make him pay dearly. At the mention of Su Yu's name, Wang Hongxi screamed in agony. Dad, I want him dead. I want to watch him tortured until his final breath. No, leave him breathing. I want his humanoid beast. When I've regrown it, I'll shame them both, right before his eyes. Ugh. Ah. The steward murmured beside him. Sir, the young master struck first. We lack moral high ground. After all, this was a Rilioflaw society. They couldn't kill freely. Wang Feng snarled. Humph. Tomorrow, he's taking the entrance exam. Raise its difficulty to SS steer. The steward nodded knowingly. Brilliant, sir. No first-tier beast tamer could possibly pass. If he fails, admission opportunities to eliminate him will abound. Wang Feng gave a curt nod. Students as reserve soldiers must undergo a trial of life and death, unprepared. Though the academy implements strict safeguards to ensure survival, accidents do occur. Yet not all students enter unprepared. After a brief light-hearted chat at Su Yu's home, Arya mentioned tomorrow's entrance test, prompting Su Yu's parents to release them early. Once outside, Arya turned serious. Little one, tomorrow's entrance test requires preparation. Su Yu gestured animatedly. Oh, are there stronger freshmen than us? Even Wang Hongxi and his blazing golden lion had fallen instantly before Arya. What rival remained? We truly are formidable. Arya smiled faintly. No, merely a lethal assessment with less than 30% passage rate. What? Arya's words suddenly made Su Yu tense up. Perhaps the day had been too smooth, causing him to nearly forget that this was a perilous world where his life was constantly threatened by the demon lair. Upon returning to Arya's villa, Su Yu asked, So what is the entrance test like? Arya shook her head. I am a special admission student, no test for me, but I heard that it uses a demon lair simulation field for assessment, which is very similar to a real demon lair. However, the old geezers at the academy probably wouldn't really let students die. There should be some protective measures in place. Su Yu's brow furrowed at the thought of a real demon lair. No wonder it's called the death test. So Arya, what should I prepare for? Arya leaned back on the lounge chair, casually flipping through a book. How should I know? If it weren't for you, I wouldn't even care about how a human ranked 999 grows up. Oh, humans are actually ranked 999. Isn't that dead last? Oh my, our kind is truly powerful. But didn't you attend the Spirit Beast University for a year? The book says the best way to avoid revealing one's identity is to remain silent. Su Yu suddenly understood, so that's where the cold demeanor of the school beauty came from. Su Yu shook his head, recalling that the school seemed to have distributed a knowledge manual. He took it out to flip through. It introduced information about demon lairs, pet beasts, and beast tamers. In the world of demon lairs, there are 999 races with serial numbers. The closer the number is to the front, the stronger the magical energy circuit and the greater the race's strength. Among them, 501 to 999 are called the lower tier, 101 to 500 are called the middle tier, and the top 100 are referred to as the upper tier, possessing the ability to transform. The top 10 are even more special, known as the Divine Era Sequence, ancient legacies from the mythological age. Their talent ability levels range from F to S, and only the Divine Era Sequence can possess power above S level. Beast tamers and pet beasts become first-tier awakened beings after awakening their talents. The first 4 tiers are awakening, transcendence, transformation, and nirvana. As a human with a serial number of 999, he does not possess a magical energy circuit. Before reaching the 4th tier of beast tamers, pets need to break through to help humans advance. So you took a deep breath. No wonder the profession of beast tamers emerged. It wasn't that humans chose to become beast tamers, but rather it was the only path available. So you continued reading. The methods for pet beasts to advance vary, but the principles for the first 4 tiers are roughly similar, involving consuming exotic beast meat to enhance vitality and consuming exotic beast cores to boost magical power. The higher the tier of exotic beast meat and cores, the stronger the effect, of course. They are also more expensive. Alia, who was lying on Su Ye's back looking at the manual, complained, "Hey, I don't want to eat that filthy blood food." So how did Alia break through before? A flash of the Vampire Queen's panel information crossed Su Ye's level 1st tier awakening 101,000. Being intimate with her could heal her wounds and restore her blood deficiency, but it could not help her break through, and her progress remained stagnant. That 10 points of progress seemed to have come from sucking Su Ye's blood. Alia said gently, "Naturally it's blood. Other people's blood smells bad. Oh, I don't want to drink it at all. I only want to drink my master's fragrant blood. I am a descendant of the 3rd true ancestor, and to advance to the transcendent realm, I need 1,000 liters of blood." But she didn't want to harm Suyu, so her progress was stuck here. Suyu stood up and looked at Alia, his gaze sharp. "Alia, your blood queen can control all blood cells, right?" "My." Suyu pinched her delicate face and pulled it to his neck. "Alia Kaipizi, please obey your master's command. Use the blood queen to control all my hematopoietic stem cells for unlimited regeneration, and then feel free to drink." Alia's purple pupils flashed with a glimmer, and the corners of her mouth curled slightly. It was only at this moment that she felt from the bottom of her heart that Suyu was worthy of being her master. She did not like weak humans. Her initial encounter with Suyu was filled with both attraction and necessity. However, the madness within Suyu made her eyes sparkle with flowing light. "We are not just compatible, little one. It seems that your meeting with me was not a coincidence, but rather destined. Don't worry, it won't hurt." Suyu smiled and closed his eyes. In this dangerous world, the only thing he could trust was his own strength, and Alia, who shared life and death with him. Blood Queen, activate regeneration. Ding. The Vampire Queen has consumed your blood. Progress 10. Ding. Your blood has triggered the Vampire Queen's ancestral return phenomenon. The control of the Blood Queen has been enhanced. The cells of demonic plants, the souls of the undead, and everything considered as blood are now included. Ding. Alia Kaipizi has reached maximum progress and completed her advancement. Level 2nd tier Transcendent Realm, physical strength and soul strength will greatly surpass ordinary people. The Blood Queen's range of influence expands to 200 meters, and the number of undead summoned by the Undead Hymn increases to 5. Undead Hymn, the necromantic prelude played by the Vampire Queen, will capture 5 living beings within a 100-meter range and turn them into her loyal undead. At the same time, Suyu also advanced to the 2nd tier Transcendent Realm. His physical strength increased significantly, and every blood vessel seemed to pulse with magical energy. A single punch could probably exert a force of no less than 1,000 pounds. Being drained of blood by Alia didn't hurt. On the contrary, her touch was so light, like a gentle caress, using the Blood Queen's ability to guide the blood to flow slowly and gently. "Thank you for the hospitality, Master." The next day, a rejuvenated Suyu and Alia arrived at the Spirit Beast University in Demon City, where over 3,000 people had signed up. Although beast tamers are rare within the population of Desya, the number is still considerable. Among the crowd, Suyu seemed to spot the sinister Wang Hongxi and the accompanying Jiangyang. One couldn't help but marvel at the advancements of the transcendent world. Wang Hongxi, despite his severe injuries, was able to return to take the exam in just 1 day. Above the Rose Square, a woman rode a phoenix that descended gracefully from the clouds, her voice echoing in everyone's ears. "Students, welcome to register for the Spirit Beast University in Demon City. I am Shangwan Ling, the Dean of the Exotic Beast Department. As we all know, for 20 years since the demon lairs emerged, humanity has suffered from the ravages of war. Our school bears the responsibility of guarding the 2nd demon lair of Desya, the Disaster Demon Lair, which is also an unshirkable responsibility for all incoming students. The war among races is cruel. It does not follow rules and can strike at any moment. Are you truly prepared to fight for humanity at any time? The entrance test will be in the demon lair simulation field. All of you will be teleported into the simulated demon lair world we have created. Please do your utmost to survive and complete the tasks. If you wish to give up, please tear up your admission ticket and someone will come to rescue you. Welcome to the path of racial confrontation. May you all achieve great success in your martial endeavors." As the crowd was still in a daze, not yet reacting, beams of light descended from the sky, transporting thousands of students into the demon lair simulation field. A glaring bright light enveloped Suyu, obscuring his vision. As the light curtain faded, Suyu gradually opened his eyes. No longer the clear skies of Magic City, but a dim yellow sky drifting dead leaves, countless desolation and bleakness. Deep pits and broken trees lined the roadside, resembling a post-battle scene of apocalyptic desolation. Is this the Demon Cave? A light blue text curtain appeared before Suyu. Location: Chingstone Gorge. Task name: The Last Informer. Difficulty: S. Background and task description: a human traitor has emerged from the human army of Redstone City, selling intelligence to bloodthirsty ants and vine trents who are plotting to unleash a beast tied to devour humanity. You are the only survivor of the reconnaissance team, and now you must return the intelligence to Redstone City and expose the traitor. Redstone City, the frontline city built by humans within the Demon Cave. Task items: 1 map, 1 list, 1 race introduction. Do you wish to undertake this task? Yes, Suyu replied. Ilea frowned slightly. Chingstone Gorge, what? Oh, why? Generally, a first-tier Beastmaster is only permitted to operate outside the Demon Cave or around Redstone City. Only a third-tier Beastmaster or an outstanding second-tier can enter Chingstone Gorge. Ilea faintly sensed a hint of conspiracy. Moreover, this task is extremely unreasonable. New students are usually assigned F or level tasks. An S-level task is highly difficult, and its significance is unclear. I really don't know what those old men are thinking. Outside the Demon Cave simulation field, the senior students and teachers present erupted in uproar. How could someone be assigned an S-level task during the entrance examination? Isn't that putting them in a life-threatening situation? Dean, this isn't scientific. Didn't the Demon Cave simulation field set parameters based on participants' abilities? Shangwan Ling frowned slightly, about to inquire, but was preempted by Wang Yue, Dean of the Combat Department, who stepped in to explain. Students, quiet. There is nothing wrong with the Demon Cave simulation field. Look, this student's pet is humanoid. Since it possesses a high-tier sequence, it is clearly recognized by the simulation field as capable of undertaking this task. A senior sister complained, that's just too unfair. The role of the traitor Wang Hongxi has 100 people responsible for stopping him. Yet Suyu has to execute the task alone with bloodthirsty ants and vine trants pursuing him. Is it really okay? Another senior subtly remarked. I heard Wang Hongxi is the dean's nephew, and yesterday, Suyu seemed to have had a conflict with him. What? Is it true? Of course it's true. I saw them fighting at the school gate yesterday. I heard that the Wang family member was severely injured. I heard it was because of a tangled love triangle. No wonder. This must be revenge. The rumor immediately spread like wildfire. Wang Yu felt a bit embarrassed. Damn, Wang Feng, if you're worried about your son, don't be so obvious in your underhanded actions. However, Wang Yu immediately retorted sternly, nonsense. I have overseen the Demon Cave simulation field for over 10 years without any error. How could I misuse public resources because of the childish antics of the younger generation? Moreover, do you think that if you receive a difficult task on the battlefield, you should retreat? Is that unfair to you? Should you give up just because you find yourselves in a dire situation? How did your predecessors manage to resist the invasion of the Demon Cave and defend humanity's territory? He spoke with great righteousness, putting on a facade of selflessness. This left the students feeling something was off, but unable to refute him. The key was that Su Ye's task was truly unreasonable. Facing strong enemies in front with pursuers behind, it was basically a guaranteed death. With a new student's strength, this task was practically impossible to complete. If one dies in the Demon Cave simulation field, it's truly over unless Suyu gives up the test. Shangwan Ling frowned slightly and said, if that's the case, Dean Wang, it's understandable if the new student cannot complete this level task. As long as he performs adequately, let him enroll. What do you think? Wang Yu shook his head. No. The rule is that one must complete the task to enroll. Why should one person break the rule? If he truly finds it difficult to accomplish, he can choose to give up. We are not forcing him to his death. Shangwan Ling was momentarily at a loss for words. This was blatant revenge. If he gives up enrollment, isn't that ruining his future? Even if he wants to apply to other Beastmaster universities, it would have to wait a year. Who can guarantee nothing will go wrong during that year? Persisting through the examination, he might really die in there. Wang Yue, your family is too malicious. Shangwan Ling transmitted a message to her beast, sending a feather of the Azure Phoenix, carrying information towards the principal's office. Investigating a dean must be handled by the principal. The students could not change Wang Yu's decision and could only quietly watch the screen in the sky. Suddenly someone said, Hey, have you noticed? The humanoid beside this junior seems a bit familiar. Inside the Demon Cave simulation field. After reading the task introduction and the race manual, Su Yu gently rubbed his brow. It's aimed at me. Ilea tilted her head and saw Wang Hongxi's name on the traitor list, instantly realizing the sinister intentions of the Wang family. What kind of task is this? It's simply a kill order. The task flow is straightforward. There are no twists and turns. Wang Hongxi and the other 100 people are responsible for stopping Suyu from returning to the city. One can easily guess that this is the Wang family's shady maneuvering, openly trying to kill Suyu, or forcing Suyu to choose to withdraw from school. Is it possible not to go? No. Behind him are the sequence numbered No. 182 bloodthirsty ants and No. 355 vine ants pursuing him. A massive beast tide may surge in at any moment to engulf Suyu. Winning is simple. Suyu just needs to take down that 100 beastmasters by himself. Aliyah blinked her beautiful eyes, holding Suyu's hand, saying, "Do you need me to accompany you to wait another year?" Suyu's eyes flashed with a glimmer, gently kissing the back of Aliyah's hand. "No need, my queen. As for schemes and tricks, let them come at me. Aliyah, as long as I am with you, I fear no number of enemies." Outside the simulation field, when Suyu finally called out, "Aliyah," all the students in the Rose Square watching were dumbfounded. Even the teachers responsible for monitoring stared wide-eyed, like lanterns. Wait, what was the name he called? Aliyah, why didn't the school flower come to watch today? It can't be Kinnet. No way. Everyone gasped in shock, their throats quivering as if they realized something monumental. The once boisterous Rose Square fell into a deathly silence. People were so astonished their jaws nearly hit the ground. The silence was shattered and chaos erupted like thunder. Wow. Could it be that Suyu's contracted pet is Senior Aliyah? I knew it looked so familiar. Look, the school flower's eyes are deep purple, and so is Suyu's pet. The contrast is so great that I didn't even recognize it was Aliyah. Hey, you bastard, what are you doing? Aliyah's hand is not something you can touch. Junior, you have already paved your path to death. Go die. I was just worried about whether it was unfair to you. Damn it, just die in there. Dean. Principal, we demand an explanation. Shangwan Ling was also stunned. Aliyah Kaipisi, a genius adored by many, had been promoted to a 4th-tier beastmaster in less than a year, and now she was actually Suyu's pet. A pet? What is going on? What was originally just an ordinary entrance examination quickly turned into a spectacle for everyone as they eagerly observed the skills of the new students. However, the heart of every male in the Rose Square shattered into pieces. The female students were equally taken aback, speechless in their astonishment. No one could deny that Aliyah Kaipisa's extraordinary talent surpassed that of ordinary people, and her beauty captivated all the boys. But now no one could explain why the treasure of the Magic City Spirit University had inexplicably become Suyu's pet. No, everyone else was taming beasts. Why was he taming the school beauty? Unable to hold back any longer, the commotion in the Rose Square reached a fever pitch, and Shangwan Ling completely lost control of the situation. Ultimately, a gust of wind swept by, blinding everyone's eyes. A clear corridor of air formed in the sky as a middle-aged man approached, wielding the wings of wind. Ning Hanwen, the principal of the Magic City Spirit University, who commanded the special spirit, the origin of wind, descended into the Rose Square. "Shangwan Ling," said Principal Aliyah. Ning Hanwen gently pressed his right hand downward. Students quiet. Seeing the principal's arrival, the students' discussions finally quieted down, their eager eyes fixed on Ning Hanwen, seemingly waiting for an explanation. Ning Hanwen slowly explained, "Aliyah's true form is actually a vampire. I noticed her exceptional talent and specially admitted her. She went missing during a mission in the Abyss and must have encountered some unforeseen circumstances leading her to unintentionally become this new student's pet. A vampire classified as No. 99 in the hierarchy is a formidable being from the upper echelon." However, Ning Hanwen withheld information regarding the vampire queen and the true ancestors of the bloodline. The students suddenly understood. What? So Aliyah is a vampire? No wonder. I thought Aliyah's power had regressed so much. A vampire that loses too much blood indeed falls in rank. How infuriating. Why can't I encounter such good fortune? I also want to be Aliyah's blood bag. Damn it, why does this good fortune have to fall on this new student? I refuse to accept it. Come out and fight me, Onion. Suyu had yet to enroll, but he had already become the male enemy of the entire school. Shangwan Ling whispered to Ning Hanwen, Principal Director Wang might be. Before she could finish, Ning Hanwen interrupted. "Last night, upon discovering their underhanded actions, I reverted the settings of the Abyss simulation field so." Shangwan Ling's eyes widened suddenly. This meant that the simulation field deemed Suyu qualified to undertake this task. Even without cheating, he was still awarded an strength mission. But his talent report clearly stated no. Shangwan Ling stared intently at Suyu's every move within the simulation field. What secret did this new student hold? The principal's presence was likely due to him, right? Inside the simulation field, Suyu and Aliyah were retracing their steps back to the Redstone City while checking the race information. Bloodthirsty ants about the same size as a human are vicious creatures that hunt based on blood. They won't stop their relentless killing until they have drained every last drop of blood. Got it. Suyu smiled knowingly. Aliyah noticed Suyu seemed confident and pondered quietly. Show me what will you do in this dangerous situation? If you truly qualify, perhaps my clan's tragic wish. Ilea gently pecked Su Ye's face. It's nothing, just a little reward before battle. I sense they are nearby. This small gesture, which was inconsequential, only fueled the anger of the boys outside. Oh, that bastard. I've been chasing for a whole year and haven't even gained any recognition, and he dares to. That guy named Wang Hongxi take down Su Yu. Live trading jump. Shang Wanling sighed, rubbing her forehead. This batch of students truly seemed hopeless. She hadn't expected the usually aloof Ilea to have such a fiery side. The sight of the two holding hands affectionately was enough to drive the boys into a frenzy. Finally, under everyone's gaze, Wang Hongxi and his gang blocked Su Yu on the path back to Redstone City from the Qingshi Gorge. With fallen leaves and withered trees, the path paved with Qingshi was obstructed by Wang Hongxi's menacing expression. Dozens of students lined up ready to summon their spirit beasts at any moment. Seeing Su Yu swaggering up, Wang Hongxi felt a pang of pain and spat out, "Su Yu, it seems your luck has run out." Su Yu narrowed his eyes. Why? Wang Hongxi laughed in anger. Why? Do you truly not understand your situation? Do you really think you alone, with just one pet, can take on us 100? Simply arrogant. I want rest until I break your spine and make you kneel before me like a wild dog. Su Yu looked at the others. Are you all helping him? One of Wang Hongxi's obvious sidekicks, Song Qi, spoke up. Su Yu, Wang just wants to advise you not to harass his girlfriend, and you go and escalate it to violence. That's really too much. Moreover, Wang proposed to buy your pet, and you still maliciously injured him. You forced Wang to be hospitalized. A person like you isn't fit to enter the Magic Spirit University. You don't think you can escape responsibility, do you? You have two choices: either withdraw voluntarily and leave, or confess right here. Su Yu shook his head lightly. Truly the wicked were quick to complain. Who initiated the violence? Wouldn't they know? However, Su Yu had no habit of defending himself. He glanced lightly at the others. How about you? A few girls softly replied. My task is to stop you. I really don't want to give up on enrollment. Actually, I don't agree, but they offered too much. Once it involves their own interests, who is truly willing to uphold Su Yu turned his gaze to Jiang Ying. Jiang Ying clenched her fists. Su Yu, no matter what happened before, you were wrong to resort to violence first. Apologize to Hongxi. Wang Hongxi impatiently said, apologize. Why waste words with him? Attack. In the end, around 70 people chose to summon their spirit beasts, while the remaining 30 opted to watch, trying to avoid offending anyone. In an instant, various peculiar spirit beasts appeared on the hillside, towering sunflowers 7 to 8 meters high, lions wreathed in flames, and skeletons wrapped in earth. Seeing Su Ye's calm demeanor, Wang Hongxi felt even more furious. Su Yu, are you still trying to act tough when death is imminent? At the same time, a twisted desire arose within him. How about this? As long as you compensate me for your pet, I'll spare your life, and we can settle this. Su Yu coldly replied, who is really at death's door. How ridiculous for you ignorant fools to think you can overwhelm me with numbers. And you, Wang Hongxi, you're not even a man, yet your thoughts are so filthy. You won't shed tears until you see the coffin. Ilea attack. Everyone was taken aback. Was Su Yu really planning to take on all of them alone? But with this stance, they felt belittled. Arrogant. Go. Be careful, his pet is likely a vampire from the upper echelon, and don't get too close to avoid being controlled. The demon plant team and the undead team will go first, the exotic beasts will flank. They followed their prearranged plan and sent out a dozen demon plants to confront the vampire's weaknesses. A golden sunflower showered sunlight upon Ilea, allowing the scorching sun to restrain the icy vampire. But she was the true ancestor of the bloodline, the queen of vampires, and was not afraid of the sun. In a scene of astonishment, Ilea bathed in sunlight with a massive harp made of blood and bones forming. The harp echoed with a haunting melody from the underworld, and the enchanting tune instantly eroded the mental defenses of the spirit beasts. Activate the holy song of the undead. The rampaging musical notes ruptured everyone's eardrums and forcibly seized control of 5 spirit beasts, including Wang Hongxi's blazing golden lion. Roar! Wang Hongxi recoiled in shock. Suddenly his mental link with the blazing golden lion had been severed. Blood suffused the lion's eyes, its gaze vacant and puppet-like as it charged forward and hurled Wang Hongxi violently backward. Spurt! Wang Hongxi spat a froth of white foam hurtling through the air towards Su Yu. Su Yu wasted no courtesy. The instant Wang Hongxi's body flew within range, he raised his right arm and drove a crushing elbow straight into Wang Hongxi's face. Crack! Blood exploded outward in crimson arcs, gushing unrelenting. Wang Hongxi tumbled like a severed marionette, 7 teeth shattered and torn from his mouth. Agony pierced his very soul. Wang Hongxi shrieked, ugh, kill him now. Song Qi gasped, he's transcendent. Damn it, don't fight him, Onion. Old Wang, are you alright? Jiang Ying stared in stunned disbelief. Her sunflower spirit was utterly powerless against Ilea, who instead drew strength freely from the sunlight bathing her. It was as if Jiang Ying herself were the embodiment of chill and shadow, while Ilea, bathed in golden light, was a radiant, unattainable dawn she could never hope to reach. Outside on Rose Plaza, the students watching the battle instantly shifted allegiance. Damn it, does Wang think he's suicidal? Daring to demand Alia as his own. That elbow strike, pure catharsis. Man, no wonder he's so bold. Has he secretly ascended to the transcendent realm? With Alia by his side, it's certainly plausible. Yet still, there are 100 of them. Even overwhelming superiority and cultivation cannot turn the tide against such numbers. Alia was their untouchable paragon, their most revered prodigy, and Wang Hongshi's brazen lust had crossed an unforgivable line. Public sentiment swung decisively back to Suyu. Yet they were right, for a low-tier beast tamer single-handedly defeating 100 opponents was sheer impossibility. In truth, even Alia struggled fiercely to hold the line. She stood like a valkyrie upon the battlefield, congealing blood into razor-edged blades and crimson shields. No scorching flame nor freezing ice unleashed by the spirit beasts could breach her scarlet defense, while simultaneously shielding Suyu and launching precise economia force counterstrikes that sapped her foe's strength. The deathbound choir's reanimated thralls fell swiftly, yet their numbers were overwhelming. Wave after wave of assault crashed down. Wind and fire spirit beasts combined their attacks to incinerate her. Blood, spectral undead, slipped beneath the earth, launching ethereal strikes from below. Unpredictable, relentless, impossible to guard against. The blood she could command dwindled rapidly. Victory for Wang Hongshi's faction seemed inevitable, while Suyu teetered on the edge of collapse. Alia glanced at Suyu, her gaze laced with quiet concern. He met her eyes and offered a reassuring look. It's time. Then, drawing a small blade, he sliced open his palm and flung droplets of blood high into the air. The crowd watched baffled. Why would he suddenly wound himself? Alia, infuse my blood into their bodies. Though puzzled, Alia obeyed without hesitation. She condensed Suyu's blood into hundreds of needle-thin projectiles, so fine they evaded detection, and fired them in unison, embedding each into a spirit beast. Yet the needles struck silently, causing no visible harm. After receiving rudimentary treatment, Wang Hongxi sneered, out of tricks already. Look, you see, not a scratch. Liangchen joined in laughing, So you've broken through to the transcendent realm. What of it? Do you truly believe you can defeat us all, alone? Indeed, said Lido, one among them, voice tinged with unease. He and that vampire are terrifyingly strong. We've besieged them for a full quarter-hour before they even showed fatigue. Wang Hongxi clutched his wind-leaking mouth and barked, advance, seize him now. At his command, spirit beasts surged forward, Jiang Ying's sunflower spirit leading the charge. Alia leaned against Suyu's back and murmured, my sovereign blood is nearly spent. He patted her gently, you've done magnificently. Now it's my turn. Before the rapt gaze of countless onlookers, Suyu stood alone, backpack bearing Alia, facing 70 spirit beasts. His eyes burned with unwavering resolve, untouched by fear. Students gathered on Rose Plaza murmured, so this is where it ends, eh? Had Alia not fallen from her former realm, she'd never have lost. Then Suyu is clearly over-reliant on her. He possesses no innate talent at all, does he? To all observers, including Sheng Wanling, it seems Suyu's defeat was irrevocable. Only Ning Hanwen kept his eyes locked on Suyu. A master capable of commanding the divine lineage of the Kamadai sequence could never be ordinary. Suyu stood amid the hillside, encircled on all sides by monstrous beasts, demonic flora, and spectral undead. He turned slightly, raised his right arm, and spread his fingers wide. Beasts, I, your sovereign, hereby command. All of you commit ritual suicide. Blood still dripped steadily from his outstretched palm. His slender figure trembled, but radiated unshakable confidence. Onlookers braced to scoff. Spectators on Rose Plaza shook their heads, until the impossible unfolded. Every monstrous beast, every spectral undead, every demonic plant rose upright, facing Suyu. Then, though mute by nature, strained every fiber to produce a single unified cry. Yes, glory belongs eternally to our sovereign. S-rank talent blood crown. Any being infused, even minimally, with Suyu's blood becomes a temporary blood vassal bound in absolute loyalty, incapable of resistance or defiance. Spurt. 70 spirit beasts simultaneously decapitated themselves. Crimson mist billowed. Blood drenched the earth, littering it with severed vines, bestial heads, and drifting coalescences. Wang Hongxi and his fellow beast tamers gaped, jaws slack, unable to process the horror unfolding before them. Astonishment, terror, trembling dread. Terror choked their voices, threatening to shatter their very wills. Even the Rose Plaza crowd stood frozen in disbelief. This? How is it possible? By the heavens, what power is this? Is it his talent, or Alia's? No, Alia is visibly exhausted. This is Suyu's ability. Why did they suddenly obey Suyu? I understand now. Earlier, Alia injected Suyu's blood into their bodies. That's the source of his talent. HSS, a terrifying talent indeed. Suyu, still carrying Alia on his back, walked calmly toward Wang Hongxi. Wang Hongxi knelt, shaking uncontrollably. No, this isn't real. It's not real. Su Yu gazed down, disdainful. This is the sovereign's decree, and the sovereign's decree cannot be defied. As for you, you lack even the honor of dying by my hand. Su Yu lifted his foot and drove Wang Hongxi's skull deep into the earth with a single brutal stomp. Crunch. Wang Hongxi convulsed for several seconds, then slumped unconscious. Su Yu's gaze swept toward Song Qi and Liang Chun. The entire group collapsed onto the ground, sobbing, groveling, abasing themselves. Grotesquely obsequious, absurdly pitiful. Leave. Considering the entrance exam's strict regulations, Su Yu refrained from further bloodshed. After all, he too would soon enroll at Metropolis Spirit Taming University. Had this occurred in the demon caverns, he'd have silenced them without a word. But this was merely an exam. No need to humiliate the institution. They seized the reprieve like drowning men, tearing up their admission credentials and fleeing the trial on the spot. Finally, Su Yu turned his gaze toward Jiang Ying. Jiang Ying clutched the broken stem of her sunflower, tears welling in her eyes, yet she stubbornly raised her head to look at Su Yu. Her life, her everything. Why was it that just as beauty was beginning, it was ruthlessly destroyed by Su Yu? Is this your revenge? Hit me, she cried out. Wu. Did you deliberately hide your gifted abilities to get rid of me after me? Scumbag, jerk, heartless man. Wu, I was wrong. Su Yu, I was wrong. Please forgive me. Can we still be together? Su Yu was momentarily speechless. How had he not noticed before that Jiang Ying had such thick skin? If you hadn't been so eager to put me in danger to curry favor with Wang Hongxi, I might have believed you. But unfortunately you didn't. Your tears are not because you feel you were wrong, but because your ugly heart has been exposed, surpassing your psychological tolerance. Get lost, I don't want to hit a woman. Just as Su Yu turned away, Jiang Ying looked up, and a resounding slap struck her face. Smack. All her crying was swept away by that slap. Alia Kaipisi left a red mark on her pretty face. The master is a gentleman, but I am not. Stay away from my man, you bitch. Jiang Ying sat on the ground, dazed and at a loss. Shangguan Ling moved slightly and transmitted, principal, it's hard to believe this must be a rare level talent, right? Why did his talent report show none? Ning Hanwen got the answer he wanted, feeling satisfied, and transmitted, hee, no need to investigate further. Shangguan, let Su Yu go to your academy, and you take charge personally. Shangguan Ling was stunned. Oh. After saying this, Ning Hanwen floated away. It seemed that no matter what, Su Yu's enrollment was inevitable. Wang Yu beside him gritted his teeth in anger. How could he not be furious when his nephew was trampled underfoot? There were too many unexpected events. Su Yu's level talent, Alia, becoming a pet beast, the principal's presence. Wang Yu's almost tearing face off ended up becoming Su Yu's stepping stone. Su Yu. Just wait, Wang family revenge will be served. Inside the mimicry chamber of the demon lair, Alia lay on Su Yu's back, satisfied, whispering in his ear, Master, I find that I love you even more than before. Su Yu shook his finger and said, but we can't do that here. There are definitely people watching us outside. Generally, when Alia calls him master, it means she wants something. Alia pinched Su Yu's waist. That's not what I meant. If you are willing, I can especially allow you to take that girl as a little servant. Su Yu gagged. It's hard to move from luxury to simplicity. After getting used to Alia's supercar, he no longer wanted to touch Jiang Ying's cheap car. If you have some sense. If you dare to agree, I will bite you to death. Suddenly Alia realized something. Oh no, a group of spectators just ran away. Oh, alright. The task. Su Yu's mission was to return to Hongshi City, to root out the traitor and stop the beast tide. However, he had wasted too much time here. Those 30+ onlookers who didn't take action just used the chaos to escape. This meant that as long as they held out until the beast tide arrived without being caught by Su Yu, it would mean Su Yu's mission failure. The people in Rose Square also suddenly realized this. Damn, how can we catch them? Over 30 people are fleeing in different directions. Isn't that like searching for a needle in a haystack? Damn, this new student just barely won, and now the mission is going to fail. Alright. Give Alia back to us. Wow, you guys are really pathetic. I support you, Junior. Exactly, they are a perfect match. How can you bunch of monsters oppose them? Su Yu chuckled. Let them run then. Who said completing the task required catching everyone? Alia's lips curved into a smile. Oh, little one, tell this king what your talent really is. She grew increasingly curious about Su Yu. Originally, she thought the little one's talent was just that his blood was fragrant. Su Yu naturally trusted Alia and whispered in her ear. A glimmer flashed in Alia's eyes as she said, so that's it, little one. If one day there are enemies much stronger than these people asking for me, will you still act like today? Su Yu pinched her cheek. What are you saying? I fear losing you more than losing my life. Let's go, let us resolve this beast tide itself. The boys in Rose Square were already numb. Watching the affectionate actions of the two, it seemed that what should not happen had already happened. The person they couldn't let go of, Su Yu, had probably long since let go. However, Su Yu claimed he would resolve the beast tide. How is that possible? Did he think he was fighting against beast tamers? The beast tide, a terrifying beast tide with bloodthirsty ants and vine trants living in groups, would stir up a tide of at least 10,000. What could Su Yu use to resist it? Not to mention, there were probably terrifying beings of the reincarnation realm among the beast tide. This was simply not something Suyu was qualified to block. However, the subsequent development exceeded everyone's expectations. Suyu arrived at the marching route of the Vine Trance, instructing Alia to use the Blood Queen's ability to soak the blood he shed into the green stone ground. No one knew why Suyu did this. After pouring it out, Suyu and Alia distanced themselves. Soon the mountains were filled with bloodthirsty ants and Vine Trance coming in droves. What happened next was an eye-popping scene. The bloodthirsty ants suddenly went mad, launching a fierce attack on the Vine Trance. They seemed possessed, craving for the blood that Suyu had spilled. A deadly temptation. The higher-ranked bloodthirsty ants had completely lost their reason, their hunting instinct for blood being fully activated by Suyu's deadly temptation. They would devour everything within sight. This was their racial trait, and also Suyu's special gift. As a result, the Grand Beast Tide met its end amid the mutual slaughter of the bloodthirsty ants and Vine Trance. Damn, is it really possible to do this? Bloodthirsty ants live to chase blood, but why does his blood have such a tremendous allure? What exactly is Suyu's gifted ability? The Disaster's Demon Lair. I see him as a walking natural disaster. Wow, with this kind of performance, he will definitely top the hot search tomorrow. Tonight. There are already videos leaking out. The Rose Square was completely in an uproar. The miracles brought by this new student were simply too many, truly opening everyone's eyes. Before Suyu, a light screen appeared. Mission completed. Congratulations on single-handedly shattering the Beast Tide. Mission completion level rating SSS. Activate special rewards for the Mimicry Chamber of the Demon Lair. Special rewards. Special reward 1 of the Illusory Dungeon Infusion of Mental Power. Special reward 2 of the Illusory Dungeon 1 Selected Talent Potion. This reward must be decided within a day. What is the infusion of mental power? Suyu did not understand, but he knew about the talent potion. Those who did not awaken their talents during the awakening ceremony can purchase talent potions worth hundreds of millions through financial means to awaken their talents later. Although the talents awakened later are not as good as those awakened earlier, they can still allow ordinary people to embark on the path of beast tamers. This reward is undeniably valuable. As for mental power, before Suyu could react, a pure illusory energy immersed itself into his mind. The once chaotic mind seemed to be illuminated by a light, opening up a mental world where thin units of spiritual energy converged into a flowing stream. The sound of electric currents echoed in his mind. Mental Power Spiritual Stream Realm. Congratulations to the host for improving the level of mental power. Now your mental power is sufficient to accommodate a second pet beast. The system's prompt came through. Has mental power broken through? Suyu, who had not yet received knowledge on beast tamers, did not understand what mental power meant. However, Suyu could faintly perceive the existence around him, a power that transcended the limits of the 5 senses, allowing him to feel everything. The gentle breeze, the earth, blood, and fallen leaves. Although the range of perception was still limited, it proved that Suyu was already far from ordinary. Another light screen descended, and after a moment of daze, Suyu and AI Leah were teleported back to the Rose Square. In the square, a group of seniors rushed over, raising their friendly middle fingers. How dare you, bastard! I want to challenge you, Onianon. AI Leah, how can I live without you? Bastard Jr., hurry up and return AI Leah to us. Suyu curled his lips. I knew it. With AI Leah's fame and beauty at the magic capital Beast Taming University, she definitely has no shortage of suitors. Suyu was also prepared to face all the excited people. But, isn't this too many? Looking around, all he could see were heads crowded together. AI Leah's expression was displeased, her bat-like dark wings spread open, shielding Suyu. Get lost, you bastards. What do you want to do to my master? Bang! Suyu seemed to hear many sounds of shattered hearts. Ugh, sister, how can your 37-degree mouth say such cold words? Master. Oh, why? I can't accept this. Shangwan Ling's face was covered with black lines. This hardly resembles a national defense reserve. She quickly came out to quell the chaos. Riding on the Qingluan, she said sternly, enough. The entrance test for new students has concluded. Why aren't you going back to practice? The exchange competition of the 9 Schools Alliance is coming soon. Are you all prepared to participate in such a state? Also, have you completed your mission targets and kill counts in the illusory dungeon? Do you want to have your status as a beast tamer revoked? Shangwan Ling's reprimand immediately silenced everyone. The Magic Capital Beast Taming University provides students with massive resources and the most professional beast tamer guidance, but the competition is equally brutal. Beast tamers enjoy an extraordinary social status, but must also bear a high rate of elimination and mortality. After Shangwan Ling's scolding, everyone left reluctantly with traces of unwillingness and envy in their eyes. Suyu helplessly said, Teacher, is the atmosphere at the Magic Taming University always like this? Shangwan Ling paused slightly. You have taken everyone's goddess as your pet. Can they not come after you? Moreover, among AI Leah's suitors, there are certainly formidable characters. But they are all in the illusory dungeon and haven't returned yet. Seems your future school life won't be too peaceful. So you shrugged, not caring. Shangwan Ling sighed. Well, as long as you're mentally prepared. By the way, congratulations on passing the entrance test, especially the most difficult class task. According to regulations, students who pass this class task will receive class student status. Follow me to the office. They'll give you a detailed introduction to your benefits and requirements. Suyu didn't want to reveal his talent. However, AI Leah was practically a walking spotlight, and coupled with the Wang family's targeting, it ultimately caused this situation. The outcome is good, a blessing in disguise. In the office, Shangwan Ling smiled. Please have a seat. Let me introduce you to our Magic Taming University. There are 5 divisions within the school: the Beast Division, Combat Division, Demon Plant Division, Special Division, and Auxiliary Division, which will be assigned based on students' talent and abilities of their pets. With your qualifications, you are very suitable for the Combat Division, Beast Division, and Special Division. However, the Special Division primarily excels in elements and necromancy, and the head of the Combat Division, Wang Yue, is Wang Hong's uncle So. Suyu nodded. I would like to join Teacher Shangwan's Beast Division. Shangwan Ling smiled gently. Very well. Your talent report shows none. I know you might not want to disclose your talent ability. Could you tell the teacher your talent level? Suyu thought for a moment and decided to reveal a bit for better treatment. Class, my blood is quite special. It has the power to lure and control parts of pet beast souls. Shangwan Ling nodded, gently consistent with her speculation. As expected, here this is your specially made student. From today on, you are a class student of the Magic Taming University. The school implements a credit exchange system where 1 credit is equivalent to the beast resources that cost 1 million outside the school. As a class student, you will receive 100 credits each month. It's worth noting that there are less than 200 class students in the entire Daxiao, and you can prioritize selecting pet beasts, purchasing rare talent potions, and have the authority to form your own beast tamer team. As you know, students at the Beast Taming University are said to be students, but they are also reserve soldiers of Daxia. The war in the illusory dungeon can summon us at any time, and being able to form a team allows you to better utilize your abilities. Of course, there will be monthly assessments of your training progress. Failure to meet the standards will result in disqualification, since this is a significant amount of money. Additionally, you have obligations to fulfill. Class students must achieve good results for the school in the exchange competition of the 9 Schools Alliance that will be held in half a month, which concerns the resource allocation of the Beast Taming University. The exchange competition occurs twice a year, and afterwards there will be tasks related to suppressing the illusory dungeon, with the most challenging tasks usually being assigned to you. Do you agree to accept this? Suyu nodded. There was no reason to refuse. Over 100 million in resources each month. The magic capital Beast Taming University is truly wealthy. No wonder beast tamers are now the Real Defense Force of Daxia. A moment's negligence could lead to monsters from the illusory dungeon breaking and resulting in catastrophic consequences. Not long ago, the volcanic illusory dungeon in Huaying country erupted, leading to a disaster of dungeon invasion, resulting in several cities being completely destroyed, causing incalculable losses for Huaying country. Therefore, every country is frantically increasing investment in the Beast Taming University. Shangwan Ling smiled. Good, then you can prepare for school. Class students will also have dormitories specifically assigned by the school. AI Leah sat on Suyu's lap, having returned to a small size due to blood loss, interjected, "Can't I just live in the house I lived in before?" Shangwan Ling's expression stiffened. AI Leah, your house is in the girls' dormitory area. AI Leah said, Old Ning promised me that. Shangwan Ling ultimately gave up, struggling. Who knows what kind of relationship the principal has with AI Leah? Forget it, since it's a single detached house, you can still live in the original place. Additionally, you need to be careful. Although the school encourages students to fall in love freely, try not to make too much noise at night. Suyu, why specifically remind me? Clearly, I am the passive one. After leaving school, Suyu first sent a message to his parents to share the good news, hurrying home to report his success. At home, Ning Shooting and Su Qifan were so excited that they couldn't help but tell everyone they met, eager for all their relatives and neighbors to know. Suyu was not good at dealing with those relatives. He quickly grabbed a bucket and fled with Ilea. After a whole day's hustle, Suyu finally moved his luggage to the school. Even though he had been promoted to the extraordinary realm and gained physical abilities far beyond that of ordinary people, Suyu was still exhausted. I say, Ilea, can you lend a hand? This 100 boxes are almost all your luggage. But I'm so hungry. How could I bear to let you do such trivial work? Suyu gritted his teeth, thinking to himself, this time, I must choose a body-enhancing talent reagent, then thoroughly impress this little fairy. Ilea smiled brightly. I'm hungry. While Suyu was busy moving, news and videos about him spread like wildfire. The gossip online had already been replaced by the sensational news of beast tamers. It was truly a nationwide celebration. Families with a bit of money would consider buying a beast egg, even if they didn't possess the talent of a beast tamer. Having an additional labor force at home was beneficial, leading to an enthusiastic interest in beast tamers. On this day at the end of September, Sue Yes news topped the headlines of major platforms. The genius campus beauty is actually a vampire, and a man tamed her with these 3 tricks. New student, yet in-level genius. The admission exam video of Magic Spirit University has leaked. The power of a king. Beast taming expert. This is the most astonishing beast taming talent I have ever seen. The Milika Kingdom's Kaipisi family sternly condemns this and questions the origins of the new student's pet. Strategic value. Sue Yes' talent might change the battlefield. Exaggerated news came one after another, and the onlookers enjoyed the spectacle, but some who heard this news wore ominous expressions. In a secret underground chamber of the Wong family, Wong Feng. Who allowed you to act recklessly? Dad, there are so many vampires. How was I to know it was that vampire, and it wasn't that bastard Suyu who seriously injured Sierra? Shut up, Mr. Ishikawa of the Huaying Kingdom invested 10 bottles of S-level talent reagents and demanded we capture that vampire, and what happened? The people we sent from the Wong family and those from the Huaying Kingdom were completely annihilated. Since then I have repeatedly ordered not to take any action. If we are exposed and Ning Hanwen comes after us, our Wong family will be doomed. Wong, you said yes, brother, you were too careless. Ning Hanwen clearly knows someone has been tampering and has been subtly interrogating me. Wang Feng's face was filled with resentment and sorrow. Finally, the head of the Wang family, Wang Chonglin, said, all right, I understand. After all, he is also my grandson. Wang Yue used a special admission quota to let them enroll. Wang Yu hesitated, but ultimately nodded, considering his elder brother's opinion. Wang Chonglin thought for a moment and said, don't rush. Let him bask in the glory for a day or 2. According to intelligence from Hongshi City, a great battle is about to unfold in the Magic Cave. As an S-level student, he will inevitably be drafted. At that time, we can deal with him in the Magic Cave. Wang Ping Wang Qing informed Mr. Ishikawa to remain patient. Yes, at the Imperial Capital Beast Taming University in the conference room. This child's talent is undoubtedly S-level. Didn't your admissions office try to block him at the Awakening Hall entrance? How could you let him freely apply to Magic Spirit University? Exactly what has your admissions office been doing? The 9 Schools Alliance exchange competition, we were supposed to easily secure first place in the freshman category, but now, if we lose funding this year because of a loss, your admissions office will bear full responsibility. All right, let's not be so pessimistic. The principal of the Imperial Spirit University, Jiang Huiran, tapped his fingers on the table and said, haven't we recruited a few exceptionally talented students this year? Especially Kong Huan Yuan, who may not necessarily lose to Suyu. Moreover, with Ilea gone from Magic Spirit University, their competitiveness has significantly decreased. In the end, we've profited. That half-human, half-demon ethereal sorceress. Now that you mention it, principal, it indeed doesn't seem like a loss. The 9 Schools Alliance exchange war is imminent, and yet the Eternal Hell Magic Cave on this side of the Imperial capital remains unsettled. All right, everyone, prepare to head out. Yes. In the coastal area of Magic City, a secret contact point of the Huaying Kingdom. Ishikawa Shoji exclaimed angrily, Baga. You people from the Summer Kingdom took our deposit and then told us the capture failed, expecting to just brush it off. Wang Qing explained, Mr. Ishikawa, please don't be angry. We didn't expect Ilea Kaipisi to possess such hidden strength. However, she is now quite weak. Her strength has regressed to the extraordinary realm, and the next capture will surely succeed. Ishikawa Shoji suppressed his anger and said, tell me your plan. Wang Qing took out a document. You see. We will strike in the Magic Cave, and no one will be able to trace it back to. Even if that vampire has any special abilities, we can capture Su Yes family to threaten him. Ishikawa's frown finally eased. If we can capture her, our Huaying Kingdom is willing to offer an extra 5 billion. Alright, it's a deal. Yesterday, Su Yu and Ilea had been busy breaking through, and their meals consisted only of bread and simple desserts. Finally finding some time, Su Yu personally went to the kitchen to whip up a meal. Ilea leaned back in her chair reading a book. After a flurry of activity, Su Yu called, come eat, Ilea. Ilea stretched lazily, scooped a spoonful of tomato scrambled eggs, and popped it into her mouth. How is it? My cooking skills are quite good, right? Previously, Jiang Ying's parents always said their daughter didn't learn to cook, so Suyu took some time to learn, though the result. Ilea's expression suddenly changed, her sharp teeth trembling. Did you put salt in it? Suyu replied, huh? Shouldn't salt be added? Ilea covered her mouth, looking a bit uncomfortable. You should have put sugar. Suyu raised an eyebrow, feeling a bit awake at this point, jokingly said it should definitely be salt. How can you eat it with sugar? Wow, I didn't expect you, Ilea, to be such a despicable sweet tooth. As my pet, of course you have to cater to your owner's taste. Ilea looked a bit aggrieved, her brow furrowed. No. What's wrong? Salt tastes better, Ilea. Eating too many sweets will make you gain weight. As soon as Suyu finished speaking, he noticed a layer of mist in Ilea's deep purple eyes. Why did she suddenly? Ilea pulled out a book from her arms and threw it at Suye's head, tears in the corners of her eyes as she ran to another room. "Oh, that hurts. What was that for? Is this necessary?" This was the first time Ilea had quarreled with him. Suyu looked at the book that had fallen on the ground. The Vampire Diaries. For some reason, a sharp pain pierced his heart. He picked it up and opened the first page, and the words on the page made Suyu realize he seemed to have made a big mistake. "So bitter, I asked my mom why everything I eat tastes so bitter. Mom said that as descendants of the true ancestors, we can only perceive the taste of sweetness. Other flavors like sour, spicy, and salty are the most bitter tastes in our mouths, 100 times more bitter than humans eating raw huanglian. Perhaps this is like our fate, filled with bitterness and also full of betrayal." Suyu gently bit his lip. What kind of bitter taste could make the proud Ilea cry? Suyu empathized, believing that what he considered natural might be a luxury for Ilea. He secretly made a decision, picking up his phone and saying, "Hello. Teacher Shangwan, I've decided what talent reagent I want. Could you please send it over right away?" "What?" "Suyu, you need to think carefully. The talent potion from the Demon Cave's simulated field can be as high as grade A. Fine, I'll have someone deliver it to you." While waiting, Suyu continued to flip through the diary written by Ilea. The entries were few and quite trivial. The last page was about herself. "Today I met a charming man. His blood smells truly wonderful. Perhaps encountering him is heaven's way of not abandoning my path. He is kind and gentle, and I am very satisfied with him. If my mother were still alive, I would really want her to see him. I believe he is my destiny. I have become his pet. My mother said that humans, especially men, are very fickle. How will he see me? What is the man really thinking? I don't understand, but he should be very happy if we get along well, right? He said he would cook for me, and he seems quite skilled. It should taste really good. Will he like sweet food? I'm looking forward to it." Suddenly, Suyu's vision became a bit blurry. Does a vampire's love need to be more pure? Ding! Your items have arrived. The doorbell rang, and Suyu quickly got up. I hope it really works. What kind of bitter? Suyu exchanged for a grade D talent potion. Taste link. Taste synchronize. Yuck! It felt as if the most bitter taste in the world flooded her mouth, causing Suyu to vomit uncontrollably, with her entire stomach fiercely resisting. Ilea curled up on the bed. That was truly more bitter than eating raw bitter herbs. Why doesn't the little guy ever ask me what I like to eat? Didn't he say he was most afraid of losing me? Does he not actually like me very much? She felt awkward for a moment and only sat up after the bitterness faded. But I can't blame him. After all, ignorance is no crime. Ilea comforted herself for a while, preparing to talk to Suyu. Suddenly, Suyu pushed the door open. Ilea. Ilea turned her head, but couldn't help but want to look back. Suyu brought a tray in front of her, then pressed his palms together sincerely and said, "I'm sorry, it was my oversight. I was too careless. I'm really a terrible boyfriend, but please forgive me this time." Ilea's lips gently curled up like the thawing ice and snow of early spring. I didn't blame you. It was just too bitter." Suyu said, "I made another one. You must be starving. Hurry and eat." Ilea smiled, picked up her bowl and chopsticks, and took a spoonful into her mouth. "Didn't you say to add sugar? Salty. Salty. No, not bitter. Is this the taste? This?" She looked at Suyu a bit confused. Suyu smiled. "I asked Teacher Shangwan for help and found out that there is a rare talent potion called Taste Link. Just right, didn't we get to choose a talent potion as a reward for the entrance test? I tried Ilea's taste and realized that bitterness is truly hard to endure. I'm sorry, it was my presumption. From now on, whatever flavors I can taste, Ilea must also experience. The world has not only sweetness and bitterness. I want to accompany you through sour, sweet, spicy, and salty." Ilea's eyes shimmered with water, and she shyly teased, "What a waste to have chosen such a useless talent potion. How could it be? Ilea is my redemption. Anything that can make Ilea happy is not a waste." Ilea's face turned a rare shade of red, and she could clearly feel the sound of her heartbeat. Ilea tossed the golden ring issued by the Pet Association to Suyu. "Inside is something I bought for you." After saying that, Ilea lowered her head and started eating heartily. Tomato scrambled eggs, mapo tofu, braised pork, steamed fish. The flavors I had never tasted before. The emotions I had never felt before. Wow, so delicious. I want to drink salty tofu pudding tomorrow morning. Sure. I also want to eat salty zongzi. Wait, zongzi should be sweet. You just said you would accompany me to taste all the flavors. All right, whatever you say. Let me see what Ilea bought for me. Dear antler lamb kidney. What do you mean? Because this king also wants to eat something fragrant. Ilea's attitude towards you has changed. Life and death together, unwavering loyalty. Vampires are easily betrayed because they can be easily satisfied, right? The next day, Suyu, sporting dark circles under his eyes, trembled as he stood. He regretted it. He should have exchanged for a potion that could enhance stamina. This was not only due to the blood replenishment for Ilea, but also the fatigue from moving into the new house all day. Students above grade A are assigned independent villas, and Ilea's house is especially large, covering an area of over 2,000 square meters. No wonder grade students are allowed to form beast teams. Doesn't this mean they need to recruit a few servants first? Additionally, after Su-Ye's spiritual power breakthrough, he can contract a second pet. But Su-Yu still didn't have a clear idea. After Ilea, he found the weaker ones unappealing. It would be better to attend classes and listen to the teacher's suggestions. In the study of beast taming, Su-Ye's theoretical knowledge was zero, relying solely on brute force to create miracles. The Magical City Beast Spirit University, besides a credit system, also implements a mentor system for both large and small classes. There is a public lecture every morning, and the rest of the time is for private teaching by mentors. Mentors are divided into 3 levels: Silver Badge Mentor, Gold Badge Mentor, and Star Badge Mentor. Su-Ye's mentor is naturally the Dean Shengwan Ling, a bona fide Star Badge Mentor. The public lecture on Monday morning is also her class. After arriving at the classroom with Ilea, the entire room fell silent. Everyone's gaze turned to the person who stirred up the entrance test. Is he Su-Yu? Yes, that's him. Isn't that Ilea Sr. beside him? Isn't he the one mentioned online? It really is him. Su-Yu found it strange. Why did everyone seem so familiar with him? He casually found a seat, but frowned when he surfed the internet before class. Everywhere online was talking about him. The Onsen 4000 years beast tamer genius. Please, has the history of beast tamers even lasted 100 years? The secret to conquering the genius school bell, the flower language of a certain ball, is forbearance and wealth. We are not that twisted, okay? This elbow, kids, don't watch it. Why did the video of me beating Wang Hongxi get leaked? Wait, I can tolerate everything up to now, but why is my dad being interviewed by the media? And he even endorsed Xing Dongfang to become a gold medal lecturer. The key is, Dad, you endorsed the wrong one. That's a cooking school, not an educational institution. Seeing the edited photo of myself wearing a chef's hat truly made me lose it. Previously, I fought on the front lines of gossip, capturing black and white with great success, and now the tables have turned on me. Shengwan Ling walked into the classroom, causing the discussions to quiet down slightly. This year's enrollment for the Beast Spirit Department is 800, and Su-Ye's class is the elite class with 76 students, including 2 grade students, and the rest are all grade A students. Shengwan Ling said, "Students, once again, welcome to the Beast Spirit Department. I will be your dean from now on, and you can come to me with any questions." Now let's explain the questions everyone is most concerned about. How should beast tamers and pets cultivate? And what do spiritual power and realms represent? Lu Xian, you come from the beast taming family, the Lu family, and should know quite a bit. Would you like to share? Lu Xian, another grade student from the Beast Spirit Department, was invited for admission and did not participate in the entrance test. She wore a refreshing high ponytail and a chiffon polka dot dress, giving off a rich young lattice vibe. Even Su-Yu couldn't help but look at her a couple more times. Su-Ye's performance yesterday was evident, and Shengwan Ling also intended for Lu Xian to showcase herself. These two would have to carry the flag for the first year of the Beast Spirit Department. Lu Xian nodded and said, "Yes, beast tamers in the first 4 levels, awakening, transcendence, transformation, and nirvana, all rely on breakthroughs through their contracted beasts to enhance their realms. After nirvana, humans themselves will possess magical circuits, giving birth to their own physical powers. The realm signifies bodily energy, while mental power represents spiritual energy. The two complement each other. However, to contract more beasts, one must rely on breakthroughs in mental power, which is extremely difficult to cultivate. Currently, the known methods are limited to killing special void spirits in the magic caves to obtain their void hearts, or forcing one's mental state in a life-and-death situation. Moreover, in major beast tamer universities, the magic cave simulation field can elevate a person from the Lingyuan realm to the Lingxi realm. I've heard this is a special technique learned from the demon race in the magic caves." The students nodded repeatedly. Their understanding of mental power and realms was quite superficial. Lu Xian's theoretical knowledge and friendly sharing garnered her much goodwill from everyone. Shengwan Ling smiled and said, "Yes, very well said. In summary, apart from the common methods of blood food and combat, the cultivation of contracted beasts can also be enhanced through special innate abilities. For beast tamers in the early stages, aside from improving their own realm, what is more important is to contract powerful beasts. Every time one's mental power realm is elevated by 1 level, they can contract an additional beast. Currently known realms of mental power include Ling Yuan, Lingxi, Linghu, Linghai, Ling Yuan, and Lingyu realms. In the initial stages, the magic cave simulation field can assist everyone in enhancing their mental power, but thereafter the path will depend on your own gains in the magic cave." Touched by a topic of interest, Su-Yu asked, "Then teacher, if I want to contract a second beast, do you have any Everyone gasped. Yes, Su-Ye's mental power had already been elevated to the Lingxi realm by the magic cave simulation field yesterday. Although it wasn't mandatory to complete an S-level task to receive rewards for mental power infusion, being a step ahead indeed made one envious. Shengwan Ling said, "Yes, that's a great question. As beast tamers, we primarily rely on the combat power of our contracted beasts. Currently, powerful beast tamers generally abide by several principles, the first being serial numbering. Students, serial numbering is an ironclad rule in the magic cave. It doesn't mean that the ones with lower numbers will definitely lose to those with higher numbers. The numbered sequence reflects the order of magical circuits from strong to weak. Generally, the closer the entity is to the front of the sequence, the stronger its magical circuit is, and the more likely it is to possess formidable innate abilities. If you can encounter beings within the top 100 of the superior sequence, do not miss the opportunity. If you encounter the legendary divine sequences within the top 10, you need not consider whether they are compatible with you, or just contract them with all your might. Divine sequences are extremely rare. In the entire Great Xia, those who possess them are few and far between. In our school, only the principal holds a divine sequence contracted beast. Suyu deeply agreed. The power of the divine sequence had left a profound impression on him each night. He just never expected that divine sequences were so rare. But thinking about it, Aaliyah's most powerful innate ability, immortal and indestructible power. No matter how severe the injury, as long as there is enough blood, she can heal. Moreover, she could never be killed. Draining her blood would only induce a deep sleep. She stood at a height unreachable by ordinary contracted beasts. Shangguan Ling continued. The second alignment is the innate abilities of us beast tamers, which is easy to understand. For example, Li Zus, a grade talent lightness protection, allows the contracted beast to gain significant speed boosts, so he would prefer to choose flying or speed-type beasts. The third is the choice of a select few resonants within the same system. The Milika Kingdom abroad has discovered that if contracted beasts belong to the same system, they often produce excellent chemical reactions. For instance, Suyu, besides the vampire, the sequence No. 62 Moonlight Apostle and No. 377 Death Apostle are also beings of the same system. However, I must remind everyone that due to the extreme difficulty of improving mental power, it's often better to be selective than hasty. Of course, this is referring to our elite class. For ordinary beast tamers, it is indeed better to find a second contracted beast as quickly as possible. Afterward, Shangguan Ling continued to answer questions. Suyu also fell into thought. Aaliyah was strong, it truly was. Better to be selective. Otherwise, in battle, not only would he be unable to assist Aaliyah, but he might also become a burden. This matter indeed needed to be discussed with Aaliyah. What if she got jealous? Aaliyah knew what Suyu was about to say. She gently lifted Suyu's chin with her fingers and whispered in his ear, I do not oppose you finding a second beast. But two weak beings do not deserve to share a man with me. At the very least, you should find one within the top 10 of the sequence. Suyu was taken aback. Divine sequence? Sister, just encountering one of you is already incredible luck. Don't make that face, little one. I know there is a place in the magic cave that possesses descendants of divine sequences. When the time comes, I will help you catch one. Tisk tisk, I've heard that after that clan transforms. Suyu's eyes lit up, and he hugged Aaliyah, kissing her several times. You truly are my treasure. I have a weak stomach and am naturally fond of soft food. Shangguan Ling's expression stiffened upon seeing this. Suyu came to his senses and noticed that everyone around was casting envious and jealous glances, quickly apologizing. But the class had already erupted. Suyu came to his senses and noticed that everyone around was casting envious and jealous glances, quickly apologizing. But the class had already erupted. How can it be? Are vampire girls really this beautiful? I'm envious. My second contracted beast must be a vampire. Stop it. I've seen vampires, but such a beautiful vampire can only be Aaliyah Sr. Damn it. You are really despicable, Suyu. Ultimately, the class ended amidst a cacophony. Shangguan Ling shook her head repeatedly. Suyu had exceptional talent, but he was truly restless. After the large class ended, Shangguan Ling kept behind 7 people, including Suyu and Lu Xian. Let's get to know each other. From now on, I will be your mentor. At the same time, I can inform you that as my students, all of you must participate in the preliminary round of the 9 Schools Alliance Exchange Competition. The exchange competition will be held in half a month. So you didn't understand why the time was so tight. Li Su asked in confusion, Teacher, why is there an exchange competition right at the start of the semester? I remember it was 2 months after the semester began last year. Shangguan Ling frowned. I can now tell you that the exchange competition does not have a fixed schedule. The school bears the responsibility of suppressing the magic caves and must arrange the timing according to the situation on the front lines. You may not have a clear concept of how important the exchange competition is. What I'm saying is that aside from the Great Xia allocating funds based on its results, it also determines the order in which the 9 major universities can form elite teams to suppress magic caves. We humans in the magic caves are not strong. Last year, when the Imperial Capital Beast Spirit University won the championship, the suppression of the disaster magic cave we were responsible for was delayed by a day, resulting in 1462 beast tamers from Redstone City losing their lives and 391 missing, including my daughter. The 7 were silent. Li Su said softly, I'm sorry, teacher. Shangguan Ling wiped away the tears at the corner of her eyes, saying, my family and I are mentally prepared for this. It's just that. And it's a disappearance with a glimmer of hope for finding them. Although she knew that hope was exceedingly slim. Shang Wanling lifted her spirits and said, "We are beast masters. If we don't take action, who will?" You all heard about what happened in Huaying country recently, right? Everyone nodded. The Huaying country's failure to suppress the volcanic demon lair led to the invasion of the Flame Demon clan into the present world, resulting in the destruction of 5 cities and incalculable losses. Shang Wanling stated, "We are not from Huaying. We of the Great Xia must resist the demons within their lair. But who can be completely selfless? Everyone has their own affiliations and priorities. Of course, we hope to first suppress the beast tide from the disaster lair. Other universities feel the same way, don't they? Yet no school possesses the strength to independently suppress the lair, and even resisting is a strenuous task, hence we have no choice but to adopt this method. The competition tests everyone's ability to cultivate students and warriors. One must be willing to gamble and accept the outcome." The origins of the 9-school alliance exchange competition became clear to everyone. So you had to admit that indeed people have their own preferences and connections. No wonder the school values the exchange competition so highly. This is not merely an exchange competition. It is a lament soaked in blood and tears, a compromise for the beast masters to fulfill their loyalty and righteousness to their country. Shang Wanling said apologetically, "I'm sorry for saying something so heavy. Let's introduce ourselves. From now on, you will be comrades in the same team." The 7 began to share their names. Su Yu Lu Xian Li Su Wei Gang Chen Mengming and Jishui Jiang Xinyue. Shang Wanling said, "Forcing you young people to the battlefield so early is a failure of our generation. But I hope the threat of the lair can one day be ended by your hands. The Great Xia allocates more than 10 of its total budget to beast masters each year. You should understand what this proportion means. If it weren't for universal beast mastery adding more labor capability, it's likely." The 7 nodded, meaning that the Great Xia has already exerted its utmost effort. Shang Wanling shook her head, saying, "Let's not talk about that anymore. Let me explain the rules for the preliminary competition. Each of the 5 major academies will select some participants. The Practical Combat Department and our Exotic Beast Department have 10 slots, while the other 3 departments have a total of 12 slots. Additionally, there will be slots for open selection with no limit on the number of participants from each academy, totaling 16, making 48 in total. After that, it's a single elimination tournament with a class avoidance principle, ultimately selecting 8 individuals to represent the school in the 9-school alliance individual tournament. S-level students will be given a bye in the first round, but they must win at least 2 matches. Additionally, there will be a special team battle where each academy selects a team for a 7-on-7 match, with the winner representing the school in the 9-school alliance team battle. The rules are very simple. Time waits for no one, so we need to quickly determine the participants. Shang Wanling looked at the 7 and said, "I will do my best to guide each of you, and you should communicate more. Also, let's choose a team leader." The 7 exchanged glances. Ultimately, their eyes were fixed on Su Yu and Lu Xian. And Ji Shui said, "Since you 2 are the only S-level students in the team, the choice must be from among you." Li Su Wei Gang Chen Mengming and Jiang Xinyue all nodded in agreement. They had seen the videos of Su Yu and Ilia's performances, and those stunning displays left the 5 feeling inferior. Lu Xian had been specially recruited for school, and her family seemed quite powerful, naturally qualifying her. Shang Wanling looked at the 2. "Su Yu, Lu Xian, what do you think?" Lu Xian shook her head, saying, "I just arrived today and don't know much about Su." "So you also said, teacher, you then let the capable be first. You 2 S-level students should compete, and we'll know the outcome." Shang Wanling added, "Moreover, being chosen as the team leader comes with its benefits. Don't you both want to compete a bit?" Shang Wanling's proposal was immediately supported by the other 5. "Agreed. Straight to the point. Should we really have a match?" Su Yu and Lu Xian exchanged looks and finally agreed, "All right. Let's go to the combat arena." Shang Wanling led the group to the arena. She briefly introduced the rules, stating that if a pet beast is injured and unable to fight or is knocked off the stage, it counts as a victory. The arena was quite spacious, designed to accommodate the battles of beast masters, measuring 300 meters in length and 150 meters in width, ample for low-tier beast masters to showcase their abilities. The other 6 sat in the spectator seats, watching the 2 intently. Lu Xian called out from a distance, "I heard that Su is an extraordinary realm. What a coincidence, I am too, so it should be a fair duel." Su Yu held Ilia's hand and said, "Please enlighten me." "Don't worry, Lu Xian, I will hold back." Lu Xian's expression grew serious. Although she had not witnessed Su Yu's combat process firsthand, the shocking scene of him defeating hundreds of opponents and commanding dozens of pet beasts to self-destruct under the king's order left her deeply unsettled. Lu Xian guessed that this must be achieved through some medium, with high probability being Su Yu's blood. Yet Ilia was a vampire capable of controlling blood. Their compatibility was too good, so much so that an ordinary person meeting them would be instantly defeated. However, Lu Xian was the legitimate daughter of the Lu family, possessing S-level talent and a high-tier pet beast, and she was not afraid of Su Yu. "Please." As her voice fell, Lu Xian leaped up, a pure white griffin carrying her into the air, creating distance to avoid being hit by Su Yu's blood. The griffin was entirely white, but it had two heads, one representing light and the other representing holy flame. It was a No. 63 two-headed griffin, a powerful breed from the eternal cataclysm in the imperial capital. Each two-headed griffin has different attributes, and when they gather in swarms of thousands, they unleash devastating magical powers capable of apocalyptic destruction. After transformation, the two heads resembled conjoined twins and were not aesthetically pleasing, so they generally would not voluntarily transform. Coupled with Lu Xian's level talent, the Void-style binding release, which allows her to condense attribute energy into energy spheres smaller than a fingernail, and then unleash them in an instant, she could be described as a humanoid bomber. S-level students generally possess strategic potential capable of altering the battlefield situation. As the competition commenced, the griffin's radiant roar and holy flame descended from the sky in a storm. Su Yu and Ilea appeared incredibly small before this roar. However, Ilea's blood shield coalesced instantly, absorbing the entirety of the radiant holy flame without yielding an inch. Lu Xian's pupils contracted. The radiant holy flame naturally counteracts cold powers, making it advantageous against vampires. But how could Ilea's blood shield easily block it? Even the holy flame seemed to be enveloped by the blood shield devoured. Useless. Void-style binding. Lu Xian activated her talent ability, and the immense energy of the radiant holy flame was drawn into a small black hole, forming a terrifying energy sphere with extremely high density. Once Lu Xian willed it, it would explode instantly, turning the enemy to ashes. How would you counter this? As the legitimate daughter of the Lu family, she did not believe that the other S-level students from the Magic Spirit Academy could truly match her. The differences in family background and resources create insurmountable chasms for ordinary people. It's not that she looks down on others, it's just that her talents combined with her family's teachings since childhood made it unreasonable for her to lose to those with far fewer resources. Su Yu remained calm and composed, saying, "I see your talent is quite interesting. Ilea, let's end this." Lu Xian instinctively thought. But in the next moment, her crisis awareness blared like a siren in her mind. It was the threat of death. Su Yu only focused for a moment, and Lu Xian felt an instinct of impending death that she could not overcome. How is this possible? Su Yu remained turned slightly, extending his right hand. The king's command cannot be defied, even for lifeless objects. Your Void-style binding release. Obey the king's command. Bloom. The void energy sphere shot towards Lu Xian at high speed. The two-headed griffin beneath Lu Xian seemed to be controlled by some force, unable to stop itself from crashing into the energy body it had just formed. The fear of death was overwhelming. How did he do it? Can he manipulate inanimate objects? Lu Xian distanced herself to avoid being struck by the blood needle, yet she was still controlled from afar. A platinum energy ball blossomed with light before her eyes, and the terrifying energy fluctuations seemed poised to annihilate Lu Xian at any moment. Lu Xian's eyes were tightly shut, pierced by the golden light. Everything happened too quickly, leaving her no time to react. Just moments ago, she felt as the legitimate daughter of the Lu family, looking down on other strength students. Yet here she was utterly powerless against Su Yu. Ilea. The virtual energy ball ultimately did not explode, halting right in front of Lu Xian. It seems the outcome is clear. Classmate Lu Shangwan Ling unexpectedly observed the two in the arena. She anticipated Su Yu's victory, but never expected the gap to be this vast. Moreover, was that truly Su Yu's talent? Wasn't Su Yu's ability supposed to rely on blood as a medium, only affecting a portion of controlled beasts? No, that was Elias. Su Yu was using words and gestures to confuse others while actually manipulating Ilea. Lu Xian had distanced herself by over 100 meters. Could a vampire possess such formidable power? Although Elias' reputation was substantial, her divine lineage had remained well concealed. Only a select few, including Principal Ning Hanwen, knew the truth about Ilea. Lu Xian and the two-headed griffin landed on the ground, their expressions gloomy. The others exchanged glances. Hey, what happened? Li Su, did you see clearly? Li Su shook his head. I completely didn't understand. What is Su Yu's talent? Sister Lu Xian is also a remarkable talent in the Lu family. She even ranked among the top 50 new students in the internal assessment of the Great Xia potential list. How did she lose so decisively? It's not that Lu Xian is too weak, but that Su Yu is too abnormal. His abilities are such that if you lack intelligence, you are merely toyed with. Everyone nodded in agreement. Su Yu walked up to Lu Xian and gently asked, "Are you okay?" Lu Xian was still in a state of mental shutdown, somewhat dazed, and after a while finally responded, What exactly is your ability?" Su Yu placed a finger to his lips. "That's a secret, classmate Lu Xian. Once my ability is revealed, its effectiveness diminishes." While discussing combat strategies with Ilea, Su Yu realized that both his Fatal Temptation and Blood Crown possessed a strong first impression kill effect. Combined with Elias' Blood Queen, it easily disrupted the opponent's judgment of Su Yu's capabilities. Just now, when Lu Xian employed the virtual binding, Elia had infused some blood into the virtual energy ball, achieving a manipulation effect. The two-headed griffin was about 100 meters away from Elia, well within the range of the Blood Queen's grasp. Su Yu intentionally disrupted the opponent's judgment with his words and actions. Aside from Shangwan Ling, no one noticed that all this was accomplished independently by Elia. A bold thought flashed through Shangwan Ling's mind, leaving her astonished. If everything that just happened was done by Elia, then her performance far exceeded the capabilities of a vampire. The hierarchy ranking is absolute. A vampire ranked no. 99 cannot possibly dominate a two-headed griffin ranked no. 63. Temporary control might be achievable, but Elias' ability to manipulate blood had evidently reached the level of domination. This came from a suppression of a higher tier. Could it be? Shangwan Ling shook her head. How could that be possible? She applauded, saying that was a good duel. Classmate Lu, your strength is impressive, but remember, when facing an unknown and highly threatening opponent, like Su Yu, prioritize gathering intelligence over initiating combat. Then she turned to Su Yu. As for you too. Su Yu, you hardly seem like a new student. Your combat instincts are astonishing. Su Yu raised an eyebrow, wondering if Shangwan Ling had observed him. Flattery, teacher. Shangwan Ling smiled. In that case, Su Yu will be the team leader. The others approached and said no objections. Captain, you're too strong. Can't you reveal just a little bit? Su Yu smiled and shook his head. What a joke. If you all know my secrets, wouldn't you be able to figure out how to deal with me? Lu Xian also came back to her senses. Yes, what the teacher said is right. Su Yu, thank you for going easy on me. Though she was reluctant to admit it, Su Yu was indeed far stronger than her, and she didn't even know how she lost. Su Yu replied, don't mention it, we're comrades. Teacher, what are the benefits of being captain that you mentioned earlier? Shangwan Ling chuckled, finding it quite realistic. The benefits are that you will receive an extra 20 credits every month, and after victories in the budget and exchange matches, the captain also receives additional rewards. What? When the others heard this, they immediately regretted. Wow, teacher, why didn't you say so earlier? If we'd known, we would have given it a try too. Yeah, maybe in a wheel battle against Su Yu we would have a chance. Shangwan Ling laughed. Alright, opportunities must be seized by yourselves. Your credits for the first month should also. In school, everything costs credits, including meals. If you have surplus credits, you can go to the logistics department next. Shangwan Ling said mysteriously, there are paths to becoming stronger beyond just training beasts and talent potions. There are also the items produced in the demon cave, crafted from its materials. The energy ball that Su Yu used to counter Lu Xian just now. Oh, Lu Xian, you should have some demon cave armaments that can resist it, right? Lu Xian nodded slightly with downcast eyes. I thought it wouldn't be fair to Su Yu, so I didn't bring it along. Su Yu looked at her with surprise. No wonder. I thought that in a beast-taming family like the Lu family there should be some treasures beyond my understanding. The young girl was quite principled. Shangwan Ling said, all right, the teacher in the logistics department is more professional in this regard than I am. You can consult him. If you need blood food to feed your beast, you can go to the school cafeteria, where they sell delicacies made from demon cave exotic beast meat. Today's class ends here. Everyone should seize the time to cultivate. Due to time constraints, the preliminary competition will begin in 3 days. Everyone nodded and left together. Shangwan Ling headed straight for the principal's office, hoping to gather answers about Elia. Outside the arena, Li Su suggested, it seems our credits have been deposited. Shall we go check the logistics department? Wei Gang replied, do you have surplus credits? Didn't the teacher say that meals also cost credits? Brothers and sisters, does anyone know how much the exotic beast meat in the cafeteria costs? And Ji Shui sighed and shook his head. You boys are really careless. I went to check yesterday. The exotic beast meat in the cafeteria is charged by grade. Lower tier exotic beast meat and essence of rare plants cost 0.01 credits per kilogram, mid-tier 1 credit, and upper tier 10 credits. So expensive. 1 credit equals 1 million, so lower tier exotic beast meat is equal to 10,000 bucks. Well, it's just slightly lower than the market price. Jiang Xinyue frowned. Beasts have a limited daily food intake. If you want to speed up their advancement, you must buy upper tier exotic beast meat. The improvement for lower tier beasts is minimal, and I'm afraid I won't have enough credits to buy a demon cave armament. Su Yu narrowed his eyes, thinking this is the worry of a common beast tamer. I don't need it. Ew, I just need to take it. In the end, only Su Yu and Lu Xian decided to take a look. The other 5 chose to go to the cafeteria. The atmosphere on the way was somewhat dull. Eventually, Lu Xian took the initiative to grasp Su Yu's hand and said, Su Yu, can you tell me, where exactly did I lose? I can exchange credits for it. I promise I won't tell anyone. You can have a contract. Beast, give me a contract. Lu Xian could accept defeat, but not a loss so bewildering, so utterly inexplicable. They were both strength students endowed with strength talents. Her family background dwarfed Su Yu's by every measure. Yet she had been overpowered in an instant. It made her look like a fool. Before Su Yu could utter a word, Elia flicked Lu Xian's hand away. If you have questions, ask them plainly. Don't use that as an excuse to touch my consort. Lu Xian froze, then flushed crimson. I didn't mean. Su Yu smiled faintly. Enough. I won't reveal my ability. but you did commit a grave error in that battle. Your Griffin strike and your innate talent. Both were executed with remarkable coordination. Yet you forgot one thing: your Griffin's roar struck Elia's blood shield first, and your void form binding, though possessing gravitational force akin to a micro-black hole, bears a flaw. She inverted that very weakness, dispersing her blood into an invisible state and merging it seamlessly within the binding itself. So, you understand now. Lucian gasped in astonishment. That was it. He hadn't commanded inanimate matter at all. It had merely been a ruse. No wonder the void form binding had been manipulated. Suyu had subtly disclosed a sliver of his power, a gesture of goodwill, a debt owed, and one she would repay. Lucian nodded gratefully. Thank you. As compensation, I'll gift you a ghost-tier demon cavern armament. Suyu frowned in confusion. Ghost tier. You've never heard of demon cavern armaments, Mr. Su. Let the logistics department instructor explain it to you. We'll go together. Demon cavern armaments. Clearly far beyond Suyu's current comprehension and undoubtedly exorbitantly priced. A young lady promises such a gift on a whim. Do noble beast-taming families truly wield wealth so recklessly? Suyu glanced toward Elia. Elia sighed helplessly. Don't look at me. I know nothing either. Old Ning specially crafted mine for me, but they were all destroyed during our last demon cavern expedition. Lucian nearly stumbled. Ning, the headmaster. Ning Hanwen, the living legend who had brushed the threshold of the saint realm, a figure even her own father treated with profound deference. Rumors had long circulated that this prodigious senior was the headmaster's personal disciple. Their bond clearly ran deeper than mere mentorship. The trio arrived at the logistics department. Lucian skipped up to the instructor. Uncle Bai, I've come to visit you. Suyu's eyes narrowed slightly. Elite families truly commanded vast networks. Even the logistics department instructor was known to her. Everyone knew logistics was a plum post, and no ordinary person occupied it. The department head by Ruhui, a frail, elderly man with snow-white hair, greeted Lucian with a scowl. Where's your father's debt to me? Is he planning to renege? Too cowardly to face me himself, so he sends his daughter instead. Does he intend to default entirely? After a few conciliatory words from Lucian, Bai Ruhui finally softened. Upon spotting Suyu and Elia, Bai Ruhui's expression turned solemn, his normally still depthless gaze rippling with quiet recognition before settling into calm acceptance. So, the little vampire has chosen you after all. His words carried hidden weight, suggesting he knew Elia's true nature. Suyu bowed respectfully. Student Suyu, honored to meet you, teacher Bai. Bai Ruhui studied Suyu carefully, then gave a slow, measured nod. Indeed. You refused a rank talent serum worth over 100 million credits, opting instead for a single drank serum. That speaks volumes about your character as a beast tamer. Elia's cheeks flushed faintly as she stepped quietly behind Suyu. Suyu understood instantly. Talent serums were distributed through logistics, and Bai Ruhui's deep familiarity with vampiric physiology meant yesterday's incident was already common knowledge. Speak plainly. What brings you two here today? Lucian tugged Bai Ruhui's sleeve. Uncle Bai, I promised Suyu a ghost-tier demon cavern armament. The tea Bai Ruhui had just sipped nearly choked him. Cough, cough, cough. My dear child, are you truly squandering your grandfather's inheritance without a second thought? A ghost-tier armament. That will cost you 50 academic credits. 50 credits, equivalent to at least 50 million credits outside campus. And such armaments were non-transferable, existing only in theory, making their actual value incalculably higher. Lucian extended a purple gold card. Uncle Bai, there's 100 million credits inside, enough to purchase school credits. Spiritual Beast University operated at staggering expense, thus permitting affluent students to purchase academic credits, averaging 2 million credits per point, capped at 100 points monthly, allowing the institution to balance its books through arbitrage. Bai Ruhui sighed resignedly. Very well. He turned to Suyu. Young man, how much do you know about demon cavern armaments? Suyu shook his head. Nothing at all. Then allow this old man to begin at the beginning. Demon cavern armaments are artifacts forged from body parts harvested from aberrant beasts, demonic flora, or undead entities slain within the demon caverns, imbued with unique, formidable powers. These armaments rival the combat prowess of tamed beasts themselves, yet their use invariably carries side effects. The greater the power, the more severe the consequence. Armaments are ranked hierarchically: beast tier, ghost tier, dragon tier, demon tier, and divine tier. Novice beast tamers, those below Nirvana realm, may only wield beast and ghost tier armaments. Mid-tier tamers may employ dragon and demon tier. Only those who have transcended the cycle of rebirth may bear divine tier armaments. Of course, the university encourages you to hunt materials yourself. Processing fees amount to only 10 academic credits, and should you choose to sell your harvest to logistics, will compensate you accordingly. Don't deem it expensive. The material composition of a ghost tier armament can withstand missile-grade impact. Suyu inclined his head slightly, his understanding now significantly clarified. A beast tamer's combat strength rests upon three pillars: personal cultivation, realm-bonded beast, and demon cavern armament. Lu Xian's generosity was extraordinary, perhaps tinged with intent to recruit. To families like hers, money was merely abstract arithmetic. For allies deemed worthy of alliance, no sum was ever spared. Suyu, however, felt no reluctance. Academic credits were perpetually scarce. One ghost-tier armament alone demanded 50 points. Just as he prepared to examine available armaments, footsteps echoed from the corridor. A man in uniform strode in, nearly 2 meters tall, drenched in fresh blood. A crimson spear rested across his left shoulder. A pair of massive triangular wings, reminiscent of a shrieking wyvern's, were slung across his right. His face smeared with gore, he grinned fiercely. "Teacher Bai, don't rush off yet. Examine these wyvern wings for me. What kind of armament might they forge?" Oh, an unfamiliar face. This year's freshman, perhaps. Bai Ruhui adopted a theatrical, amused expression. "Suyu, though most inconvenient, your first true rival has just returned." A rival? Who was he? Mao Chongwei, second-year student, Transcendence Realm Beast Tamer, former member of the Blood Spirit Squad, where Little Vampire served, and one of several strength suitors vying for her favor. Suyu turned to face Mao Chongwei. Their gazes locked, curiosity shimmering in both pairs of eyes. Mao Chongwei stepped forward, meeting his stare. "Ah, I'd been wondering when I'd finally lay eyes on you. Just returned from the demon caverns, and already I hear you've stolen our squad leader away." His chilling aura bore the unmistakable imprint of one who had stared death in the face countless times. Suddenly, Suyu detected malice in Mao Chongwei's gaze. Then the fist came roaring in. Suyu twisted aside. The gale of that blow grazed his temple. Before the strike landed, Ilia's expression had frozen into glacial fury, and the dragon's blood coating Mao Chongwei's body answered the Blood Queen's silent command, constricting tightly around his shoulders. You actually dodged. Have you already reached the transcendent realm?" Ilia's voice cut like frost. "What precisely do you intend to do to my consort?" Mao Chongwei caught sight of Ilia behind Suyu, and his expression faltered, pained. "Captain, please don't speak so cruelly. But I no longer believe I am inferior to you." Fresh from slaying the shrieking wyvern, his arrogance blazed unchecked. He didn't even deign to regard Suyu as a threat. Suyu brushed blood spatter from his sleeve and smiled coolly. "I'd imagine some fearsome veteran returning, only to find a petty, contemptible wretch gloating over another's fallen rank." Mao Chongwei's face darkened. "What did you say?" Suyu glanced lightly and said, "What? Did I say something wrong?" Mu Chongwei sneered. "How I've seen many arrogant newcomers like you. Most of them get weak-kneed in the demon cave and end up dead inside. What qualifications do you have to speak so boldly?" Suyu replied with a sense of pride. "Just the fact that AI Leah has never mentioned you while being by my side shows that you are nothing but an insignificant character in her eyes. Your words just now prove that. I believe you wouldn't dare to speak so in front of her before she fell from her realm, would you?" It seemed that he had stepped on a sore spot, evoking painful memories as the corners of Mu Chongwei's mouth twitched. The tension between the two grew, and Lu Xian whispered, "Uncle Bai, is he one of the Blood Spirit 7 sons of the Blood Spirit Squad?" Bai Ruhui nodded gently. "Yes, the Blood Spirit Squad is a genius team composed entirely of strength students. The other 6 are all talents beaten out by the Little Vampire, yet none of them have ever gained her favor. Even getting close is very difficult." AI Leah had an extremely indifferent and cold attitude towards others, including the Blood Spirit Squad, with no emotional attachment whatsoever. Only Suyu was treated differently. However, her dazzling beauty and immense talent attracted suitors who, even knowing they had no chance, still wanted to throw themselves into the fire. Originally, everyone had no chance and felt balanced. But then Suyu appeared out of nowhere. Mu Chongwei, upon hearing that AI Leah had become Suyu's pet in the demon cave, rushed back in a fit of anger. Thus the earlier scene unfolded. Lu Xian grabbed Bai Ruhui's arm and said, "Uncle Bai, isn't this pure bullying? Classmate Suyu is just enrolled. How can he compete with the Blood Spirit 7 sons who have been training for a year? You must stop them." Bai Ruhui raised his hand to stop Lu Xian, signaling her to be quiet. "Kid, let me see the beast master of the divine generation sequence." Mu Chongwei threatened, "Suyu, stay away from AI Leah. If you're a man, don't always hide behind a woman. The captain is not someone you can get involved with." However, instead of getting angry, Suyu embraced AI Leah and said, "You have no right to dictate my actions." Mu Chongwei's veins bulged on his face, as if he could hear the sound of his own heart breaking. The once cold and untouchable captain actually allowed Suyu to hold her like a little bird. Mu Chongwei angrily said, "Good, very good. Let's have a match. If you win, the wings of the screaming winged dragon that I have severed will belong to you. Otherwise you shall leave quietly. This place does not welcome the weak." Before Suyu could speak, AI Leah playfully said, "Are you serious? I'm not trying to discourage you, but compared to this little guy, even if you have a higher realm and 2 pets, you will definitely lose. You can never measure up to him." "I can't measure up to him. Su Ye's sarcasm certainly infuriated him, but AI Lia's words truly trampled on his dignity. Mu Chongwei gritted his teeth and said, "Impossible. Captain, I will prove to you that he is completely unworthy of you. Do you dare to challenge me, Su? I won't bully you, I won't use the Demon Cave's equipment. With the captain helping you, it's not really unfair." Su nodded lightly. "All right, if I win, then one more condition, you shall never appear in front of AI Lia again." Deal. Lu Xian was very anxious. How could a new student like Su compete with a senior who had been enrolled for a year? The suppression brought by the realm would greatly weaken the effectiveness of the pet skills. She looked at Bai Ruhui for help, but Bai Ruhui said, "Go ahead and fight. With me here, don't worry about damaging the surrounding buildings." With a wave of Bai Ruhui's hand, a blue light curtain spread out, seemingly lightly adhering to the nearby buildings, appearing weak, yet indestructible. The two, however, were completely oblivious to the words of others. After creating some distance, AI Lia said softly, "Be careful, his talent is Shrank innate divine power, which allows him and his pets to unleash 3 times their strength, making him an exceptionally pure power-type beastmaster." Mu Chongwei summoned his pet, a one-eyed giant ape with a full mane of black fur along with a vine that shot skyward. A combination of an exotic beast and a demon plant. The two locked eyes for a moment, and Mu Chongwei waved his hand, causing the vines to weave a network in the sky. The one-eyed giant ape swung on the vines and lunged at Su from above. Giant ape diamond ground smash. The giant ape's arms radiated a golden glow, and its might was akin to a small meteor crashing to the ground. Mu Chongwei's battle tactics were extremely skilled, using the demon plants to enhance mobility and leveraging his innate talent to give the exotic beast formidable offensive power. Behind AI Lia, the harp made of blood and bone played a haunting melody. "Undead him," Mu Chongwei said arrogantly. "It's useless, Captain. Your undead him cannot control beings of higher realms, it can only influence them." This was also the source of his confidence. The suppression of the realm would cause what should be absolute control to decline. Otherwise, how could he dare to confront AI Lia? In the past, AI Lia could easily annihilate him using the undead him and the Blood Queen. The notes of the undead caused the one-eyed giant ape to be momentarily dazed, yet it was not turned into an undead servant. As the one-eyed giant ape descended with earth-shattering force, AI Lia conjured over 100 blood-red spears, which then shot upward in unison. Bang, bang, bang. The blood spears were shattered by the giant ape's massive arms, seemingly unstoppable by any force. The realm was the purest advantage. The vines of the demon plant were also spreading around Su, ensuring that he could not escape the one-eyed giant ape's destructive range. Su exchanged a glance with AI Lia, and the rare emotion of anger appeared in her deep purple eyes, reminiscent of a drunken abyss. She would never allow anyone to dare attempt to kill Su in her presence. As the giant ape fell, AI Lia fearlessly faced it heat-in. AI Lia, Su and Mu Chongwei said in unison. The might of that giant ape was enough to crush everything. AI Lia was not a power-type pet. Why? Bang! A cloud of blood mist scattered, and the ground was smashed into a deep pit 10 meters wide. AI Lia's right arm was completely shattered as she took the blow from the giant ape, blood staining her bones. Yet in the next moment, a brilliant crimson light shone, healing everything. Shrank talent immortal. The true ancestor of the blood race is undying and can endow all beings with the characteristic of immortality. The hundreds of blood spears that were originally shattered by the one-eyed giant ape were also endowed with the immortal characteristic, stabbing toward the one-eyed giant ape from all directions. Mu Chongwei's pupils constricted. Not good. The vines spread rapidly, attempting to save the situation. At that moment, Su wasted no time. He cut open his palm and sprinkled blood onto AI Lia. AI Lia decomposed the blood within the hundreds of spears, piercing into the giant ape. Roar! The vines blocked most of the attacks, yet still over 10 blood spears penetrated, causing immense pain to the one-eyed giant ape as it howled incessantly. Even with the giant ape's immense strength, it could not break any of the blood spears that appeared to be fragile. This was a power that transcended realm suppression. Shrank, defined as eternal power, can only be possessed by the divine generation sequence. Mu Chongwei looked at AI Lia in disbelief. What was that ability? Besides the Blood Queen and the undead him, how could AI Lia have a third power? In that fleeting moment of his days, Su stood in front of AI Lia and said with a light smile, "I'm sorry, the outcome has already been decided." Mu Chongwei, coming to his senses, coldly said, "Humph, a clown hiding behind AI Lia, how can you talk about the outcome being decided?" Su chuckled lightly, turned sideways, and raised his hand. "Because your pet is about to change masters. The command of the king cannot be defied." Su snapped his fingers. "Beast, kill him." Just as Mu Chongwei was about to mock Su, he suddenly realized that the connection between the one-eyed giant ape and Qingxian vine had been severed. Suddenly, the contract with the pet beast in Mu Chongwei's mind was shrouded in a layer of hazy mist, and he could not sense the state of the one-eyed giant ape and the Qingxian vine at all, as if they had become unfamiliar entities. Mu Chongwei's eyes widened in disbelief. How could Su Ye's command power possibly affect a pet beast at the transformation realm? Isn't the suppression of realms absolute? The clown whom he thought he could easily crush now unexpectedly towered over him. The one-eyed giant ape swung its thick arm fiercely toward Mu Chongwei. Gritting his teeth, Mu Chongwei channeled his own talent to punch back. Bang! Dust flew and a crisp sound of bone cracking echoed. The Qingxian vine also obeyed Su Ye's command with its tendrils and thorns intertwining, inflicting numerous wounds on Mu Chongwei's body. He couldn't understand what Su Ye's talent was. Su Yu mocked, "What's wrong? You seem quite confused. Is your pet beast really that useful, eh?" Su Yu returned Mu Chongwei's method back to him. The Qingxian vine sprouted countless tendrils, launching the one-eyed giant ape into the sky, and it fell like a meteor. Diamond ground split. Boom. Mu Chongwei spat out a mouthful of blood. Despite his incredibly tough physique, facing the combined might of the otherworldly beast and the magical plant from the same realm was still a challenge. Impossible. One-eyed Xiaoqing. Can't you hear my voice? Su Yu scoffed. They will only respond to the call of the king. This is my talent, king of sequences. All beings within the sequence will bow at my feet. Mu Chongwei roared. You're talking nonsense. How could such a talent exist? He believed Su Yu was deceiving him. It was a psychological tactic. But if he was lying, how could he explain everything happening before his eyes? Su Ye's realm was indeed lower than that of the one-eyed giant ape and the Qingxian vine, but the power of the blood crown and deadly temptation was different from that of the blood queen. Su Yu wasn't controlling them. He was using blood to tempt them, which was their voluntary action. How could it be called resistance? Yet the loyalty from this temptation was time-limited. The time limit of Su Ye's blood crown at the extraordinary realm was probably only 1 minute. Su Yu looked down at him from above. Am I speaking nonsense? Your pet beast has already proven everything. I am the king of sequences and you are nothing but a stepping stone under the king. If I wish, your pet beast could end its own life right now. Su Yu raised his hand, seemingly ready to strike down at any moment. Mu Chongwei's hands trembled with rage. In terms of strength, he could easily defeat Su Yu. Even a fierce presence like Elia had to reveal her trump card to contend with the one-eyed giant ape and the Qingxian vine due to the suppression of realms. It was purely because of Su Ye's unknown talent that he felt hesitant. He had not lost and did not want to admit defeat, especially not in front of Elia. But reality did not allow him to hesitate. The one-eyed and Xiaoqing were far more important than his dignity. I admit defeat. You win. Mu Chongwei gritted his teeth, acknowledging it all. In fact, Su Ye's blood crown had reached its limit for controlling the pet beast. He just didn't know. If he had held on for a few more seconds, he might have turned the tide. Fighting beyond realms was still a bit too early for Su Yu. This was under the premise that Mu Chongwei didn't use the demonic cave armor, relying instead on talent and verbal psychological tactics to secure victory. However, all of this came to an end with Mu Chongwei's admission of defeat. Su Yu released his control, and Mu Chongwei recalled the one-eyed giant ape and the Qingxian vine, his gaze extraordinarily heavy. He sighed and tossed the wings of the screeching wyvern to Su Yu. A bet is a bet. Then, shouldering the red spear, he left with a hint of melancholy. Watching from the sidelines, Lu Xian finally relaxed her tension. Uncle Bai, he won. Su Yu actually won. That was the Blood Spirit 7 from the second year. Now she understood how much Su Yu had held back during their sparring. With all his cards revealed, Su Yu and Elia were even able to defeat a Blood Spirit 7 by stepping beyond their realm. Bai Ruhui nodded slowly. Not bad, young man. You've shown me a very rare talent. Su Yu felt as if Bai Ruhui saw through everything and said, a mere trick. I have embarrassed myself. Strictly speaking, I didn't win. He gave up himself. Bai Ruhui chuckled. Why is this little fellow acting so mature? He realized that if he continued fighting, he might win, but his pet beast would either die or be severely injured, which is why he chose to concede. Don't worry, today's events won't spread. He's not that kind of boring man. But the charm of the little vampire is indeed. Who among those young hot-blooded men wouldn't adore him? With her around, there will be a steady stream of trouble seekers coming to look for you in the future. Su Yu took Elia's hand. I'm not afraid. I'll face whatever comes. All right, teacher Bai, let's get back to discussing the demonic cave armor. What kind of demonic cave armor should I choose? And what level of armor can be crafted from these screeching wyvern wings? He had come today to pick equipment. Mu Chongwei was just an accident. However, it also served as a reminder for Su Yu. His jealous rivals were far from just this one person. As news spread to the demonic cave, more and more people would come looking for trouble. He needed to hurry and get stronger. Bai Ruhui brought Su Yu and Lu Xian to the underground magic vault of the logistics department and said, wings are generally crafted into flying-type armor, which is quite rare and suitable for you, a beast master lacking mobility. The sequence number of the screeching wyvern is No. 255, capable of being crafted into ghost-level armor. Your combat style relies on blood. The best choice would be ghost-level armor of the same system. As he spoke, Bai Ruhui pulled out a box from the magic vault. Take it and try it out. Suyu opened the box, and a rich smell of blood wafted out. Inside was a blood-red longbow inscribed with obscure symbols. The moment Suyu picked it up, information surged into his mind. Demonic Cave Armor Twilight Longbow Level Ghost Notes crafted from the sharp horn of the Twilight Blood Eagle. This swift and fierce blood-red bow and arrow pierce at speeds exceeding 10 Mach. Damage is not its strong point, but it serves special purposes. Ability Blood Absorption. The target pierced will be marked with the Twilight Mark, becoming a mobile blood nest that can be drained at any time. Side effects. It craves blood. When blood is insufficient, it will demand it from its master. It resembles Elia quite a bit. Of course, Suyu wouldn't dare to say this out loud. But the side effect of the Twilight Longbow might be its strongest point for me. Good, a great item. This is the one. Teacher by Elia also used Demonic Cave Armor before, but unfortunately it was destroyed. Please help me choose another one for Elia. I'm fine with the magic armor crafted from this longbow and the screeching wyvern wings. Lu Xian gifted him a piece of ghost-level armor, and Mu Changwei sponsored a piece of dragon wings, only needing to pay a processing fee of 10 credits. The remaining credits would also go to armoring Elia. Bai Ruhui stroked his chin. Oh, it can be done, but I wouldn't recommend it. Suyu asked in confusion. Why? Bai Ruhui said the reason is quite simple. The abyssal armament was developed to adapt to humans. We as humans are born with sequence No. 999, lacking magical circuits, which makes our adaptability and plasticity the strongest. The same does not apply to our pets. Their magical circuits are akin to genes. Using abyssal armament on them is like injecting a different gene, resulting in far more severe side effects than we humans would experience. The set of abyssal armament that the little vampire used was the Nasidific magic armament treasured by the principal. And there was only that one set in the whole school. Suyu suddenly understood. Thinking back, he had indeed never seen a beastmaster's pet equipped with armament. So it turns out we humans have our advantages. Lacking magical circuits means there is immense potential for growth. Bai Ruhui personally took charge, and as a top-tier magic craftsman, he transformed the wings of the screeching wyvern into abyssal armament. Those wings were jet black, with triangular surfaces spreading out to about 3 meters wide, flowing with strange wind energy and faintly echoing the sound of dragon roars. Suyu picked them up, and their information flooded into his mind. Abyssal armament screeching dragon wings level ghost grade note crafted from the wings of the screeching wyvern. It possesses special flight capabilities enhanced by wind protection. Ability Screech. The dragon's wings can whip up a whirlwind, and the howl within the whirlwind can pierce the hearing of those within a certain range. Side effects. The longer one flies wearing it, the louder the screeching sounds will become in the host's ears, which is the resentment of the slain wyvern. The armament connected, and the black dragon wings flapped into the air, drawing a long bow of twilight, granting him a true sense of being a beast master. He was no longer just a man hiding behind Ilea to exert power, but could now fight on the battlefield like her. After the experience, Suyu put away the abyssal armament and said, "Thank you, Teacher Bai, for the guidance." Bai Ruhui stroked his beard and said, "Practice well." After returning. The power of abyssal armament is second only to that of pets when it comes to our fight against the abyss. If Mu Changwei as a beast master can still contend against you, then if he uses the abyssal armament, you might not be his match. Suyu nodded. After bidding farewell to Bai Ruhui, Suyu and Lu Xian returned to the dormitory. Lu Xian smiled and said, "Thank you again, Su. Compared to you, I still have a long way to go." Suyu's battle with Mu Changwei was a foolin' effort while he had been too lenient towards her. Suyu shrugged. The other party sent him a ghost armament, and in the end, he only spent 10 credits on processing fees to obtain a full set of armament, which was naturally quite polite of him. I also took advantage of the situation. Lu Xian's abilities are more suited for large-scale battles than mine. Lu Xian smiled. Then in the future, please guide me more, Captain. Wait. Captain, this is the girls' dormitory. Suyu pulled Ilea along and said, "Sorry, but I actually live here." Lu Xian's face turned red, wondering how the teacher arranged this. Although it was a standalone building, Suyu's villa was right next door. With Ilea being so beautiful, it was easy to imagine what would happen at night. Oh, I'm a bit curious. Lu Xian covered her face and ran into her dormitory. Suyu looked at her curiously, but ultimately could not figure out what Lu Xian was thinking. After returning to the dormitory, Suyu and Ilea had a feast, and then sat by the fireplace. Ilea continued to lie on her armchair, flipping through a book. She noticed that Suyu seemed to be preoccupied and asked, "Little one, what are you thinking about?" Suyu sat beside her and said, "Today, to defeat that person, Ilea had to use immortal to bear the brunt. I was thinking, am I too reliant on Ilea? Thinking carefully, without Ilea, it seems I am wholly unqualified to be calm." Before he finished speaking, Ilea placed a finger over his lips. Her gem-like radiant pupils sparkled. "This king does not allow you to feel insecure." Suyu shook his head. "No, I am not talking about that. I was wondering, did your arm hurt back then?" If I cannot become stronger, wouldn't Ilea have to keep hurting herself in exchange for strength? I am your man, and from now on you are not allowed to use that move lightly. Ilea's heart raced a few beats. What is this? Is the little one feeling sorry for her? She curled her lips. It wasn't that painful. The pain sensitivity of vampires is much lighter than that of humans. That's not all your worries, is it? Seeing that I couldn't hide it, Suyu said, Though I know thinking this way is not right, and Ilea is clearly very cold to others, only kind to me. But just thinking about someone stronger than Mu Changwei pursuing you makes me a bit restless. Ilea smiled and said, they are just a bunch of mongrels. Little one, you are my knight, and you must be responsible for driving those mongrels away. Moreover, instead of worrying about me getting hurt, why not give me some blood? Let me recuperate. Suyu suddenly noticed something was off. Wait, what book are you reading? He grabbed it over his face, turning pale. You damn. Ilea, the book is wrong. I don't like it. Ilea leaned against Suyu and said, then what kind of wife do you like? You can tell me directly. Anything is fine. Of course, whatever kind of wife you want me to be, I am willing to listen to you. Because men also need to be pampered. Suyu's throat moved a bit. Turned out everything he wanted had always been with. In the combat department meeting room, Wang Yu said, the preliminary competition starts in 3 days. You don't need to worry about others. They are not our combat department's opponents. The only person to watch out for is one. The screen in the meeting room displayed the analysis report of Suyu. Wang Yu's combat department is extremely strong, and this year they have recruited 3 grade students, making it the most combat-capable department in Magic City Spirit University. Most of the student teams that represented the spirit were also his students, except for the Blood Spirit team that was personally trained by the principal last year, which crushed them. This collaboration with Huaying Nation is crucial. The Wang family head has entrusted him to spare no effort in suppressing Suyu's growth, ensuring that the incident of capturing Ilea in the Abyss does not happen again. Moreover, with Wang Hongxi having been dealt with severely by Suyu even if he specially recruited him, and Jiang Ying, he has been in despair every day. How could he let Suyu off? Grade student Li Mu said, teacher team battles are manageable, but in individual battles, even if the 3 of us face Suyu, we might not be able to secure victory. Wang Yu shook his head. No, what beast masters compete on is not just combat strength. Intelligence and compatibility are more critical. Suyu's talent is very peculiar, but once we understand what his talent truly is, we can find a way to According to the intelligence we have gathered, Ilea has made several moves in the past year. Her abilities can be divided into 2: the ability to manipulate blood freely and the Dead Apostle's holy song that invades the mind using necromantic melodies. What about Suyu's abilities? Look, this is the footage from the entrance test, and this is the footage from the duel arena just now. What are your thoughts after watching? Wanting to suppress Suyu, Wang Yu could not personally intervene, so the individual and team battles in the preliminary competition became his breakthrough point. Every battle leaves a record behind. Therefore, most beast tamers prefer not to disclose their abilities. Apart from the private competition with Mu Changwei, the 2 existing battles have been watched 7 times by the practical division teams. Li Mu said, it's quite strange. Any beast hit by Suyu's blood loses its sanity and becomes his loyal servant, but in the second recording, Suyu was able to command inanimate objects without relying on blood. Wang Yu was not present at the scene, and the recording could not be observed with spiritual power, nor could he rely on Shangwan Ling to inform him. This remains a mystery to him. Could it be that Suyu's talent has no blind spots? In class student Lei, he said, teacher, is it possible that Suyu possesses 2 kinds of talents? One for beasts and one for inanimate energy forms. Wang Yu nodded, it's possible. But Hongxi said Suyu comes from an ordinary family and couldn't possibly afford powerful talent reagents. Generally, beast tamers only have 1 innate talent. Let's assume he has mutated. Thinking along those lines, you might have a decent chance of winning in personal battles. Li Mu Lei, he and Yuan Lang looked up. Wang Yu smiled. Isn't there a counter to blood magic and mental type spells? Moreover, the compatibility of the 3 of you against Suyu isn't bad. Keep a distance of at least 100 meters and avoid being hit by his blood. You will have a good chance of defeating him. As long as you level the gap in talent information with your family's background, it shouldn't be a loss to Suyu, right? That's what the teacher said. Wang Yu said with satisfaction, as for the drawing lots, I will find a way. This time it's my personal request, so I ask for your cooperation. Yes. Ugh. Ilea, actually this thing doesn't need to be consumed. Ilea pouted. Even with the taste link, she still found the flavor a bit strange. She smiled, as long as you're satisfied. Next it's my turn, Suyu hurriedly said. Wait, Ilea, maybe we should practice a bit. How much of my blood do you need to drink to advance to the transformation realm? Enjoyment is certainly delightful, but with the battle in the abyss approaching, one must not be careless. Ilea raised her eyebrows slightly. 3,000 liters. Last time activating your hematopoietic stem cells all at once was just a temporary measure and isn't good for your body. Perhaps we need another method. Suyu asked, what method? Ilea said, In the Abyss, each demon city has a pair of mythical realm city lords and demon plants. Those mythical realm demon plants secrete life essence. Just one drop can significantly enhance your constitution, allowing your blood to flow continuously. That sounds powerful, but the question arises, where can we buy it? Ilea replied, the Beast Association has it, but it is extremely expensive. Each drop costs 100 million and each person is limited to purchasing 10 drops. What the hell? That's highway robbery. But then again, one must consider that in the past 100 years humanity has only killed a few mythical realm demon plants. Having any stock is already remarkable. I still have my deposit certificate in the gold ring I gave you. The savings inside are just enough to buy 10 drops, but if we want more later, we'll have to think of a way ourselves. Suyu felt warmth in his heart and nodded. Ilea had saved up quite a bit, yet she selflessly handed it all over to him. Suyu silently vowed to protect her who belongs solely to him. Ilea, moi. It's not just you who can fight for me, I can too. I've thought of a secret technique that belongs to both you and me. Suyu purchased 10 drops of life essence from the Beast Association, feeling as if his heart was bleeding. The water droplets in the jade bottle sparkled like stars containing unparalleled life force. Without hesitation, he drank them in one gulp. It cleansed impurities and expelled filth. An unprecedented vitality and blood energy surged within him, allowing Ilea to resume her blood cultivation. With the life essence improving her constitution, Ilea could absorb 30 liters of blood daily through activating hematopoietic stem cells without affecting Suyu's health. To reach the transformation realm, it was estimated that she would need 100 days. Unless Suyu could acquire more life essence to enhance his blood energy, Ilea was unwilling to overdraw on it. In the next 3 days, Suyu and his team practiced team coordination, familiarizing themselves with the abilities of the 2 ghost weapons. Soon the preliminary round of the 9-school alliance was scheduled to take place. According to the rules, Suyu and Lu Xian had a bye in the first round. With 2 matches a day, it was his turn to appear in the afternoon. However, this preliminary round was different from the past, as it chose to live stream to the entire society. Before the match, Suyu's parents called him. Hey son, can we come to watch your match this afternoon? Sure, but mom, tell dad to immediately cancel the endorsement with Xingdong Fong. How can that be something a person can endorse? Poet, hold it. Suyu had finally gained some recognition in society, and all of it was intercepted by the Xingdong Fong Culinary Academy. Unacceptable. On the other end of the phone, Ning Shooting's laughter rang out. Don't. Your dad is just really excited. They offered us a whole 8-figure sum. Suyu hesitated for a moment, then shook his head. No way. Mom, if you need money, just tell me. I can easily subsidize you with $1 billion for a month. Moreover, the 9-school alliance competition will be live streamed to the entire society. I can't let it affect my glorious image. Even if it's not for your son Sake, think about your daughter-in-law. She has a thin skin and can't take this. Suyu unabashedly brought up Ilea, finally convincing his parents. Once becoming a beast tamer, this money truly becomes worthless. In the past, let alone 8 figures, even 50 would have been a casual graphic to edit. In the morning, Suyu and Lu Xian watched the matches of their group members. It must be said that even if they weren't class students, their talents were also remarkable. The 5 of them easily defeated their opponents and advanced. In the afternoon, Shangwan Ling returned with a solemn expression, holding the drawing results. Li Su asked, Teacher, what's wrong? Shangwan Ling handed over the drawing results and said, the luck is average. I'm not worried about the others, but it's in Ji Shui and Suyu. Little and you are facing in class student specially recruited this year from the practical division Li Mu. Suyu, your opponent, is also in class student from the practical division Lei He. It is said that Lei He is a lightning attribute beast tamer good at speed, which seems disadvantageous for you. The lightning attribute excels in speed and destructive power. If he is fast enough to evade the pursuit of blood, Suyu's talent will be rendered useless. Being able to gain an advantage in the battle against Mu Changwei was also because Suyu's compatibility significantly countered this melee-type beast tamer. Suyu said, don't worry teacher, I have a plan. As for you, and if things become difficult, don't force it. The practical division might be affected because of me so. Suyu had already formed a grudge with the dean of the practical division, and this draw might not be free of his interference. He had also heard about the news of Wang Hongxi and Jiang Ying being specially recruited, and future conflicts would be inevitable. And Ji Shui clenched her fist. I will do my best. Soon the screen in the fighting arena lit up with cheers. First match, Li Mu versus and Ji Shui. Please both competitors step onto the stage. And Ji Shui, called by name, stepped onto the stage with a serious expression. Shangwan Ling said, you all watch closely. The biggest rival to our team in the battles is the practical division. And that Li Mu is said to be the most outstanding freshman of our school this year, ranking 3rd on the Daxia potential. Suyu, it seems that you will have to deal with him then. Suyu, watching from the stands, tightened his gaze, his expression solemn. Amidst the din of the audience, the class prodigies of the preliminary round stepped onto the stage. The preliminary competition takes place in the most prestigious arena of the Magic Spirit University, lavishly decorated with seating arrangements that can accommodate tens of thousands of spectators. The arena measures 500 by 800 meters with 4 special beasts at the edges, forming an absolute defensive barrier preventing the duels from affecting the audience outside. Although the preliminary competition does not attract as many viewers as the 9-School Alliance, it is still filled with a cacophony of voices. The venue is packed, and the online live broadcast quickly surpasses 100 million views. And Jishui attempts to calm her emotions as she steps onto the arena. Over the past 3 days, she has spent all her credits to purchase high-tier exotic beast meat just in time to elevate herself to the extraordinary realm before the preliminary competition. She tells herself internally to give it her all. In the arena, a Nirvana Realm referee states there are no restrictions on dungeon armaments in the preliminary competition. Oh, let's keep it light. Limu nods amicably, saying, classmate, and I look forward to your guidance. And Jishui dares not take it lightly, replying, please, classmate Li. Without any delay, the duel begins swiftly. And Jishui recalls Shangguan Ling's instructions, keeping her distance to gather information while uncertain of her opponent's abilities. Her talent, a grade spiritual eye, is particularly adept at this, allowing her to perceive the slightest changes in her opponent's emotions, magical fluctuations, and composition. When chasing Pegasus, take me soaring. The exotic beast of Sequence No. 177 boasts pure white fur and broad wings, its maneuverability and impact being the pride of its kind. Limu looks up at the soaring Pegasus and raises his left hand slightly, and Jishui immediately locks onto his movement. Spiritual Eye. Limu's talent is laid bare under the focus of her spiritual eye. How could this be? By the time he realizes it, it is already too late. His ability has long since been activated. Limu's grade talent, Realm Disruption Interweaving. It is a special combat-type talent extending countless barely perceptible yet sharp and resilient threads from his fingers, forming a net that traps in Jishui like a birdcage, sealing off all her escape routes. His beast, a male creature, materializes entirely crimson with 2 horns atop its head. Shangguan Ling exclaims in surprise from the Volcano Dungeon No. 39, the Crimson Flame Demon. Little one, quickly surrender. It has a perfect match in affinity. The sharp threads of Realm Disruption Interweaving limit the Pegasus' maneuverability. If it attempts to break free from the birdcage, it will be shredded by the already sharp threads. The Crimson Flame Demon's searing breath flows through its lungs, belching out waves of heat guided by the threads. Demonic Flame Incineration. Boom. Boom. The scarlet-black demonic flames expand in an instant to Nzishui's side, and realizing she is outmatched, she hurriedly raises her hand. I surrender. Before her words are complete, Limu quietly shakes his finger. The threads of Realm Disruption Interweaving quickly close in along with the flames wrapped within. Boom. Little one. Shangguan Ling senses the danger and swiftly calls for a halt, rushing onto the scene. However, the audience and the live broadcast have already descended into a frenzy. Ordinary people are completely oblivious to how dangerous and malicious Limu's attack is, only cheering for the emergence of a new generation of geniuses. This is the power of an grade student. I thought the ones from this morning were already impressive. The third in the Daxia potential rankings, truly deserving of the title. I couldn't even comprehend his method of attack before he finished her off. Is this the talent of an grade? 1 Suyu 1 Limu. This year's 9-School Alliance combat at Magic Spirit University is going to turn the tables. Hey, isn't that girl in a bit of trouble? She deserves it. We pay such high taxes to train powerful beast masters, not to let a bunch of incompetent fools play house. Shangguan Ling and the referee rush into the flames of the arena to rescue Jishui. The wind-chasing Pegasus has exerted all its effort to protect her, but it is not suited for defense, and Jishui suffers extensive burns, spitting out a mouthful of blood. Little and quickly go find a healing beast master. Shangguan Ling cannot afford to lose her temper in front of so many people. When Jishui is carried down, Su Yu and his group squeeze over. Teacher, Jishui, Jishui, what happened to you? Damn it, was it really necessary to be so heavy-handed? Su Yu says teacher'll handle it. Ilea gently nods, crimson light shimmering, and Nzishui's burns visibly fade at a rapid pace. Shangguan Ling's eyes widen as she recalls what she was instructed when she sought out the principal a few days ago. Being briefly endowed with the characteristic of indestructibility is enough to heal Nzishui's burns. Meanwhile, as Limu steps down amidst applause, he glances in Su Ye's direction. Lu Xian angrily questions Limu. We are all classmates, she has already surrendered. Why did you still use lethal force? Limu's smirk infuriates people further as he calmly replies, I just didn't hear it. Besides, I held back considerably. I just didn't expect you beast masters to be so fragile, unable to withstand even one of my moves. On the contrary, you should thank me. If I had exerted a bit more force, that little girl's beast might have been killed by me. Lu Xian's heart races. Limu waves his hand, dismissively. Get lost. This is Magic Spirit University, we don't welcome the weak. Are all of you from the Beastmaster department just children? If you have the ability, speak up in the arena, not down here with your tongue. Lu Xian grits her silver teeth, wishing to strike, but is held back by Su Yu. The two lock eyes, and Li Mu's sense of crisis instantly heightens, as if he were a prey locked onto by a hunter, his mind shifting slightly. Indeed, he is a dangerous figure. Apart from this person, the Beastmaster department poses no threat. Even Lu Xian is not his opponent. Only this Su Yu stands out as an anomaly. However, Li Mu is not someone to be trifled with. What? Are you from the Beastmaster department going to use numbers to bully me? Su Yu glances at Ji Shui. This girl is enthusiastic in everything she does, often helping gather information about school matters, and her care during the recent team practice has been invaluable. With his team member injured, it is naturally up to him, the captain, to seek retribution. After a moment of silence, Su Yu says, "Tomorrow wait for me to dig out your patella." Students from the combat department arrive, the two groups clearly delineated. Li Mu coldly remarks, "That's quite a boast. You should be thinking about how to get past Lei He first." Lei He pats Li Mu on the back, saying, "Oldly, nicely done. Hee, so this is the infamous Su Yu. I don't think he's all that impressive. Kid, the next match is between us. Let's go." The referee in the arena announces, "First match, Li Mu from the combat department wins." The next match is the only confrontation between two grade students in this round. From the combat department, Lei He, and from the Beastmaster department, Su Yu. Upon announcement, the viewing area erupts with thunderous applause. Su Yu's last public appearance was too shocking, and everyone is eagerly awaiting his performance. The barrage in the live stream nearly spills off the screen. Su Yu glances at Lei He and quietly says, "You'll regret being my opponent on the hospital bed, you bastard." Lei He, a giant standing at nearly 2 meters, suddenly bulges with veins on his forehead. Head just like the... Li Mu reminds him, "Old Lei, do you remember the principal's instructions?" Lei He nods, "Don't worry, I will win. No one can outrun my lightning. My affinity should make me the best match against Su Yu." As the two take the stage, the referee sighs and reminds, "There are no restrictions on dungeon armaments, but remember, keep it light." However, the bloodlust in both their eyes seems to have ignored the latter part of that statement. This is Magic Spirit University, a place that births only the strong, and no one will stop it, for they would rather see students crippled in training than allow them to easily perish on the battlefield. Lei He opens his mouth, "Do you think I'm like those useless ones from the entrance exam? What a pity, being drawn against me is your misfortune. Su Yu, you are the challenger." The barrage of comments floated across the online live stream. Here it comes, Ilea is about to make her appearance. "Come on, Lei He. Defeat Chef Su." It's a challenging fight, but the odds do seem to favor Lei He. Is it a compatibility issue? Experts analyze that Ilea and Su Yu may struggle against speed-type Beastmasters. While even the Star Emblem mentors from the Imperial Capital's Beast Spirit University and Zhanghe Beastmaster University have come to watch the battle. They must be here to study their opponents right. Today's focal match has garnered a lot of attention, with Star Emblem mentors from other top Beastmaster universities also coming to observe. Old Wan, your Imperial Spirit, has come too. Old Lin, isn't Zhanghe here as well? You're here to see Su Yu, right? Linley nodded, "Of course, but Su Yu might not necessarily win against Lei He." Wang Jing focused and said, "Well, Lei He is ranked 43rd on the Daxia potential list. Su Yu's peculiar talent might even place him in the top 10, but in terms of compatibility, it seems Lei He has the upper hand. For Beastmasters with low spiritual power, speed can sometimes play a decisive role. After all, no matter how strong the power is, if it can't hit, it is of no use. In comparison, the odds slightly favor Lei He." The referee wave begin. Su Yu and Lei He held their breath, and at the instant they heard the signal, they launched into action. Lei He summoned a No. 105 Thunderbird wrapped in bolts of lightning, crackling as it struck the ground, creating cracks. Lei He's talent shrank Lightning Flash. He is immune to lightning damage and can enhance his speed using lightning. The Extraordinary Realm's Lightning Flash can elevate speed to the point of breaking the sound barrier. Bang! A sound of breaking space resounded as Lei He transformed into a bolt of lightning, resonating with the Thunderbird, drawing 2 arcs of annihilation across the arena, heading straight for Su Yu. Ilea. Behind Ilea, a harp formed from blood and bone played the prelude of the undead. The holy song of the undead. The spreading notes of the undead invaded the mind of the Thunderbird. Lei He was prepared to counter this move. He retrieved an echo drum, a ghost-level weapon from his family. The concentrated rhythm of the echo attempted to neutralize the effects of the holy song of the undead. What exceeded Lei He's expectations was that the power of the ghost-level weapon could not completely eliminate the melody of the holy song of the undead. While the Thunderbird was not completely controlled, its actions were delayed, almost leading to a state of mental confusion. No wonder she was last year's Genius Senior. Without this ghost-level weapon, it would have been hard to imagine how to fight. Su Yu calmly observed Lei He's movements. It was no surprise to him that Lei He could produce a corresponding ghost weapon. As Lei He transformed into lightning, even with Su Yu's spiritual power at the Lingxi realm, He could only catch glimpses of residual shadows and motion. From a compatibility standpoint, it wasn't that easy to deal with. With a flash of thunder, Leahy appeared in an instant ready to strike Su-Ye's face when Ailea's Blood Queen activated. The blood from Leahy's hands and feet seemed to be controlled, his knees unable to resist bending. This was Ailea's ability to control blood. Could Ailea actually capture herself moving at high speed amidst the lightning? Fortunately, he was prepared. Another ghost weapon, the strange doll, could swap damage between himself and the doll. Ailea's controlled blood was instantaneously replaced with the doll's damage, allowing Leahy to barely break free from the Blood Queen's restraint. However, the side effects of the strange doll were equally terrifying. After the effect ended, the damage the doll sustained would be returned to Leahy in multiples. To defeat Suyu, Leahy could no longer afford to be concerned about these matters. Suyu, you're finished. Just as he was about to touch Suyu, a pair of black dragon wings flared up behind him. Flying into the air alongside Ailea, they dodged Leahy's deadly strike. At the same time, Ailea gathered dozens of blood spears and fiercely thrust them towards Leahy. Leahy dared not confront the blood spears hidden and relied on his speed advantage to evade. Looking up, he saw Suyu and Ailea standing in the air, their expressions serious. Is it a flight-type dungeon weapon? You underestimate me, Suyu. My lightning flash is not something you can evade. With the rhythm of the echo drum awakening the Thunderbird's consciousness, the Thunderbird finally overcame the influence of the holy song of the undead resonating with Leahy's power. Its feathers stood erect like blades, and with the enhancement of Leahy's lightning flash, it bombarded rapidly. Boom, boom, boom. Thunder feather cover. Thousands of thunder feathers unleashed a thunderous assault, even more terrifying than a hail of bullets, causing the audience to break out in a cold sweat for Suyu. However, the black wings behind Suyu whipped up a whirlwind, sweeping away countless thunder feathers. With a piercing shriek, the invisible sonic wave surged towards Leahy. Leahy suddenly dodged, but was still pierced by the sonic wave, nearly losing his hearing in that moment. Fortunately, he reacted quickly. Suyu's ghost weapon was of extremely high quality, probably crafted from the wings of a screeching winged dragon. Damn, if this continued, he wouldn't be able to withstand the backlash from the strange doll later. Thunderbird. As a direct descendant of the Lei family, he absolutely could not bring shame to his family. Losing to Suyu, a mere commoner, would be a disgrace for their first-class Beastmaster family. Just watch, you filthy beggar from the countryside. This is something you'll never learn in your lifetime. The Thunderbird and Leahy transformed into arcs of lightning, intertwining into an even more dazzling bright, white thunderbolt, its speed immediately breaking the sound barrier, almost instantaneously shooting up into the sky. Merging into one, its speed was so fast that it nearly exceeded everyone's reaction. The lightning arc resembled a lightning spear vowing to pierce through Suyu. It's over. Several Star Emblem mentors made their judgments. The speed was too fast. With the dungeon weapon on Leahy that could weaken Ailea's power, Suyu's abilities simply couldn't evade this lightning spear's penetration. Bang! The bright white thunderbolt exploded into a mist of blood, successfully piercing through Suyu. The audience on site widened their eyes in shock. Could it be that Suyu? Lin Li's gaze sharpened. Yes, Leahy is done for. I never expected Ailea to be so proficient in controlling blood. Suyu's judgment was too meticulous. He hardly seemed like a freshman. Their cooperation was seamless. Leahy was still lost in the joy of having pierced through Suyu, even momentarily thinking he had secured victory. But when he looked down at the pool of blood and then raised his head again, he saw a bizarre scene. Suyu and Ailea were still hovering high above, overlooking him. How is this possible? He had clearly shattered Suyu. Suyu had clearly died at his hands. Suddenly, the effect of the strange doll in his hand ended. The backlash did not come. Could it be? Leahy realized belatedly that everything that had just happened seemed to have been under Suyu's control. Ailea did not use the Blood Queen to control his blood to inflict damage. She merely controlled it at the beginning, and afterwards she only slightly altered the flow of blood in Leahy's eyes, causing his visual judgment to deviate slightly. But it was this tiny deviation that ultimately doomed everything. That pool of blood had always existed. Leahy, being in the midst of it, was unaware of its meaning. However, everyone watching the match saw Ailea fabricate a dummy resembling Suyu from blood, and then Leahy unleashed all his firepower, revealing all his trump cards. He charged directly towards the dummy, shattering the already existing pool of blood. In Suyu's hand, a blood-colored longbow slowly materialized. You just performed quite a show. Did your family run a circus? Leahy's lungs nearly exploded with anger. So his previously fearsome performance appeared to everyone like a living clown. Laughter and discussions erupted among the audience. Haha, I thought it was a strong dialogue. Turns out it was just a comedic performance. What a pity the mealtime has passed, otherwise I could have shown off 3 bowls. Is this what N-level student from the practical combat department looks like? Xing Dongfang needs talents like you. Leahy gritted his teeth in frustration. Lightning flash. Su Yu raised his longbow and disdainfully said, "Unfortunately, speed is not your sole specialty." The arcs of lightning flickered, yet it was Su Yu who held the initiative from beginning to end. With his jet-black wings and blood-red longbow, he appeared as a messenger of the night, obscuring all light. Before he leaving him suddenly devoid of hope for victory. "Impossible. My speed, my lightning, Su Yu cannot catch up to me. As long as he cannot hit me, I cannot lose." Lightning flashed, and the arcs intertwined once more. Su Yu's dusky longbow coalesced into a blood-red arrow filled with vitality, its feathers ignited in a dark crimson glow. Amidst the intertwining of blood and night, a crimson beam locked onto Lei He and Lei Niao. A surge of danger flooded Lei He's mind. This arrow cannot be taken hidden. Instincts drove Lei He and Lei Niao to twist and dodge, evading the lock. Su Yu smirked, "It's useless." Whoosh. A blood-red beam tore through the sky, piercing through Lei Niao's spine at an untraceable speed like a wound that ripped apart space. Screech. Lei Niao let out a pained wail. The speed of the arrow, surpassing Mach 10, was already 10 times that of Lei He and Lei Niao, who had just broken the sound barrier. It was then that Lei He realized. Speed was no longer his exclusive domain. Su Yu's arrows were faster. Underneath Lei Niao, azure blood dripped, having been pierced by the dusky arrow, leaving behind 2 arrow holes. Lei He turned sharply, discovering he had not sustained a fatal injury, and finally breathed a sigh of relief. "Damn, Su Yu. Did this cursed weapon enhance speed, but weaken attack? Had that broken bow looks rather intimidating. Unfortunately, its power is too weak. Su Yu, if this is all you've got, you might as well admit defeat." Lei He transformed back into lightning arcs and charged towards Su Yu. The spectators murmured this. "The bow and arrow have no damage. Is it just a light scratch?" Such speed, yet it only resulted in a piercing wound, and he merely bled. Master Su stopped scratching. Yet the expressions of the star tutors from other schools observing the match grew serious. Wang Jing exclaimed, "A genius actually exploiting the side effects of the cursed weapon." Lin Leroux commented, "It's similar to our speculation. Su Yu is using his own blood as a medium to channel power. This move is incredibly difficult to defend against. His compatibility with the vampire is surprisingly good." Lei He had initially thought Su Yu's offensive was grand, but shallow when he prepared to launch another attack. A claw pierced through Lei He's chest from behind. He turned in disbelief, only to find it was Lei Niao. The arena fell into silence. The bewildered audience and everyone in the live stream were frantically questioning what was happening. Su Yu extended his right hand in the sky and snapped his fingers. "Obey the king's command. Kill the master. Beast." All 10 of Lei Niao's claws pierced through Lei He's chest. Bones shattered, blood gushed forth. "How does this feel, Lei He? Your proud speed, your proud lightning beast, how does it feel to be pierced by your own beak?" Lei He's eyes were filled with confusion and despair. When exactly was it that Su Yu's blood completely missed him and Lei Niao? Could it be that the blood arrow from earlier? It was too late to realize, as the outcome was already decided. The referee immediately waved. Healing beast masters enter the arena. Students severely injured. The dean of the combat department, Wang Yue, was furious and flew into the arena to question Su Yu. "This violates regulations. Why must students fight to the death in a sparring match?" Su Yu shrugged. "Teacher Wang, you must be mistaken about me. Referee, please check carefully. Oh, I deliberately avoided vital points. I merely intended to teach Lei a lesson. On the contrary, you should thank me. Why, I've been very measured in my approach." Wang Yu momentarily fell silent. After inspecting, the referee nodded. "Dean Wang, rest assured, Su did indeed avoid vital points. But you must quickly administer a blood transfusion. We cannot delay too long." Before Wang Yu could further explode with anger, the spectators began to protest. Tisk, is the combat department so unable to take a loss? Earlier, that girl from the exotic beast department was injured, yet her dean did not jump out. Indeed, it seems Su Yu really has grace. He did not kill anyone. That's right, if it were my brother getting beaten, I would definitely retaliate fiercely. Su Yu's restraint is indeed commendable. But what on earth happened? I don't quite understand. Wang Yu's face turned grim as he faced countless accusatory glances, feeling extremely awkward. The instructor responsible for commentary at the spectators' platform hurriedly spoke up to salvage the situation. "What a spectacular match. As everyone can see, Su Yu has once again demonstrated his ability to command. While some may have doubts, the Beast Masters should have noticed that it was Su Yu's blood arrow that entered Lei Niao's body, achieving control over it. Su Yu's innate ability is already hard to guard against. It has become even more troublesome to the point where even Ilea doesn't need to exert much effort to resolve it." The odds before the match were indeed worlds apart. The commentary instructor's intervention allowed Wang Yu to quietly leave. Otherwise, his personal involvement as dean would likely face more criticism. Although the scene could be wrapped up gracefully, the live broadcast caused the incident to escalate online. The trending topics immediately featured his name. Wang Yu breaks down, "But this is serious. People became increasingly interested in Su Ye's innate ability, leading to more and more speculation. The most widely accepted theory was that Su Ye's blood possessed the power to invade the spirits of beasts, a rather terrifying strength talent. Yet no one knew the extent and range of this control. As the topic continued to gain traction, just after Su Yu finished battling Lei He, the Great Xia potential rankings were updated. Great Xia potential rankings 9th Su Yu. As he walked off the battle arena, Lu Xian and Li Su rushed over saying, "Captain, well done. Water, look, Captain avenged you." The combat department people are so uncivilized, it turns out the upper beam is not straight, so the lower beam is crooked. And Ji Shui, healed by Lia's immortal trait, was able to walk after a brief faint. She softly said, "Su Yu, thank you." Su Yu smiled. It's what a captain should do. During the conversation, the combat department personnel nearby were bustling about like ants on a hot pan, as if the scene had replayed, only this time the roles were reversed. Li Mu looked over coldly, fixating on Su Yu. Su Yu responded nonchalantly, "Don't look at me like that. By your own words, you should thank me for not crippling Lei He. Wait for tomorrow when I dig out your patella." Li Mu clenched his fists. "Su Yu, just you wait. Who digs out whose patella is still uncertain. Tomorrow I will show you with my strength that all your pride, including everything about you, is insignificant in front of the Li family." Although the drawing of lots had not yet occurred, it seemed everyone knew that the combat department, which always took advantage without suffering losses, would not swallow this humiliation. The most outstanding strength student recruited this year, Li Mu, and the rising star Su Yu, who had bound himself to Ilia upon entering the school, were bound to clash. Li Mu turned and left, whispering to Wang Yu as he passed by, "Teacher, don't worry. The news from home is that they have already prepared my second pet beast." Wang Yu's eyes lit up and the earlier anger dissipated instantly. Both Li Mu and Su Yu possessed spiritual energy at the Lingxi realm, qualifying them to contract a second pet beast. However, the situation was different. Su Yu, being an ordinary person, found it difficult to wait for a suitable pet beast. In contrast, the Li family behind Li Mu was a pillar of the daxia, capable of quickly finding him a suitable pet beast. Victory was thus obvious. 2 against 1, the advantage was mine. Shangwan Ling approached the 7 and said, "Lu Xian, you're up soon. Hurry and prepare. Su Yu, come with me." Su Yu nodded. The other 6 returned to the resting room, while Su Yu followed Shangwan Ling out of the combat arena and into an office in the administrative building. Shangwan Ling spoke softly at the door. "Su Yu, first, congratulations. After defeating the Thunder Crane, you have been included in the official talent list of daxia. You may not know this, but all students listed on the talent list become official training subjects of daxia. The people inside are from the Daxia 9 Guards, specially here to see you. The Daxia 9 Guards are the troops stationed at the 9 great demon caves within Daxia, with each cave corresponding to 1 troop. The troop stationed in the Disaster Demon Cave beneath the Demon City is called the Dragon Eagle Guard, based in Hongshi City, serving as the front line against the myriad clans in the Disaster Demon Cave." Su Yu asked in confusion, "See me?" Shangwan Ling replied, "They are here for routine business. Don't worry, it will definitely be good for you. Just say whatever comes to mind later, no need to be too formal." Su Yu nodded. As they entered, Su Yu saw a man and a woman. The man had a square face, a robust build, and a scar on his face, while the woman had an oval face, stood about 1.7 meters tall, and was quite beautiful. Upon seeing these two, Su Yu felt a sense of familiarity. Like Mu Changwei, they had the eyes accustomed to. The man with the square face stood up and said, "Hello, Su Yu. I am Major Qin Zhe of the Dragon Eagle Guard. We have observed your brilliant battle and have come to discuss some matters with you. Please have a seat." Qin Zhe took out a document while his secretary began to take notes. "Su Yu, aged 20, became a beast master this year. You did not awaken your talent during the awakening ceremony, suspected to have a postnatal level talent with the pet beast named Ilia Kaipisi, suspected to be a No. 99 vampire, former captain of the Blood Spirit Squad. There are many vague details in your report. According to regulations, all newcomers on the daxia talent list are key training subjects of daxia. However, before this, we hope to have a detailed intelligence report. Of course, this mainly depends on your personal willingness." Su Yu shook his head and said, "Sorry, I do not wish to disclose my abilities for the time being." Qin Zhe chuckled, "I understand. Beast masters are usually like this, it's just routine. For newcomers who are willing to trust us, we will directly invite them to join the Daxia 9 Guards and receive training from both the Beastmaster Academy and the military. Have you considered it?" Su Yu shook his head again. In the eyes of outsiders, Ilia belonged to the vampire upper tier, not the divine generation tier. This secret was of great importance, and Su Yu would never disclose a single bit of it. Qin Zhe, slightly regretful, said, "I understand. Let's not discuss this for now." Qin Zhe leaned forward and said, "As a member of the Dragon Eagle Guard, we extend an invitation to you. You should know that the Beastmaster Academy is the reserve force. You have an obligation to participate in battles, but also the right to choose which battlefield to join. We are all from the Demon City, and our Dragon Eagle Guard also needs talents like you. What do you think? You can propose conditions." Su Yu fell into deep thought. According to Shangguan Ling, after the exchange competition of the 9 schools alliance, the order of participation in the demon caves would be decided. At that time, all beast masters would have to enter the demon caves to fight. This is a responsibility that comes with enjoying the high treatment from society. Generally, people would choose to defend their own demon caves. Su Yu nodded and said, Major Qin, I am willing to join the combat sequence of the Dragon Eagle Guard, but I have 2 conditions. Qin Ze's eyes lit up, and he said, Go ahead, speak. Su Yu smiled wryly and said, One is my treatment. You know beast masters are always bottomless pits. I have no backing from a beast master family and resources are quite tight for me. I will also participate in the 9 schools alliance exchange competition later. At that time, there will definitely be other 9 guards looking for me. I hope my treatment is at least not lower than that of others. Qin Ze's mouth twitched. This guy was indeed one who wouldn't work without benefits. But he could understand what powerful beast master wasn't raised with massive resources. I agree. Su Yu continued, the second condition is simple. I hope to protect my family well. Qin Ze said, that is natural. As long as you join the Dragon Eagle Guard, your relatives will move into our Dragon Eagle Guard's family annex, with special personnel patrolling and guarding. Su Yu nodded and said, all right then, I agree to join. Also, Major Qin, I would like to advance some life essence liquid first. At the current pace, Ilea needed 97 days to advance to the transformation realm. Su Yu required a large amount of life essence liquid to improve his physique and enhance his vitality. Qin Ze hesitated, saying, life essence liquid? That stuff is very rare. Even our Dragon Eagle Guard doesn't have much in stock. Generally, beast masters ranked in the top 10 of the Daxia talent list who enter the Daxia 9 guards only receive 1 drop of life essence liquid per month. The rest must be exchanged for military achievements. Su Yu spoke directly. I want to advance at least 10 drops. If possible, it would be best to get 40 drops. Qin Ze blurted out, what? Su Yu was indeed being quite bold. 40 drops, that would amount to 4 billion. Although this price was raised by the Daxia Beast Master Material Subsidy Policy, its actual value was still extremely high. Su Yu wouldn't miss out on this golden opportunity, as currently life essence liquid was not available elsewhere and only the front lines had the most. Taking 10 drops of essence liquid would require 100 days for Ilea to advance. If he could take another 40 drops, it would take less than 20 days. He could advance to the transformation realm just in time before entering the demon cave. Only with strength could one have the confidence to survive in the demon cave wars. Qin Ze felt a little overwhelmed and cautiously said, that's too much. I need to consult with my superiors. He did not dare to make a definitive statement. What if the other Daxia 9 guards were willing to offer it? Su Yu understood that to gain benefits, he had to prove his worth. Major Qin, I really need this item. How about this? If nothing unexpected happens in tomorrow's preliminary match, I will probably draw against Li Mu, who ranks 3rd on the talent list. If I can win, will you help me apply for 40 drops? As long as I have these 40 drops of life essence liquid, I am confident I can win the first place in the 9 schools alliance exchange competition. Qin Ze's pupils contracted. If he were the first in the 9 schools alliance, that would be another matter altogether. All right, I agree. Qin Ze stood up and extended his hand. Looking forward to your performance. Su Yu reached out and shook hands firmly. After the Dragon Eagle Guard members left, Shangguan Ling smiled and said, you really dare to brag. Even if you have Ilea, this year's freshmen are truly exceptional. Su Yu shrugged helplessly and said, teacher, I don't have the backing of a Beastmaster family. Resources are limited, so I can only fight for it. Shangguan Ling nodded and said, yes, this is precisely the second matter I called you here for. This year's preliminary match is hosted by the Practical Warfare Department, and the results of tomorrow's draw have actually already been decided. Your opponent is Li Mu. Su Yu took the information handed over by Shangguan Ling. Shangguan Ling said, the Xia clan's beast tamers have a history of 100 years during which some powerful beast tamers have emerged, forming a vast family with their own strength and knowledge. Beast tamer families can be classified into first-rate, second-rate, and third-rate families based on the strength of their beast tamers. Just the head of a third-rate family requires the strength of the reincarnation realm. There are 3 realms for mid-level beast tamers: Nirvana, Wheel Transition, and Reincarnation. Only beast tamers of the reincarnation realm have families that qualify to be called families of significance. Shangguan Ling continued, among the many families, 9 have stood out, which we refer to as the pillar families. They are the pillars of the Great Xia, working alongside the Beast Tamer University and the 9 guards of Great Xia to form the main force against the Demon Abyss. Uniting all forces that can resist the Demon Abyss is the policy of the entire Great Xia and has also led to some problems among families. The Li family is one of the 9 pillar families, and this Li Mu is the most outstanding class student admitted this year, second only to Kong Huan Yuan from the Imperial Spirit University and Shi Xiaolong from Zhenghe University. Based on my speculation, if he wants to secure a win against you, undoubtedly his family will prepare a second pet beast for him, as well as equipment from the Demon Abyss to counter alias abilities. In this year's Great Xia potential rankings, nearly half of the top 10 are descendants of pillar families, and their talents and strengths may far surpass those of the previous year. Shang Wanling glanced at Alia. If there is any absolute advantage that Su Yu has over Li Mu besides his unique talent ability, it is Alia. Alia played with Su Yu's hand nonchalantly, showing no signs of tension. Su Yu browsed through the information, combining what Ji Shui observed with his spiritual eye. He roughly understood Li Mu's talent ability of intersecting realms. This is a controlling and offensive talent using the sharpness of fine threads to achieve the effect of attacking and restricting the opponent's movement. Speaking of which, Mu Changwei's close combat talent is not favorable against Su Yu, but if it were him facing Li Mu, it would be much simpler. A single force can break 10 such fine threads cannot stop brute force. To outsiders, it seems that Li Mu's affinity is very restraining to Su Yu. Shang Wanling asked, "How is it? Are you confident in dealing with him?" Su Yu slightly nodded. "I am more looking forward to whether Major Qin can bring back my 40 drops of life essence." Shang Wanling was stunned for a moment, then chuckled. Bringing Su Yu into the Beast Tamer department might have been her best decision this year. "All right, then I'll wait for your performance." Su Yu left the office building, heading to the arena. He wanted to check the results of his team's matches today, and also because his parents had come to watch the matches with his sister, and he would pick them up after. On the way, Alia noticed Su Yu's silence and asked, "Little guy, what are you thinking? Are you thinking about tomorrow's match?" Su Yu gently shook his head. The more he understood Alias abilities, the more he realized how powerful the existence of the divine generation sequence is. He also increasingly confirmed one thing. "Alia, the people who attacked you wanted to capture you alive, right?" Alia gently nodded. Why? Little guy, do you have any clues?" Su Yu had a vague suspicion, but still lacked some evidence. "What the mentor just said inspired me. I have some immature ideas that still need verification." Alia pursed her lips. Has Su Yu been keeping this matter in his heart? Being attacked and almost falling into a deep slumber marked the beginning for Alia and Su Yu, and it also cast a shadow over her heart. Now she doesn't have to bear all of this alone, as someone is fighting alongside her, sharing life and death. Alia pecked Su Yu's face lightly, feeling relieved. "The things this king can't understand, I'll leave them to you to ponder." Cough, cough. A familiar sound of coughing interrupted them. Su Yu saw a figure standing in front of him and recognized it immediately, frowning. "Didn't we agree that you wouldn't appear in front of Alia after losing?" The figure turned out to be Mu Changwei from the second year. He had discovered something and wanted to report it, coincidentally witnessing the earlier scene, feeling a heart-wrenching pain, but he couldn't show it. Mu Changwei said coldly, "So I'm not facing you directly since I'm turned away, so it doesn't count as breaking my—" "Su Yu, this is possible. Can't you all have a bit of dignity?" Mu Changwei felt somewhat embarrassed, but quickly shifted the topic. "I'm not here to chat with you. I have something important to discuss. Here, take this." He tossed a small round token behind him. "Even if the captain chose you, he was once our captain. Although I am reluctant to admit it, 3 days ago after we fought, I went to a bar to drown my sorrows. Someone tried to buy information about the captain while I was drunk. I found his accent strange and casually misled him. Afterward, I wanted to follow him to see what was going on, but I lost track of him. So I returned to the Demon Abyss. One of our squad members has the talent to rewind the sealed memories of a region. We found the place where the captain was attacked. All traces there had been cleared away, but in the memory rewind we discovered that someone had dropped a small item. As a gift, it's for you. You? Since the captain chose you, don't let her be attacked again." Su Yu looked at the small round token that Mu Changwei had thrown. It was a family crest depicting a demon blade cutting through bird feathers. Only people from Huaying country carry such family crests. As if a ray of light shone into a fog of conspiracy, some suspicions gradually found validation. Su Yu said, "All right. I don't owe you any favors. Your pet beast was only temporarily enchanted by my blood, which obscured its spirit, and it listened to my orders out of a brief chase instinct, not out of betrayal. You need not take it to heart." Mu Changwei sighed in relief, as if he had untangled a knot in his heart. "Tomorrow, don't lose to the 9-School Alliance. The captain has never lost. Besides, I wasn't taking it to heart." He stepped away, his footsteps seeming much lighter. Alia raised an eyebrow, her upper lip curling slightly in disdain. Are all men so stubborn with their words? Su Yu chuckled lightly. He had come specifically to seek this answer. The bond between a beast tamer and their pet beast surpasses everything. How can one become a beast tamer if there is a rift in their heart? Su Yu and Alia arrived at the rest area of the arena. By now, Lu Xian and the others had already finished their respective battles. "Brothers and sisters, how did it go?" Lu Xian smiled. "The top 16 have been decided. Our team has 4 members in Yumi Jiang Xinyue and Chun Mingming." Su Yu turned back and said, "While Li Su and Wei Gang, how come you two are so underwhelming?" Li Su and Wei Gang, injured, looked somewhat helpless. Lu Xian said, "Captain, their opponents were very strong, and they just happened to be restrained by their affinities." Su Yu's face darkened. Was it Wang Yu's doing again? The others shared the same sentiment. Today's lottery was heavily targeted, most likely due to the practical department's Dean Wang Yue hosting the draw. My lottery result for tomorrow has already come out. It's Li Mu who fought against Little and today. The other 6 raised their heads, their pupils narrowing. This targeting was already blatant. Seeing the serious expressions on the others' faces, Su Yu said softly, "No worries. Let them come. Tomorrow, I will shatter all his confidence, making sure they won't even dare to look us in the eye during the team battle. I will eliminate the pride of the practical department once and for all." Mu Changwei's visit made Su Yu realize a truth. His abilities could create rifts of trust between pet beasts and beast tamers, which is a fatal blow to beast tamers. Li Su clutched his injured leg as he stood up and said, "I trust you, Captain, but could you at least treat my leg?" Su Yu waved dismissively. "Shoo, my Ileo won't heal other men. Go find a healing-type beast tamer yourself." Li Su groaned in despair. What happened to team spirit? Su Yu adopted a stern tone. "Shaoli, I must reprimand you. Complaining over such a minor injury truly disgraces us men. Look at Wei Gang. He hasn't uttered a word." Li Su turned to Wei Gang, who patted his shoulder reassuringly. "Old Li, it's because I never held out much hope to begin with." A stifled chuckle escaped Lu Xian and Ji Shui. Su Yu's words significantly bolstered the group's confidence. After all, nearly all first-year individual combat slots were occupied by class students, and the university's draw system typically avoided direct inter-school matchups. On the martial arts arena, as the final match concluded, the draw ceremony began. Su Yu watched the screen inside the restroom, even though he already knew his opponent. For now, let us hear what the outside world is saying. On screen, a broadcast announced, "Today's preliminary rounds have concluded. Tomorrow, 8 student representatives from Shanghai Beast Spirit University will be selected to compete in the freshman division of the 9-University Alliance Exchange Tournament. Let's now reveal the draw results. The opening match tomorrow will be Su Yu versus Li Mu." A wave of astonishment rippled through the arena. A scrolling comments flooded the live stream. "Whoa, I assumed Shanghai Beast Spirit University would at least avoid an internal clash. They're going head-to-head right away. The fairest episode yet. 3rd ranked on the potential rankings versus 9th. Thank goodness I secured tickets for tomorrow. Pool win. Any veteran beast tamers care to analyze?" In the broadcast control room, the host announced, "We're honored to welcome Mr. Lu Yun, a Nirvana Realm beast tamer, an expert from the Pet Beast Association. Mr. Lu Yun, what are your thoughts on this matchup?" Lu Yun replied confidently, "Many may view this as a titanic clash, but I believe Li Mu will secure a decisive victory over Su Yu tomorrow." A torrent of comments scrolled across the screen. "Bullshit. Su Yu's bound for the quarterfinals, or even the round of 16. Decisive? Surely Mu ranks 3rd on the potential list, but Ilea was last year's strongest. Damn it. Though I'll never forgive Su Yu for stealing my girlfriend's senior sister, Ilea simply cannot lose." Lu Yun glanced briefly at the comments and continued analytically, "Don't speculate blindly. Beast tamer duels hinge upon cultivation, realm beast tier, and compatibility. Li Mu and Su Yu stand at the same realm, and both command upper-tier beasts, so compatibility becomes the decisive factor. Clearly, based on recent appearances, Su Yu's ability relies on blood as a medium and requires space to maneuver. Li Mu's very strength lies in precisely this kind of battlefield control, giving him overwhelming compatibility advantage. Moreover, Li Mu hails from a prestigious lineage. There's no telling whether he possesses a second beast. So tell me, who holds the true edge? Ilea may have been formidable last year, but she has since declined in realm. Past glory is past glory. Present reality is present reality. Don't mistake yesterday's triumph for eternal supremacy." Lu Yun's comprehensive analysis carried undeniable weight. Though Ilea had attracted immense attention last year, verified footage of her appearances remained exceedingly scarce, leaving intelligence critically insufficient. Public perception of Ilea largely fixated on her reputation as the genius campus beauty rather than her actual prowess. Rational and incisive. Odds have just been posted, and indeed Li Mu's odds stand at a mere 1-4, while Su Yu's sort of 4-7. The clash between 2 top-tier talents on the potential rankings, combined with expert commentary, ignited a fresh wave of fervent discussion. In the control room, after wrapping up the broadcast, the host murmured softly, "Old Lu, do Li Mu's advantages really run that deep? I'm thinking of placing a small bet myself." The two were close friends, so once the live feed cut, they relaxed into casual conversation. Lu Yun scoffed, "Bro, why are you jumping on the speculation bandwagon too? Honestly, I'd call it a 50-50 split. I deliberately hyped Li Mu's odds to inflate the payout. Obviously, you should bet on Su Yu. And remember, buy some for me too. Our association's audit is strict." The host's jaw dropped. Truly, what an expert. In another restroom, he lay curled tightly on a hospital bed, his wounds treated by a healing-type beast tamer, shivering uncontrollably. Li Mu and several others gathered beside him. "Lazy, tomorrow I'll avenge you," Li Mu whispered low. Terror flooded Lei's eyes. It was terror, not just of Su Yu, but of his own future path as a beast tamer. The Thunderbird he dared not summon the Thunderbird again, not even though he understood it had fallen under Su Yu's influence. Just the memory of his most trusted comrade turning on him, stabbing without hesitation, had shattered every vestige of trust and security. This invisible wound had nearly dismantled a beast tamer's entire foundation. Trembling Lei, he stammered, "Li, you must win. Beware Ilea. She manipulates blood within the human body. Your eerie puppets won't withstand her." Lei, he pleaded, gazing up at Li Mu with raw desperation. Li Mu gripped his hand firmly. "Trust me, brother. We will win." To counter this vampire-like adversary, Li Mu would forge a pact tonight with a second upper-tier beast and receive a specialized ghost weapon designed expressly to subdue blood manipulators. He would defeat Su Yu, not only to restore his friend's shattered spirit, but also to fulfill his master's request, though he remained unclear about the deeper grudge between Wang Yu and Su Yu. Somewhere deep beneath Shanghai Ishikawa, Shuji fumed, "Baka, Mr. Wang, can your family actually deliver on its promises? Ilea and Su Yu are attracting ever greater attention. If they climb all the way to the top of your so-called potential rankings, what then? Will they be placed under the protection of the Great Xia Nine Guards or the Shanghai Prefect? I'm beginning to seriously doubt your Wang family's sincerity." Wang Yu felt increasingly flustered. He had deliberately suppressed Su Yu to weaken both his influence and strength before he descended into the demon pit. On Shanghai's surface, neither he nor the Hanabito nationals dared lay hands on a Great Xia beast tamer. Yet unexpectedly, he hadn't only failed to stop Su Yu, he'd been utterly crushed by him. Wang Yu spoke solemnly, "Mr. Ishikawa, please trust our sincerity. Tomorrow I've arranged for Li Mu to face Su Yu. He will prevent him from competing in the 9-University Alliance Exchange Tournament. And regardless of who protects Su Yu, he will inevitably enter the Demon Pit War. Great Xia is different from other nations. It sends its bravest to the front lines." Ishikawa Shuji's furrowed brow gradually eased. "Very well, I'll grant you one more chance. Let us hope this first collaboration proves enduring. I assure you, such cooperation will continue without end." Wang Yu smiled faintly. "Indeed, I'll be watching closely." After viewing the draw, Su Yu and his companions left the restroom. Lu Xian escorted the injured to seek treatment from healing-type beast tamers, while Su Yu went to meet his family, who had come to watch the matches. They waited roughly half an hour before Su Qifan Ning's shooting, and Su Yu's younger sister Su Wanrong finally emerged from the sea of spectators crowding the martial arts arena. Spotting Su Yu, Su Wanrong bounded over and leapt straight into his arms. "Big brother, you're amazing. You totally own that guy." Ilea, wearing a baseball cap to avoid attention, frowned faintly. Though she knew this was likely Su Yu's sister, her nose inexplicably tingled, a sensation the books called jealousy. She bit her thumb, lost in thought. Ever since Su Yu had introduced her to the myriad flavors of the world, she had slowly begun to perceive taste itself. Su Yu gently lifted Su Wanrong down. All right. You're 18 now, act your age." Su Qifan and Ning Shooting approached, smiling warmly. Their expressions held both pride and quiet concern. Beast tamers and ordinary people inhabited separate worlds. Their son's brilliance brought deep pride, but his precocious mastery of lethal arts signaled that battlefield deployment loomed ever closer. Su Wanrong pouted, "Big brother, I'm not little. I want to become a beast tamer just like you." Su Yu replied firmly, "Not a chance. Absolutely not. Why? Having just one beast master in our family is sufficient. If you like beasts, I can buy you one later, but you are not allowed to be a beast master." There are only 2 children in Su Ye's family. Most of Su Ye's courage to go to the battlefield comes from Ilea, otherwise he must be prepared to face death. The divine generation sequence is a rare thing. Having even one is akin to a pie falling from the sky. Su Yu firmly opposed Su Wanrong becoming a beast master. Ning Shooting and Su Qihong shared the same thought. Having one beast master in the family is already a glory to the Xia. Even with this one, Ning Shooting would have nightmares at night, fearing that Su Yu might not return if he truly went to the battlefield. Su Wanrong pouted, tugging at her twin ponytails in frustration. Ning Shooting chuckled. "All right, Rongrong, your brother is also thinking of you. Look, with your brother here, our family is now prosperous. Even if the contract ceremony doesn't go well next year, we'll have enough money to buy you the talent reagent and a pet. Your brother has a competition tomorrow, so let's hurry back and not delay his preparations." Su Wanrong nodded, a bit worried, saying, "Brother." Before she finished, Su Yu interrupted, "Don't worry, I won't lose. I meant for you not to get hurt." After saying that, Su Wanrong turned and left. Ning Shooting and Su Qihong gave a few reminders before leaving as well. Su Yu looked at their retreating figures, feeling somewhat lost. Ilea reminded, "This is not a very good choice." "Why?" "When you go to the Demon Pit, you will know that the entrance to the Demon Pit leading to Blue Star increases every few years." "What?" Ilea said earnestly, "This is a disaster that you humans cannot escape from, so even if you want to protect them, don't let one mishap ruin everything." Su Yu nodded lightly, "I'll think about it." Ilea hugged Su Yu's neck. "Let's not talk about that. The competition is tomorrow. You need to replenish my strength first. AI Leah against someone as trivial as Li Mu, is it necessary to go? The blood consumed by the Blood Queen and the Death Apostle Holy Song is not much, but indestructible will consume a lot of blood requiring replenishment in advance. AI Leah gently bit Su Yu's earlobe. Who knows? What don't you wanna? Su Yu gritted his teeth and said, then you have to wear a JK today. And you must wear an eye mask. For you sure? Who? Having consumed the life elixir, Su Yu's physique had greatly improved, and even after battling from midnight until dawn, he was still full of energy. AI Leah. Today go all out, don't hold back. AI Leah's words from yesterday had made Su Yu ponder for a long time. Although hiding his and AI Leah's talents would provide an advantage in the subsequent battles, the threat of the demon pit still loomed, and Su Yu needed more resources. He needed to demonstrate his value. In the combat arena, today a light drizzle fell from the sky, yet it could not stop more and more people from flocking to watch the match. Battles among the top 10 in the Disya potential rankings are rare. Many ordinary students even skipped their morning classes to sit in front of the live broadcast. Quiet down, it's about to start. Goe, what are the odds for Li Mu? Is he really that favored? Many experts predicted yesterday that Li Mu would win. According to news from the combat department, Li Mu has contracted a second pet. No wonder this makes Su Yu and AI Leah look dangerous. Look, today the governor of Magic Capital from Disya has come to watch. What he actually came to. The governor of Magic Capital and commander of the Dragon Eagle Guard, the guardian of the disaster demon pit, has actually come in person. In the viewing area, Ning Hanwen personally greeted this distinguished guest's arrival. Governor Xia, does it really warrant your personal visit for a student match? Governor Xia Tinjin smiled. I came to see the hidden genius that Principal Ning has been keeping under wraps this past year. It seems something unexpected has occurred. Ning Hanwen said, man proposes, but heaven disposes. Thankfully, this student's talent is also decent. Xia Tinjin curiously asked, oh, then I'll have to keep my eyes peeled to see it. Please, who does Principal Ning think will win? Ning Hanwen's white beard lightly fluttered, but he did not speak. Xia Tinjin smiled. It seems Principal Ning is quite confident. I have seen this one from the Li family, and he is indeed a remarkable talent, not someone easily dealt with. Indeed, this child Li Mu is also a promising talent. Xia Tinjin shook his head. Ning Hanwen's lips were tightly sealed, and hoping to guess what scheme he had was wishful thinking. Amidst the laughter, the competition was about to begin. Due to some disturbances yesterday, although the excitement faded quickly, the referee was still changed to Lin Tang, the dean of the Magical Plants Department. Lin Tang projected his voice with spiritual energy. This is the final round of the qualifying match for the Magic Capital Beastmaster University, the first match, Li Mu versus Su Yu. Amidst the cheers and flowers under the lights and cheers, Su Yu and Li Mu walked out from the side passages. Boldly go for it. Don't embarrass our combat department. Senior sister AI Leah, I will always support you. The two seemed not to hear and focused on each other across the arena. Lin Tang stood between them and said softly, I won't say much. If I judge that someone is on the verge of death, I will intervene, but that also means one side must lose, understood? Su Yu and Li Mu nodded in succession. Lin Tang said, well then unleash your talents, young men. Humans must fight against the demon pit, and you young people must fight even harder. Don't worry, as long as you're not dead, I can save you. Lin Tang shouted. The first match begins. His words silenced the noise in the venue, and everyone waited for the two to make their move. Li Mu said coldly, you have crippled Lei. He actually fears his own beast. Your ability is truly insidious. Previously, they all underestimated Su Yu's capabilities. Compared to the wounds inflicted by his own beast, the innate trust that was lost in his heart is the true weapon that can destroy a beast master. Su Yu replied, the same goes for you. If you want to target me, then come at me directly, but dragging others into this shows you have no martial ethics. Li Mu spread his arms. Martial ethics. That is merely an excuse of the defeated. I will reclaim everything my dear friend has lost. Su Yu's thunder dragon flapped its wings behind him. Is that so? Too bad you won't get your wish. A drop of rain falling from the sky became the clarion call for their attack. Roar, Crimson Flame Demon. Show yourself, Shadow Dance, Nether Crow. Like magma tearing through the earth, the true form of the Crimson Flame Demon was a 6-meter turtle giant. And Li Mu indeed contracted a second beast as speculated by the outside world. A tidal wave of shadows surged, raising a figure holding a peculiar nether magic staff clad in a black-purple hood with a face resembling a crow's beak. Xia Tinjin immediately recognized this beast. The Li family truly spares no expense. From the Milika Shadow Pit, No. 16 Shadow Demon Clan, known as the Assassin born from Shadows, has killed tens of thousands of beast masters in the war against the Lika Kingdom, causing the collapse of the Shadow Demon Pit frontline. They actually captured one from the Li family. Now Su Yu is in trouble. The rules of the sequence are absolute. Sequence No. 16 is already incredibly close to the divine sequence, and the power it exhibits far surpasses that of an ordinary upper-level sequence. The foundation of the Pillar family is fully revealed. As an outstanding direct descendant, the Li family spares no effort in nurturing Li Mu. Li Mu does not underestimate Su Yu in the slightest. As soon as the battle begins, he activates boundary disruption interweaving. Countless threads as thin as cicada wings are spread throughout the battle arena. The fine threads are sharp and incredibly resilient, but they are afraid of the power-type beasts that enhance their physical strength as they can break through with brute force. Aelia snaps her fingers and blood falls like rain upon the threads. The barely noticeable threads instantly transform into a crimson tide. Li Mu furrows his brows. He cannot defeat Su Yu solely with boundary disruption interweaving, but as long as he can restrict his movement space. Before this thought settles, Aelia tightens her grip with her right hand. The blood staining the threads morphs into spirals. The sizzling sound reveals that the boundary disruption interweaving threads are utterly incapable of resisting the cutting power of blood. Li Mu's pupils contract. What? Is this truly something a vampire can accomplish? The threads of boundary disruption interweaving are immensely resilient and do not fear sharp weapons, yet they cannot withstand Aelia's control over the power of blood. Su Yu gazes down from the air. After all that boasting, is this all you can do? Li Mu's lips twitch slightly, but he does not respond. Su Yu excels at psychological warfare. Ignoring him is the best choice. Although Su Yu's plans are thwarted by boundary disruption interweaving, it is not merely an offensive ability, it also possesses the effect of guiding magical energy. Beside Li Mu, the red flame demon's lungs shine with a dark red hue, then it opens its demonic mouth. Demon flame, burn heaven. Under the guidance of the threads of boundary disruption interweaving, dark red magma roars and transforms into magma fire serpents, encircling Su Yu from all directions in irregular curves. Li Mu sternly declares it's not over yet. Dark tide. The shadow dance nether crow raises its magic staff, and the ground transforms into a black-purple nether river. Dark purple bubbles surge and explode as the nether river releases over a dozen pitch-black water columns, which morph into dark nights, guided by the threads combining with the demon flames to encircle and seemingly completely engulf Su Yu in darkness. Neither Su Yu nor Aelia flinch. They have no intention of retreating. Li Mu undoubtedly possesses some means to weaken the Dead Apostle's Holy Song and the Blood Queen, but this only applies to skills under normal conditions. No need to worry, unleash all your firepower, Aelia. Aelia clasps her hands together, and two powers begin to merge. A deep chant reverberates within the battle arena. Awaken. Awaken from the frenzied surge of blood and death. Listen to the call of the true ancestors' holy song. Behind Aelia, blood transforms into numerous blood-colored long pianos and flutes, forming a complete blood symphony orchestra forged by the Blood Queen, imbuing the holy song with immortality. Before the eternal immortality, the true holy song is about to resonate. Sacred yet representing death, the notes will halt all assaults before Su Yu. Blood surges into all the demon flames and dark nights with the sound waves of the holy song. Those lifeless entities become the undead under Aelia's command. The fluctuations of the sound waves seem to solidify in Li Mu's incredulous gaze. The dark nights stomp through the magma and charge at him. Even the red flame demon and shadow dance nether crow fall into confusion before the immortal holy song. The Li family gave Li Mu a necklace made of the Moonlight Apostle's skull, yet it cannot dispel the influence of the immortal holy song. In the spectators stand Xiaoting, and takes a deep breath. Eternal. It actually is. Principal Ning, you have hidden this too deeply. Or should I say that Su Yu is just too lucky? Ning Hanwen sips his tea and reflects. Is it truly Su Yu? What do you mean? Some secrets cannot be revealed. Xiaoting and gives him a glare. The two people he dislikes the most in this regard are the heads of the Magic Spirit and Imperial Spirit Universities, who are cunning yet never say much. Previously, when Shinzei reported that Su Yu was asking for an advance of 40 drops of life essence, he thought this young man was unaware of the vastness of the world and the dangers of the demon cave. Now it seems he wasn't boasting after all. There is indeed something worth betting on with him. The other spectators are utterly stunned. The intensity of this duel has far surpassed all other matches. Even the vast space of the battle arena can no longer accommodate the assaults of the two. If it weren't for the barrier's existence, their attacks would likely have been enough to destroy the entire arena. Now the trouble lies with Li Mu. Aelia's abilities have exceeded the highest expectations of all those watching. This is the true strength of last year's genius schoolflower. Li Mu takes a deep breath, making a decision in his heart. He sends the threads into the body of the shadow dance nether crow, using external force to urge the beast to activate its abilities. Nether shadow frenzy. Li Mu had previously considered the possibility that the beast could fall under Su Yu's control. That's why he contracted the shadow dance nether crow, not only because it is strong, but also due to its racial talent. It can fall into a frenzied state of losing rationality. Even the Master cannot control it, and neither can you. Before it loses its reason, the last order received, destroy them, Nether Crow. The Shadow Phantom clan, which is incredibly close to the divine sequence, breaks free from the influence of the immortal holy song at the cost of losing its rationality, turning into a machine that only knows how to kill. The Nether Crow raises the nether water of the dark tide, washing away the flames rushing towards Limu, while the Dark Knights are disassembled by the Shadow Dance Nether Crow itself. The frenzied Shadow Dance Nether Crow no longer possesses great magical power, but instead wields immense physical destructive capability. Alia's gem-like pupils flash with a glimmer. Oh, can it break free from the immortal influence? Not bad, but unfortunately you are still a bit lacking, otherwise I would have captured this little fellow as a beast. Suddenly the dark tide on the ground is pierced by the surging blood, and the pitch-black nether river is replaced by a blood river in the blink of an eye. Alia, who replenished her blood all night, is indeed in peak condition. The raging blood transforms into countless sword shields and fully armed blood cavalry beside her. Accompanied by the flapping of her wings, the blood riders charge alongside the king into battle. Bang! The Nether Crow is pierced by countless blood swords, yet its powerful vitality in the frenzied state can still briefly withstand Alia's relentless bombardment. At this moment, Limu seizes an unseen-a-lifetime opportunity. The red flame demon affected by the holy song is unable to move, but Limu's boundary disruption interweaving can still control it. Limu's threads pierce through the red flame demon, controlling it to leap, taking advantage of Alia's distraction from Suyu to charge directly at Suyu. At the same time, the threads of boundary disruption interweaving extend once again, sealing off all of Suyu's escape routes. Suyu flaps his wings. Under the interference of the screeching tornado, the red flame demon fails to hit, but the threads of boundary disruption interweaving graze Suyu's arm, cutting a deep wound. Blood drips down. Limu has finally found the flaw. A series of gasps erupted from the spectators' platform. Isn't Ilia sequence no? 99. How is she overpowering sequence no? 16. It must be a mutation, definitely a mutation. Limu has found an opportunity. Suyu is in trouble. Just now I thought Limu was going to lose. Indeed, he lives up to his reputation as the third on the potential list, and he still has a trump card. Limu's desperate counterattack seemed to ignite hope, and Suyu was indeed injured. Meanwhile, Ilia seemed unable to deal with the shadow dancing crow. In a short time, everything seemed to be tilting in favor of Limu. At this moment, Limu dared not be careless. Ilia's strength exceeded his highest expectations. Even the frenzied shadow dancing crow appeared as fragile as a candle in the wind before Ilia reduced to a mere punching bag. He must defeat Suyu while the shadow dancing crow could still maintain its frenzy. Crimson Flame. The Crimson Flame demon shrank into a human form controlled by strands spewing forth wave after wave of molten lava in midair. However, the blood wall shot up, and Ilia suddenly rushed in front of the Crimson Flame demon. Limu was astonished. Oh, wasn't she blocked by the shadow dancing crow? A quick glance revealed that during the battle with Ilia, the blood dripped from the wound Limu inflicted on Suyu's arm had tempted the frenzied shadow dancing crow. The irrational shadow dancing crow was merely following Limu's last command and its instincts. At the most critical moment, the shadow dancing crow abandoned blocking Ilia in front of it and chose Suyu's blood, which was filled with deadly temptation. A change of targets. In the instant of this shift, Ilia captured the Crimson Flame demon up close, and the Blood Queen completely controlled everything about the Crimson Flame demon. Meanwhile, Suyu followed the arrows from his dusk longbow charging toward Limu. Limu had already prepared a countermeasure for the dusk longbow's ghostly arts remaining composed. However, with the Crimson Flame demon under control, the sudden turn of the shadow dancing crow to chase Suyu's blood momentarily threw him into a panic. He initially feared disaster, but with Suyu's reckless charge, hope for victory reignited. Suyu, how dare you charge straight at me seeking death? The boundary of disruption may not be able to cut through Ilia, but can it not cut through you? Countless fine threads spread out, and at the moment Suyu's vibrating dragon wings advanced before Limu, the threads had completely wrapped around Suyu. Victory was within reach. However, a more bizarre scene unfolded. Radiant crimson light dots shimmered on Suyu, and the boundary of disruption, which should have perfectly sliced his body, failed to do so. Under the influence of the crimson light dots, Suyu pierced through the boundary like an arrow that penetrates everything. Using himself as an arrow, Ilia's indestructible was attached to Suyu, transforming into an indefinable power. Not to mention, you cannot cut through Suyu. Even if there were indeed a formidable force to cut through, Suyu indestructible would quickly heal him, while the blood that flowed out would serve as the catalyst for the crown of blood and deadly temptation. Under Limu's astonished gaze, Ilia condensed a tiny blood needle from the blood on Suyu's arm and pierced it into Limu's body. In an instant, Limu's mind seemed to be controlled by a strange power, and the blood-red crown echoed in his spiritual consciousness. That overwhelming royal aura left his spirit in shock. Dazed Li Mu stared blankly at Suyu. Suyu issued the king's command. It's over, fulfill my promise. His promise before the match. To cut away your patella. Li Mu's right hand rested on his heart, showing no signs of displeasure, and he earnestly said, yes, all glory belongs to my king. In that moment, Lin Tang realized something was wrong and tried to intervene. But it was too late. Li Mu used his own boundary disruption to sever his own knee. Bang! Blood mist exploded, and Li Mu, having lost his patella, collapsed to his knees, trembling all over. The Crimson Flame Demon and Shadow Dance In Crow gradually faded, returning to their beast space. The battle abruptly ceased in an unpredictable scene. Silence. The whole venue fell silent. Few understood what had just happened. In that flash of lightning, while Suyu appeared to be in a precarious state like a small boat in a stormy sea about to be struck by the molten lava of the Crimson Flame Demon, the situation turned dramatically within just 3 seconds. The Shadow Dance In Crow suddenly stopped entangling with Ilea, the boundary disruption dealt no harm to Suyu, and Li Mu suddenly gave up resistance, severing his own knee. Lin Tang rushed in front of Li Mu, anxiously summoning a crystal-clear magical plant, letting fall droplets filled with vitality. Suyu gently said, I held back, he is not in life-threatening danger. In this world, losing an arm or a leg is truly a minor injury. Lin Tang sighed in relief. Li Mu would be fine, he would recover in less than half a month. However, being injured by one's own ability, that feeling is probably not much better than being struck by the Thunder Crane, right? A terrifying talent. Lin Tang exclaimed, Li Mu has confirmed his defeat. The first contestant to advance from the preliminaries is Suyu. The crowd erupted. Of course some were downcast. He won. How on earth did he win? Turtle, I didn't understand it all in the end. As long as there's bloodshed, is it all under his control? It's like wielding the power of blood. Li Mu actually lost. Damn it, I bet 10 on him. How did you bet so much? Isn't it that expert who swore he would win, yet he lost miserably? Suyu and Ilea had been holding back all along. Turtle, the Daxiao potential list has been updated. Suyu has replaced Li Mu, becoming the third on the potential list. Not first. Is there anyone stronger than that? The top two are also monsters, it's hard to say. Wang Yu's face shifted from ashen to purple, resembling pig liver. Li Mu actually lost. What on earth is this vampire? This will surely provoke that group of Huaying nationals. With Xia Tingjin also watching, it would undoubtedly attract attention, and the difficulty of dealing with him would likely increase. As expected, it was necessary to think of ways from his family. At the spectators' seat, Xia Tingjin stood up and said, Principal Ning, what an interesting match. It seems it's time for me to fulfill my promise. Ning Hanwen was surprised. What promise? Xia Tingjin sighed. Before the match, Suyu said that if he wins, he would advance 40 drops of life essence, claiming he could secure the championship of the exchange competition. I never expected it to turn out like this. It turns out to be the divine generation. Shoo. Did he go back on his word? Xia Tingjin smiled. Not at all. This year's divine generation is not just this one. I am starting to look forward to his duel with Kong Huan Yuan. Ning Hanwen mused. Is that half-human, half-demon girl from the Imperial Spirit University who has inherited the bloodline of the ethereal witch? Hee, if that's the case, it seems it's about time for old Jiang to face a tough time. Xia Tingjin looked at Ning Hanwen, oddly unaware of what this old guy was plotting. On the other side, in the conference room of the Imperial Capital's Spirit University, Principal Jiang Huiran and other mentors watched the match closely. Star Emblem mentor Wang Jing remarked, Indeed, he still had a backup plan. I never expected he would actually defeat Li Mu. Then this year, isn't it? Several mentors exchanged knowing glances, all eyes focusing on a girl in the corner. If anyone from the first year of the Imperial Capital's Spirit University could defeat Suyu, it would only be this year's campus belle, half-human, half-demon, who inherited the bloodline of the ethereal witch. Under the Imperial Capital in the Eternal Calamity Abyss sequence No. 100 of the ethereal clan gives birth to a divine generation sequence No. 009, the ethereal witch every 100 years. The Night of the Witches she sparked is also known as one of the 10 calamities of the abyss. In the corner, she propped her arm up to gaze at the screen, her long hair flowing down her shoulders, a blend of platinum and silver, with a beautiful widow's peak in front, her exquisite face chiseled like white jade. Her water-blue pupils resembled a calm lake capable of stirring the hearts of any man with a single glance. Kong Huan Yuan softly said, I can win. Suyu returned to the restroom, where Lu Xian and the others eagerly gathered around him. Wow, so overwhelmingly powerful team leader. Brilliant work, team leader. The practical combat division is utterly finished now. With Li Mu's injuries, he likely won't even be able to participate in team battles. Even if he recovers, will he dare utter another word before you again? No wonder you said you'd resolve both the individual and team contests in one stroke. It's truly happened. 2 of the practical combat division strength students have already been taken down. This year's team contest is unquestionably ours. All of them were elated. They had expected a grueling team battle ahead, yet Suyu alone had settled everything. And Ji Shui's eyes glistened with tears. Suyu, thank you. Suyu waved his hand lightly. You were dragged into this because of me. I merely did what was necessary. And Ji Shui smiled shyly. Suyu had risked irreparable enmity with the entire practical combat division just to avenge her, and that weighed heavily upon her heart. Suyu stretched languidly. That match utterly drained me. I won't watch your matches. Lu Xian Chun Mengming Jiang Xinhua. You three must give it your all. The three young women nodded gently, their peripheral vision lingering on Suyu and Ilia's retreating figures. Suyu's exertion in the battle had been extreme. His complexion had paled noticeably, while Ilia seemed to have visibly shrunk, standing barely over 150 centimeters tall. Perhaps this was the price of overusing her blood. Ilia lay draped across Suyu's back, her only desire at that moment, to press a tender kiss upon him. During the battle, when Suyu's blood dripped before Ilia and the Shadow Dance's raven, its lethal allure had nearly overwhelmed her. Had she not already savored that exquisite crimson countless times, she might well have fought the raven for possession of it then and there. Suyu's wounds had already been restored to pristine condition by the indestructible ability. He turned and gently stroked Ilia's chin. Meeting you was my fortune. So was meeting you, master. Just as they stepped out of the restroom, Suyu spotted Qinze, a junior colonel of the Dragon Eagle Guard, waiting patiently. Qinze carried a black leather briefcase. Upon seeing Suyu, he sighed appreciatively. Congratulations, Suyu. To be honest, I initially doubted whether you could defeat Li Mu. Yet you prevailed. And per our prior agreement, these 40 drops of life spirit fluid are yours advanced. And let me whisper this. This directive came straight from the commander himself, issued live at the venue today. Suyu glanced thoughtfully toward the spectator stands. Today, neither he nor Ilia had held anything back. That influential figure, on the cusp of Saint Realm attainment, had surely seen through it all. Ordinary people, having never encountered divine era sequences, would hardly recognize Ilia. But Xia Tingyin, that was likely why he approved the 40 drops so readily. Within the sequences, perhaps secrets remained hidden, even from him. Suyu accepted without hesitation. Yes, thank you. I will strive to claim the championship of this year's 9-school alliance. Qinze gave a quiet nod and courteously excused himself. Then I'll leave you to it. I'll await the exchange tournament 10 days hence. After parting ways with Qinze, Suyu pulled out his phone to reassure his family, then headed back to the dormitory with Ilia. Back in the dorm, Suyu opened the briefcase. For lustrous jade vials shimmered with starlight brilliance. There was no doubt these were life spirit fluid. Each drop commanded a market price of 100 million credits, a rare strategic resource capable of transforming the inherently frail bodies of beast tamer cultivators. Humanity's ranking at No. 999 in the sequence stemmed not only from its innate lack of magical circuitry, but also from its abysmal physical resilience compared to the myriad races of the demon abyss. After previously consuming 10 drops, Suyu's skin had already begun to radiate a subtle luminescence, evidence of a body transcending mortal limits. Without hesitation, Suyu drank down the life spirit fluid from the jade vials. Glug, glug, glug. Smooth as silk down his throat. For billion credits worth. Bitter or not, it was still magnificent. This time the 40 drops unleashed effects far surpassing his previous transformation. The radiant star-like fluid refined every inch of his skin, flesh, and bone. Suyu's old skin sloughed off like scales replaced by new layers imbued with luminous sheen and supple resilience. No longer fragile as ordinary human flesh. This was... Suyu sensed a qualitative metamorphosis. Beside him, Ilia's eyes gleamed brighter still. Hungry, she leaned against his back and inhaled softly. You've grown even more fragrant, master. Go ahead, drink. You've earned it today. Ilia's face lit up, her pearly teeth gently pierced his skin. Having now consumed 50 drops total, you could safely sustain daily intake of 150 liters by activating hematopoietic cells without compromising his health. He half-joked he'd become a living super blood reservoir. Fortunately, the life spirit fluid's efficacy was nothing short of miraculous. His vital energy had long since soared dozens of times beyond human limits, otherwise he truly couldn't have endured it. Within his mind, Ilia's ascension progress accelerated sharply. Ding. The Vampire Queen has drunk your blood. Rank progress 150. Rank second tier, Transcendent Realm, 300, 3000. In the fight against Li Mu, Suyu's lack of a second beast companion had proven a critical disadvantage. Securing a second companion was urgent. Yet Suyu and Ilia insisted on absolute selectivity. Only divine era sequences, or beings approaching their caliber, like the Shadow Dance's raven, were worthy of the precious mental energy required. After regaining some strength, Shang Wanling called him to her office. Inside the office, Shang Wanling greeted Suyu and Ilia with a warm smile. Congratulations on defeating Li Mu. You've secured advancement to the official tournament of the Nine-School Alliance. And you look remarkably vibrant. Did the Dragon Eagle Guard fulfill their promise? Yes, I feel extraordinary, almost as though. Shangguan Ling smiled faintly, as though you've undergone a complete metamorphosis. Am I right? Exactly. It feels as if my entire being has transformed. Actually, this topic was meant for later lectures. First years rarely obtain life spirit fluid before descending into the abyss. But since you've already undergone the transformation, I'll explain it to you now. First, another matter. Here's your reward, 50 academic credits, for advancing to the official tournament. This dossier contains your primary opponents. Whether our academy secures priority combat eligibility this year hinges largely on your cohort's performance in the freshman division. Suyu raised an eyebrow, faintly puzzled. Shangguan Ling elaborated, other grades show little fluctuation compared to last year. We hold an advantage in the sophomore division. Zhanghe University dominates the junior tier. Dilling excels among seniors. So the real battleground this year lies with you freshmen. Suyu nodded, comprehension dawning. No wonder the school's reward was so generous. Academic credits were normally awarded sparingly, 1 or 2 points for exceptional classroom performance. Yet this competition granted a staggering 50 upon entry. Suyu casually flipped through the dossier, and on the first page a woman's photograph arrested his gaze. Her long white golden hair and sapphire blue eyes invited immediate hypnotic surrender. If Elia embodied a seductive abyss, this woman was a frozen lake beneath snow-laden skies. Shangguan Ling smiled. Suyu, she will be your strongest opponent in the exchange tournament.